My sister's best friend is a total predator. She's been eyeing me since I was a kid. To the rest of the school, she's the goddess every guy dreams of marrying. But behind closed doors, she's a rogue who drags me to hotels the second I pass out from drinking. Just yesterday, I was finally ready. I planned to confess to the girl I'd liked for 6 years. Instead, I got hit with, "You're a great guy, but you're not my type." Turns out, I was just a fool. Heartbroken, I hit the bar. I sat at the counter, tossing back drink after drink until I blacked out. All I remember at the very end was a glimpse of a stunning girl walking up to me. When the first light of dawn hit the room the next morning, I sat up in bed, my head spinning. Suddenly, I felt like something was pressing down on my chest. My brain went into overdrive. I took one look and nearly jumped out of my skin. Why was there a girl in bed next to me? I scrambled to pull back the covers. My clothes, where the hell were they? "What's the matter, little brother? Sleeping not comfortable enough?" A voice drifted into my ears. I turned to look at the girl beside me and nearly had a heart attack. No way it was her. Did we actually cross the line last night? While I sat there frozen, the girl slowly opened her eyes. "Morning, little brother," she said with a yawn. She sat up, and as she moved, the blanket covering her body lost its grip, sliding down her smooth skin. I turned beet red and gulped. "What's wrong? Don't you recognize your big sister?" Li Shiya's lips curled into a mysterious, teasing smile. On that gorgeous face of hers, strange expression flickered that I couldn't quite read. I was spiraling. Of course I recognized her. The girl who looked like an angel was my sister's best friend, Li Shiya. "Shiya, what exactly happened last night?" My face was burning, and I was so nervous I couldn't even form a full sentence. Li Shiya frowned slightly, thinking back on the night before, then spoke softly. "Little brother, you really don't remember what happened?" "I only remember I drank too much at the bar. As for what happened after that, Li Shiya looked at me and lied. Oh, is that so? I was at the bar with my roommates and saw you passed out at the counter. I meant to take you back to school, but I didn't know which dorm was yours. So, I had no choice but to bring you here to the hotel for the night." And then Shia, I stared at her, nerves mounting. She just gave me a look that said everything and nothing at the same time. Instantly, I had a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach. Originally, Li Shiya just planned to drop him off at the room, but he grabbed her hand and pulled her straight into his arms. He even grabbed me, then started tugging at my sister's clothes. I hung my head in shame and whispered, "I'm sorry, Yaya." Before I could finish, Li Shiya cut me off, saying, "It's fine, little brother. I understand." Hearing that, he buried his face in the covers. He felt like dying right then and there. How could he possibly face Yaya after sleeping with her best friend? His sister found out, she'd race over from Shanghai and end him. 10 minutes later, he saw it. Li Shiya headed to the bathroom to shower. I scrambled to grab my clothes and threw them on. My eyes drifted carelessly toward the bed, only to catch sight of that stain. Bright crimson mark. Instantly, guilt washed over me. Just then, Li Shiya finished her shower and got dressed, stepped slowly out of the bathroom. Clad in a gown as white as snow, with damp hair cascading over her shoulders, she looked like an absolute vision. Even more striking was how the dress revealed her long, slender, and flawless legs with every movement. I couldn't help but linger for a second. Hard to believe it has been 2 years since I last saw Yaya. She has transformed into such a beauty. She noticed my gaze. Li Shiya slowly looked up and flashed a sweet smile like a flower blooming in spring. The narrator quickly looked away, startled. She faked a glance out the window. Then Li Shiya locked eyes with me, pleading, "Yaya, please, don't tell my sister about this." Playful smirk, she fired back. "What? Is my little brother not planning on taking responsibility for me?" Nearly choked on my own spit. Responsibility? Before I could even react, Li Shiya shyly lowered her head, bit her lip slightly. "Last night was an experience like no other for me. Before this," she whispered, her voice trailing off, "I hadn't even held another boy's hand." Her voice was barely audible, but the shyness radiating from her was impossible to miss. I felt a wave of guilt, sense of shame taking root deep inside. Damn it, was I really her first too? I hesitated for a long moment, finally snapping out of it to nervously glance at Li Shiya. I tested the waters, asking, "So Yaya, how exactly do you want me to take responsibility?" But before she could answer, a phone rang, shattering the silence of the room. It was my phone. I didn't hesitate, pulling it from my pocket and checking the caller ID. It was my roommate. "Hey bro, where are you? You haven't been back all night." I told him I was on my way and hung up immediately, then looked back at her. Unable to meet her gaze, he stammered, "Look, Yaya, my roommate needs me, so I have to go. Let's chat on WeChat later." I grabbed my coat and bolted from the hotel with the desperate speed of a man who's been single for 18 years. Li Shiya stood in the doorway, watching me vanish into the distance. She stayed frozen for a long moment. Only when the elevator doors finally slid shut behind me did she let out a sigh and calmly turn away. Faint, sly smile touched her lips. "Nice try, little brother, but you aren't slipping out of my reach that easily." Back on the bus to campus, I stared out the window, but Li Shiya's stunning face kept flashing through my mind. I hastily opened WeChat, searched her name, but the results were completely empty. No user found. What was going on? I was certain I'd added her before. Had Yaya deleted me? Just thinking about Li Shiya made my head spin. She was my sister's best friend. For heaven's sake, how could I have let things get so messy? I'd planned to just play dumb and act like nothing happened. But then Yaya hit me with that demand to take responsibility. It completely wrecked me. What did she even mean by that? I hoped she was just joking. Soon I arrived at Magic City University and passed a supermarket on the way to the dorm. I literally ran straight into Qianqian. I didn't even spare her a glance, just tried to walk around her. But Qianqian called out, "Jiangbai, why are you pretending you don't see me?" I didn't even turn my head. I said, "Oh, didn't notice," and kept walking as fast as I could, completely ignoring whatever she shouted after me. Su Qianqian stomped her foot, angry at how different Jiang Bai was acting. Once I reached the dorm, fired up my computer for some League of Legends. After a few matches, I set the mouse down to grab some water, and my phone on the desk pinged. I reached out, swiped the screen, and saw a new friend request. The nickname was Sailor Moon. Stared at the cute profile picture. Aside from knowing it was a girl, everything else was a complete mystery. Meanwhile, in the girls' dormitory, Li Shiya was glued to her phone screen. Her fingers tapped restlessly against the edge of the device, her eyes full of anticipation and confusion. What is the holdup? Why hasn't this brat accepted my friend request yet? Does he not see it? Or is he busy with something else? Just as Li Shiya was getting impatient, Qianqian tapped her shoulder. "Shiya, what are you spacing out for?" Li Shiya snapped back to reality and smiled. "It's nothing, just thinking about something. Let's go, let's grab dinner." As night fell, bustling streets around Magic City University were bathed in neon lights. My 3 roommates and I found a barbecue spot and grabbed an outside table. It was our first big dinner out together as college students, and everyone was hyped. While the guys were busy ordering, my phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out. It was that Sailor Moon request from earlier that afternoon. I took a look, still completely unable to figure out who this could be. Could it be Yaya? I doubted it. A beauty like Yaya wouldn't use a nickname like that, or such a cutesy profile picture. "Hey, Bai, what are you doing? Tell us what else you want to eat." My roommate, Lu Yu, nudged me with the menu. I set the phone down. "You guys pick, I'm easy." Once the food arrived, we toasted to finding our own true loves in college. Cheers. 2 hours later, the 4 of us stumbled back toward the dorms. Li Shiya had just finished rehearsals for the freshman gala. Walking past the boys' dorm, she looked up and spotted me swaying in the distance. Where has this brat been? Why is he stumbling around like that? Just as Li Shiya was wondering, I tripped and crashed right into her arms. Sorry, you okay?" I realized I'd hit someone and apologized immediately. I looked up and froze. "Oh crap, isn't this Yaya? What is she doing here?" Li Shiya looked at my flushed face, sniffed, and caught the scent of alcohol. She frowned and whispered, "Little brother, did you go drinking all by yourself again?" My gaze was blurry, but I looked up at Li Shiya, let out a goofy laugh, and tried to stand. I swayed over to her. "No way. I was out with my roommates. Just a few drinks." I stammered, I'm totally not drunk." "Oh, and hey, Yaya, what are you doing here?" At that, Li Shiya thought back to her ignored friend request. She curved her lips and whispered, "Tell me, little brother, are you really not planning to take responsibility for me?" A cold breeze swept through, and I suddenly sobered up. Li Shiya watched me struggle to find the words and found it hilarious. "All right, little brother, I'm done teasing you. Come on, give me your phone." I was confused, but I handed it over anyway. "What's the password?" "Sixes." Li Shiya used her porcelain fingers to unlock it, opened WeChat, and accepted her own request. "There. Remember, you're not allowed to ignore my messages." I took the phone back and looked at the top pinned chat and the nickname. My eyes went wide. No way. The Sailor Moon who added me earlier was Yaya. "Yaya, you're Sailor Moon." I didn't even get the words out before Li Shiya cut me off. She leaned in, her stunning face inches from mine, her warm breath against my ear as she whispered, "Little brother, don't go back to the dorm now. Are you hoping I'll kiss you?" Her words felt like an electric shock surging through my body, making my heart race. A wave of heat spread from my ears across my entire body. I'd never imagined that the cold, elegant Li Shiya would ever say something like that. I was completely at a loss. Meanwhile, Li Shiya's eyes held a hint of playfulness and temptation, as if she were waiting for my reaction. Facing her this close, listening to such a suggestive remark, my face turned bright red. I was so nervous my breathing grew shallow, and I struggled to suppress the panic inside. "I'll head back now, Yaya." I stuttered out, then scrambled away like a startled rabbit. Stood there alone, a faint knowing smile playing on her lips. Chapter 6, Military Training, Day 2. That afternoon, the group chat buzzed with orders to pick up uniforms. Jiang Bai had barely returned to the dorm when his phone chimed. He checked the screen. A message from Li Shiya. Pretty girl warrior, what are you doing, you stinky little brother? Did you miss me? Zhang Bai's eye twitched involuntarily. Why was she always teasing him? He typed back, Capital's #1 romantic. Just finished getting my uniform. What's up? Pretty girl warrior. Nothing, just missed you, with a shy emoji. Zhang Bai didn't reply. It wasn't that he didn't want to, just didn't know how. Ever since that awkward, indescribable night with her, he'd been plagued by guilt. Come on, Bai, hop online, I'll carry you, Lin Zixuan shouted. Zhang Bai rolled his eyes at him, sat at his desk, opened his laptop, and launched League of Legends. Xiaoxi, attention! At the instructor's sharp command, everyone snapped into position, standing perfectly still. The instructor added coldly, stand at attention for 1 hour. If I catch anyone moving or slacking, you're adding 20 minutes to that. The threat hit the crowd like a thunderclap, their faces turning pale with dread. They knew standing under the scorching sun for a full hour. Torture enough on its own. Adding extra punishment for a minor slip-up? That was a nightmare. Everyone grumbled internally, but dared not voice a single complaint, instead biting their teeth and enduring the relentless heat. Every second dragged on forever. Sweat streamed down their brows, soaking their uniforms, yet nobody dared to move a hand to wipe it away, terrified of catching the instructor's eye. Seconds ticked by. The sun grew fiercer. Zhang Bai and his 3 roommates stood there, though Liu Yu couldn't stop eyeing the girls nearby. Lin Zixuan was nodding off. The group had gamed until 1 in the morning, sleeping only 5 hours before heading to the field. The instructor paced the rows with heavy, steady steps, his gaze moving through the formation. His eyes were sharp as a hawk's, seemingly seeing everything. Suddenly he frowned. Sleeping while standing, what a talent. Lin Zixuan had drifted off, eyes closed, deep in a dream. He'd been imagining being with his goddess until the instructor's voice shattered his reality. You're sleeping quite soundly, aren't you? The instructor loomed right in front of him. Wang Hu and the others were trying hard to suppress their laughter. Sorry, nerd, I can't help you. Lin Zixuan jolted awake, his eyes meeting the instructor's stern, square face. Instructor, what's going on? Wasn't I just with my goddess? Why am I at military training? Is this a dream? Lin Zixuan muttered to himself, but it was clear enough for the instructor to hear. Jiang Bai and Wang Hu were close enough to catch every word. Ha ha ha! Nerd, you're gonna be the death of me! Wang Hu couldn't help but roar with laughter. The instructor didn't smile. The silence that followed signaled major trouble. He glared at Wang Hu. Wang Hu's laughter died instantly. Then the instructor chuckled. This student finds it funny? Keep laughing. Go on, why'd you stop? Add 20 minutes. Jiang Bai thought to himself, thank God I kept my mouth shut. The instructor turned back to Lin Zixuan. As for you, you don't seem fully awake yet. Then here is the solution. Right now, run 10 laps around the field to wake up. Instructor, let me explain. Make that 15. Yes, sir. Lin Zixuan trudged away, his face etched in misery. Jiang Bai and the others silently cheered him on. As for the rest of the group, aside from the guy who got the extra 20 minutes, everyone else got a half-hour break. They collapsed onto the grass. I'm dead, one whispered. Liu Yu pointed to a girl in the distance, mesmerized. Bai, look, that girl is a 10. Zhang Bai glanced over, unimpressed. Not interested. Liu Yu shrugged. Not long after, Lin Zixuan finally finished his 15 laps. He felt like his body was falling apart. Staying up all night, an hour of standing, and 15 laps. Too much, he wheezed. Zhang Bai looked down at him as he gasped for air on the grass. You all right? Lin Zixuan looked up, dazed, his expression one of pure despair, as if to say, do I look all right to you? Just as everyone was taking their break, a figure as beautiful as a painting appeared on the open field, seemingly out of nowhere. She held a cup of milk tea in her slender hands, a touch that seemed both out of place and perfectly natural against her elegant aura. Her arrival held everyone's gaze, leaving them stunned. It was none other than Li Shiya. Dressed in a pristine white dress and a snowy white cap, she looked like an elegant swan drifting across the field. Blossoms like a lily, carrying a faint, fresh scent. Her skirt sways in the breeze, as if she is moving through a graceful dance. Li Shiya glides forward with a lightness that makes it seem as though she is walking on clouds. Her ethereal presence commands attention, even here among the new recruits on the field. Since they are all freshmen, few recognize this legendary ice queen from the Modu University campus. Still, a sharp-eyed observer catches on. Bought Li Shiya despite her baseball cap. That face looks familiar. Wait, it clicked. It is the campus idol Li Shiya. Who would have guessed? I just got here. I never thought I would see her in person. I can die happy now. Seriously, she is insanely beautiful. Like a fairy stepping out of a painting. The guys stare, eyes glazed over, nearly drooling. Where? Where is she? Move over, let me see. The moment Lin Zixuan hears about a pretty girl, his exhaustion vanishes, and he is suddenly full of energy. Zhang Bai follows their gaze and looks over. His eyes widen in total shock at what he sees. My God, that is Shiya. Why is she at freshman military training? Is she here for me? She reaches Zhang Bai and stops in her tracks. Li Shiya crouches down, her charming peach blossom eyes blinking as her lips curl into a smirk. Hey there, Xiao Bai Bai. Are you tired from training? Zhang Bai snaps back to reality, staring at her in complete disbelief. Stunned, unable to get a single word out. It is official. She really did come to find me. When Liu Yu and the others realize the girl came specifically for Zhang Bai, they are struck dumb. They are especially floored by the pet name. Lin Zixuan and his friends look like their jaws are hitting the floor. Something is definitely going on between these two. Xiao Bai Bai, you must be thirsty from all this training. Here, have some milk tea I bought you. She inserts a straw and holds the cup right out to him. Zhang Bai is left speechless. Xia is handing him tea in front of everyone. Feels completely out of his element. This is a total nightmare. Li Shiya watches him, noticing he is staring blankly as if he did not hear a word she said. She finds it strange and wonders to herself. What is wrong with this brat? Did I scare him? Still confused, Li Shiya reaches out and lightly pinches his cheek. The second her fingers touch his skin, a strange feeling washes over her. Face feels so soft and warm. She feels like she can practically sense the blood flowing beneath his skin. Her heart rate climbs, and a subtle blush creeps onto her face. Zhang Bai notices and instinctively pulls back slightly. He quickly takes the milk tea. Thanks, Xia. She flashes a sweet smile. You are welcome. I will be heading off now. Right. Brat, you have to drink this all by yourself. Li Shiya turns gracefully, her eyes locked on him one last time. A playful, alluring smile plays on her lips. That look alone is enough to leave Lin Zixuan and the others completely dazed. They do not even notice themselves drooling. Zhang Bai keeps his eyes on her until she disappears from the field. Only then does he finally let his guard down. Damn, that was close. What is she playing at? I should never have let her drink that much with me the other night. Alcohol always leads to trouble. Once she is gone, Lin Zixuan and the others wipe their mouths and turn their attention back to Zhang Bai. I have to say, Brother Bai, you are legendary. A beauty like that bringing you milk tea? Give us the scoop. What is your relationship, anyway? Lin Zixuan asks, eager for an answer. Exactly, Brother Bai. We heard her call you Xiao Bai Bai. Do not even think about making up some weak excuse. Liu Yu eyes the drink with envy. Wang Hu flexes his bicep. Look at me. I have the looks and these perfect biceps. Why does no one bring me milk tea? Zhang Bai rolls his eyes at his idiot roommates. You think I want this? I was basically forced. Plus, he does not even like milk tea. But since she insisted he drink it all, he has to finish it. He completely ignores his friend's jealous glares. Quit gossiping. She is just my older sister's best friend. It is not what you guys think, he explains helplessly. Lin Zixuan remains skeptical. He frowns and presses further. Really? Something about this feels a lot more complicated. Zhang Bai just sighs. Believe what you want, I am telling the truth. Not far away, Qianqian is resting and sees the whole exchange. Who is that girl? Why is she giving him milk tea? Are they together? Qianqian feels an unfamiliar ache in her chest. It is an uncomfortable sinking feeling she cannot name. Rest is over. Everyone up, fall in. The chief instructor shouts, blowing his whistle. The recruits scramble back into their respective formations. The moment Zhang Bai lifts his head, spots Qianqian standing in the front row of the opposite squad, staring right at him. He barely spares her a glance. He looks away as if she were invisible. Qianqian feels a sting of disappointment and frustration. Instructor barks another order, and military training resumes. Everyone spends the entire afternoon alternating between standing at attention and practicing their march. Scorched by the midday sun, the students were miserable until the instructor finally dismissed them for dinner. That evening, everyone gathered on the parade grounds for a series of student performances. Zhang Bai watched, bored. Lin Zixuan, that closet pervert, had already ditched them to hover around the girls from another squad. Once the class performances wrapped up, the instructor shouted, "All right, any more volunteers brave enough to show us a talent?" Before the words even landed, Liu Yu and Wang Hu exchanged a mischievous, knowing grin. Bellowed, "Instructor, Zhang Bai says he has a performance ready." Zhang Bai stared at them, stunned. He hadn't said a word. But with the instructor insisting, Zhang Bai had no choice but to bite the bullet. Cursing his two useless friends under his breath, Zhang Bai shot them a death glare and walked up. Standing in the spotlight, he felt the weight of every gaze. He took a nervous breath and offered a weak smile. "Hey everyone, I'm not much of a performer, so I'll just sing a song. Wow, he's handsome. Totally my type." No kidding, he's gorgeous. I wonder if he's single. The girls nearby were already buzzing. Zhang Bai was a looker. Sharp features, clear skin, and a smile that felt like the first warm day of spring. "I only know a few songs," he continued. "Does anyone here know how to sing If Love Forgets? Maybe we can duet?" The moment he asked, the girls erupted. "Me, I can. Pick me handsome. Get lost, you ugly thing." "Who are you calling ugly? I bet he wouldn't even look at you. You want to fight, you witch?" Two girls were ready to throw hands until the instructor stepped in to shut it down. Just as things calmed, a sweet voice cut through the air. I can sing it with you. Zhang Bai turned to see Li Shiya. Before he could even respond, she stepped lightly onto the stage. He couldn't help but ask, Shiya, what are you doing here? She just arched an eyebrow in response. What, can't your sister come and watch? No, I didn't mean that. Let's start then. Sure. She licked her lips and flashed a smile. As she began to sing, Zhang Bai was stunned by her voice. He thought to himself, she sounds amazing. As they sang about memories and lingering heartache, the crowd fell silent. They finished the song together with a final lingering question. Are you okay now? Zhang Bai headed back to the lawn. Li Shiya followed right behind him, settling into the spot directly beside him. Zhang Bai looked over, confused. Shiya, do you need something? Nope. You know, you actually sing pretty well, Sabai. She leaned in close to his ear. She whispered softly, her warm breath ghosting over his neck, making his skin crawl in the best way. Heart hammered against his ribs and his face flushed red. Zhang Bai instinctively scooted away, inch by inch. Little did he know, she saw every move. Every time he shifted, she just slid right back closer. Liu Yu and Wang Hu watched the entire display, completely baffled. Was Xia already thinking about having his kids? Back in the girls' dorm, Li Shiya felt her face burn as she replayed the events of the day. She couldn't believe she'd handed him milk tea in front of everyone and then joined him for a duet. It was nerve-wracking. But thinking about the guy she liked made her pulse race with excitement. Just you wait, little brother. I'll have you in the palm of my hand soon enough. She smirked and pulled out her phone to text him. Suddenly, the door swung open with a bang, and several shadows burst into the room. Xia. Big trouble. Huge. Chao Yanxin panted, rushing in with two of Xia's other roommates right behind her. Their eyes were wide, practically dripping with gossip. Xia sighed, lounging with her chips. What's the emergency? Hold on, catch your breath. Wait, did you go to the freshman training grounds this morning? Chao Yanxin asked. Xia didn't even blink. Yeah, I went, so what? Her calm reaction nearly drove Chao Yanxin and the others crazy. Shu Wanting chimed in, voice frantic. So it's true? That was you singing with that freshman on the field? Under their intense stares, Xia finally nodded. Oh my god, Chao Yanxin shrieked, clearly thrilled. Then the posts on the school forum are real? You really bought a freshman milk tea and did a duet? Ever since she arrived at Modu University, Li Shiya had been the reigning goddess of the campus. Countless rich kids, honor students, and campus heartthrobs had tried to win her over, all of them failing. Countless guys had been chasing her like crazy. Rich heirs, powerful families, top students, and campus heartthrobs. You name it. It is no exaggeration to say that if you lined up all of Li Shiya's suitors from Shanghai to France, it would be a massive queue. The most shocking part? Li Shiya has never spared a single one of them a glance. That earned her the title of the campus ice queen. Yet today, same icy goddess actually brought milk tea to a freshman and sang a duet with him. It is simply unbelievable. Who would have thought the campus queen would finally bloom? Sending tea to a guy, spill the beans. What exactly is your relationship with that freshman? Her roommate Meng Jiao couldn't resist prying either. Yeah, Xia, tell us. Are you two secretly together already? Shu Wanting chimed in, clearly dying for the gossip. Come on, Xia. Tell us, what does he look like? Is he handsome? Don't make us drag the truth out of you. Right then, Li Shia's three roommates circled her like hungry wolves, 6 eyes wide open, stared her down, faces full of raw curiosity. Li Shia felt a flush of embarrassment. She had worn a hat to keep a low profile, but she had been recognized anyway. The news was already trending on the school forum. She took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. Seeing her roommates' gossip-hungry expressions, she couldn't help but roll her eyes. She only brought a kid some tea and sang a song. Why was everyone so shocked? After a moment of thought, Li Shia spoke slowly. Stop guessing. No matter how much you ask, I am not telling you anything. But as soon as she said that, her three roommates bristled, shared a look, and giggled. Shia, don't blame us for what happens next. Seeing that mischievous grin, she felt a bad omen rising. Sisters, get her. Shia, try my dragon claw technique. The next second, the room was filled with the sounds of girls wrestling and laughing. Meanwhile, in the boys' dorm, Zhang Bai just walked out of the shower when he heard Lin Zixuan shout, What the? Liu Yu, the introverted one, looked confused. Lin Zixuan turned to look at Zhang Bai, who was blow-drying his hair. You jerk! We treat you like a brother, and you go behind our backs to hook up with the campus queen. Liu Yu and Wang Hu crowded around, staring at the two of them in confusion. Zhang Bai looked totally lost. He asked, seriously? What is wrong with you? When did I hook up with any campus queen? Stop the act. That girl looked so familiar today. It was our senior, the campus ice queen. As soon as they said that, everyone understood. Zhang Bai finally realized who they meant. He curled his lip and explained, Look, I told you already. She is just my sister's best friend. And for the record, I had no idea she was the campus queen. Seriously, Lin Zixuan still looked suspicious. Stared at Zhang Bai. I swear it is the absolute truth. Seeing Zhang Bai didn't look like he was lying, Lin Ziswan laughed and went back to watching a live stream. Liu Yu leaned in. Zhang Bai, I noticed something. What is it? Zhang Bai asked, curious. I think your sister's friend likes you. Did you notice? Zhang Bai froze. Xia likes him? That is impossible. Liu Yu continued. Otherwise, why would a campus queen go to the track in front of everyone just to bring you tea? What does she gain from that? Guessing, but she has to be into you. Zhang Bai glanced at Liu Yu and laughed. Stop with the crazy theories. Her liking me is impossible. Let's just wash up and sleep. Liu Yu shrugged, seeing Zhang Bai wouldn't listen, and climbed into bed. That night, Zhang Bai tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, Li Shiya's face appeared in his mind. What is going on? Why am I thinking about her? Maybe I am just exhausted. But thinking of Li Shiya, Zhang Bai felt a pang of guilt. I am such a beast, doing that to my sister's best friend. At the thought, dark feeling washed over him. She didn't use protection that night. What if she is pregnant? If it happened on the first try, then she is ruined. The more he thought, the more terrified he became until he finally passed out from exhaustion. Chapter 9. That is right, good boy. After 15 days of grueling training, the miserable military drills finally came to an end. During those 15 days, Zhang Bai not only had to endure the scorching sun, but also the embarrassment of Li Shiya, constantly showing up at the track to bring him tea. By now, everyone was used to it. In boys' dorm 606, the 4 exhausted figures collapsed onto their beds like they had no souls left. Zhang Bai and his roommates finally felt what it meant to be relieved. Every muscle in their bodies stopped aching. Their thoughts finally drifted away from the high-stress environment. They lay on their bunks, soaking up the rare peace. They looked satisfied and relaxed. During training, Zhang Bai's fair face had been tanned quite a bit. Right now, he looked like he had been through a storm. A bit worn out, yes, but there was a new sense of resolve in his eyes. The other 3 were just as dark from the sun. Liu Yu did a sudden sit-up and suggested, brothers, with classes starting tomorrow, the 4 of them agreed to hit the town tonight. Dorm 606's second group dinner was on. Lin Zixuan draped an arm over Liu Yu and said, since it was your idea, why don't you pick the place? Liu Yu laughed it off. Forget that. You're the local here. Don't you have some recommendations for us? You're asking the right guy, Lin Zixuan replied. But first, what's everyone craving? They tossed around ideas and eventually settled on local Shanghai cuisine, since 3 of them were new to the city. None of them had tried the local specialties, so Lin Zixuan beamed. Today, I'm taking you all to super popular spot. Trust me, the place is packed with beautiful women, Lin Zixuan boasted. He shot a mischievous wink at the others. Liu Yu clapped his hands. Damn, a true brother. This is a godsend for us single guys. Liu Yu gave a thumbs up. Seriously, hearing that. I can't wait. Maybe I'll run into a pretty girl from home, added Wang Hu, his usual honest self. The group burst into laughter at his comment. They didn't waste any time. After a quick cleanup, they hailed a cab for the restaurant Lin Zixuan recommended. Inside the taxi, Zhang Bai's phone buzzed. A message from Li Shiya read, Little Bai, come have a big dinner with me. Zhang Bai broke into a cold sweat, feeling completely panicked. Then another message popped up. Little Bai, why aren't you saying anything? Zhang Bai took a deep breath and typed back, Forget it, Shiya. I've already promised my roommates. That's fine, she replied. Just ask your roommates if they mind one more. Zhang Bai's eyes widened. He couldn't believe how shameless she was. He'd never noticed her being so pushy before. He tossed his phone aside, unsure how to reply. Finally, the group arrived at the trendy restaurant, tucked away in the heart of the city's busiest district. Skyscrapers towered overhead and the traffic was non-stop. Even from a distance, the restaurant sign stood out. The unique design drew in every passerby. Inside, the space was bright, comfortable, and effortlessly stylish. Artistic paintings hung on the walls, and soft lighting kept the mood warm. Servers buzzed around, greeting guests. They were led to a window seat with a view of the city. Once seated, they dove into the menu. Every dish looked mouth-watering. Just then, a cheerful ringtone cut through the air. It was a video call from Li Shiya. Zhang Bai glanced at his roommates, then stood up and stepped outside to answer. Little Bai, why did it take so long to pick up? Her stunning face filled the screen, pouting at him. I'm sorry, Shiya. I was busy and didn't see the call. Zhang Bai lied, feeling guilty, chuckled, a sly glint in her eyes. Humph! You're not being very honest, little brother. Come on, send me your location. I'm starving over here. She rubbed her flat stomach for effect. Zhang Bai went silent, wondering if he should give her their location. Li Shiya seemed to sense his hesitation, her lips curling into a charming smile. What? Are you reluctant, or are you hiding something from me? Zhang Bai felt a knot in his chest. After a moment, he sighed and decided to give in. All right, fine. Li Shiya giggled and blew a kiss at the camera. Zhang Bai hung up and sent her the address. Smiling, Li Shiya stood up to get ready. Zhang Bai returned to the table. Lin Zixuan and the others were staring at him with suspicious eyes. Who was that, Bai? Zhang Bai told them she was coming. Lu Yu immediately suggested, how about we pack it to go, Bai? I don't want to be a third wheel eating dog food. Zhang Bai rolled his eyes. What are you talking about? Nothing's going on, he snapped. Yeah, just your big sister's best friend, right? Huan smirked. Zhang Bai decided to ignore their teasing. Suddenly, two women in short skirts walked by. Lin Zixuan's eyes lit up and he nudged Lu Yu. Lu Yu couldn't help but say, damn, that is sexy. The three of them couldn't take their eyes off the girls in the restaurant. Zhang Bai was speechless. It was honestly embarrassing. Then suddenly, felt like time had stopped. Everyone's gaze snapped to the restaurant entrance. A graceful figure drifted inside. She moved with such light, effortless elegance. She was like the first ray of morning sun piercing through the mist, warm, bright, and impossibly beautiful. Her face was breathtaking. Flawless snow-white skin framed by delicate willow leaf brows over eyes that sparkled like gems. Those eyes were brilliant, with long lashes that fluttered like butterfly wings, casting a spell of irresistible charm. Beneath a high bridge of a nose, her lips curved into a subtle, knowing smile. Her hair fell like a dark waterfall over her shoulders, swayed in the breeze, carrying a faint, sweet scent. She wore a pristine white dress that danced as she walked, looked like a lotus in full bloom, fresh, elegant, and pure. She radiated a unique, captivating aura, perfect blend of youthful, spirited innocence and the sophisticated, alluring grace of a woman. This vision appeared out of nowhere. Instantly, she became the center of attention. Li Shiya spotted Zhang Bai sitting by the window, offered a faint smile, and headed straight toward him. She glanced around and realized Zhang Bai was alone. What's going on, little brat? She thought he was eating with his roommates. Little Bai, your sister is here. She batted her captivating peach blossom eyes and sat right beside him. Zhang Bai caught sight of Li Shiya looking stunningly beautiful and couldn't help but freeze. Sister Shiya, you look gorgeous, like a goddess descended from heaven. Seeing Zhang Bai so mesmerized, Li Shiya felt a secret thrill. All that effort she put into her outfit paid off, but Zhang Bai quickly snapped out of it, dead calmly. Sister Shiya, you're here. Take a look at the menu if you want anything else. Hearing that, Li Shiya pulled her gaze away from him. She curved her lips and replied, anything little Bai orders I'll love. When she said that, Zhang Bai nearly choked on his water. Why wasn't Sister Shiya playing by the rules? Why did she keep teasing him like this? Seeing Zhang Bai looking so dazed, Li Shiya couldn't help but cover her mouth and giggle. All right, little brat, I won't tease you anymore. I'm fine with anything. Oh, right. Didn't you say you were eating with your roommates? Where are they? She asked, genuinely puzzled. Zhang Bai couldn't very well tell her they packed their food to go just to avoid being a third wheel. What kind of PDA would they be dodging? I'm clearing the air for you, Shiya. They just had things to do and left early. Hearing this, Li Shiya nodded. She felt a secret wave of joy inside. Perfect! Now it was just her and the little brat. She couldn't help but be thrilled at the thought. Come on, little Bai, open up. Let me feed you some meat. Li Shiya said with a beaming smile, carefully lifting a piece of delicious-looking red braised pork with her chopsticks. She held it right up to Zhang Bai's lips. Zhang Bai jolted, his body stiffening at the gesture. A look of pure shock crossed his face. He blinked hard, wondering if he was hallucinating. Sister Shiya, you're the campus goddess, the school's famously cold queen. How can you be so forward? Zhang Bai stared at her, stunned. Watching her smile blossom, Zhang Bai wondered if Li Shiya had lost her mind or if he was dreaming. Something was definitely wrong. He was keeping secrets. Zhang Bai felt completely blindsided by the sudden turn of events, and just then, Zhang Bai watched Li Shiya's brows furrow slightly. Her eyes held a flicker of playful annoyance as she whispered, Xiao Bai, if you don't eat this, your sister is going to be genuinely angry. That soft, sweet voice carried a hint of coaxing that could melt anyone's heart, hitting Zhang Bai's ears like a jolt of electricity. Felt like a current surged through him, making his heart tremble in spite of himself. Zhang Bai hesitated for a moment, shifted his gaze from the food in his hand to Li Shiya, finally taking a tentative bite. Honestly, it was shockingly good. That first bite caught him completely off guard. The unique flavor left Zhang Bai feeling absolutely delighted. Shiya giggled and patted his head. You're such a good boy, little brother. I even fed you meat myself. Li Shiya smirked, a playful, teasing glint in her eyes. Aren't you going to ask your sister anything? She tilted her head, her gaze lingering with a suggestive spark. How about a bite for your sister? It hit Zhang Bai like a lightning bolt. Face flushed instantly as his heart hammered. Caught off guard by the bold request, Zhang Bai stood there, completely flustered. After a brief moment of hesitation, Zhang Bai finally gathered the courage to respond. He took a steadying breath to calm his nerves. He carefully picked up his chopsticks, plucked a piece of fish, and meticulously deboned it before bringing it to Li Shiya. Her face lit up with delight at the gesture. She opened her small mouth and took a gentle bite of the fish. She nodded, satisfied, a happy sparkle in her eyes. Nearby couples watched, casting envious glances. Zhang Bai felt awkward, ducked his head, and hurried through his meal. Li Shiya watched Zhang Bai quietly, her heart full of sweetness. Just then, a couple at the next table noticed them. The girl pouted. Seriously? Look at her boyfriend compared to you. Why can't you feed me? The guy looked embarrassed. Seeing the glare from his girlfriend, he nervously offered her some food. Better? Keep doing that, got it? She said, satisfied. Zhang Bai endured the back and forth feeding from Li Shiya. The awkward meal finally ended. They paid the bill and stepped out onto the street, walking one after the other. Li Xia noticed Zhang Bai trailing behind, so she slowed down and eventually stopped. Zhang Bai stopped too. Li Xia turned slightly, her eyes locking onto Zhang Bai. She couldn't help but arch a brow in confusion. Little Bai, am I really that scary? Zhang Bai looked completely bewildered. He had no idea what he had done wrong. Xia, what's wrong now? Nothing. Zhang Bai scratched his head. Then why are you standing so far away? Scared I might eat you? Li Xia covered her mouth and giggled. Zhang Bai stood there, stunned. Before he could reply, Li Xia drifted to his side. She curled her lips into a smile. Walk with me. Stay close. Zhang Bai nodded instinctively. They began the slow walk back to campus, their hands brushing against each other every few steps. Zhang Bai felt his heart racing in chaos. Li Xia glanced at him from the corner of her eye, her own lips curving upward. By the time they reached school, the sky had turned dark. After a nervous walk, Zhang Bai finally walked her to the girls' dormitory. Xia, we're here. Go on up. As soon as he spoke, Zhang Bai bolted. He didn't want to stay another second, terrified of what she might do next. Watching him scramble away, Li Xia laughed playfully. Silly boy, I had a great time today. She stared at his retreating back, whispering to herself. Only when he vanished from sight did she finally head toward her room. Chapter 11, Caught Red-Handed. The moment Li Xia walked in, her 3 roommates swarmed her, wearing mischievous grins. Our campus beauty is finally home. Tell us, did you dress up to go on a date with the freshmen? Su Wanting asked first. What are you talking about? I just went for a walk. Li Xia shook her head, her eyes darting away. Stop acting. We saw you from upstairs. You can't fool us. Shu Wanting pulled up the photo she snapped from the window. She showed it to her. Caught red-handed. Solid proof. Xia, what excuse do you have now? Seeing her lie exposed, Li Xia decided to come clean. Fine. Yes, I went to dinner with him, so what? Qianqian put her hands on her hips, acting aggressive. Good for you, Xia. Daring to go on a secret date behind our backs. Look at you all making such a fuss. I just had a meal with little Bai. Is that a crime? Spill it. How is it going between you two? Kiss? Meng Zhao Zhao leaned in close. Yeah, tell us everything. What does a kiss feel like? Chao Yanxin joined the gossip. You're back so late. Did you guys do something scandalous? Facing their wild questions, Li Xia couldn't hold her ground, her face turning bright red. No way, that didn't happen. Do I look like the type of person to do that? Li Xia rushed to explain. As soon as she said that, her 3 roommates nodded in perfect unison, as if to say, yes, that is exactly who you are. Whatever, I'm done with you all. I'm tired, I'm going to shower. She made up an excuse and pushed past them, ducked into the bathroom, feeling flustered. She was terrified that if she stayed a moment longer, she would blurt out that she and Zhang Bai had actually slept together. She said that she would die of embarrassment. Ugh, silly boy, I dropped such obvious hints. Why are you so dense? I even gave you my first time and it's been days. Why are you still acting like a blockhead? Still no reaction. Li Xia turned on the shower, stripping off her clothes as she muttered to herself. Meanwhile, Zhang Bai returned to his dorm. The moment he opened the door, his 3 roommates stared at him with wicked smiles. Lin Zixuan chuckled, leaning forward to probe. Hey brother Bai, how was it? Was the date with the campus beauty fun? Get lost. Nothing happened, we just grabbed a simple meal, Zhang Bai retorted. Lin Zixuan pouted. He shrugged and turned back to his screen to watch a beauty live stream. The other 2 shared a look and just kept quiet. Late that night, Li Shiya drifted off to sleep. In her dreams, she couldn't stop smiling, whispering, Little Bai, over and over. I like you so much. The next morning, as Li Shiya brushed her teeth, Chao Yanxin walked out of the bathroom. Xia, you were muttering all night. Did you have a nightmare? Yeah, I did, but it wasn't exactly a dream. Li Shi replied, her words muffled by the toothbrush. Oh, Chao Yanxin didn't ask further, yawning as she crawled back into bed. Looking in the mirror, Li Shiya recalled her dream. Her face turned rosy as she thought about it. In her dream, Zhang Bai proposed to her in front of all their friends, and they walked down the aisle together. Then came their wedding night. All those unspeakable moments. If only it were real. Keep going, try to win over that silly boy soon. Li Shiya sat at her desk, checking her phone. It was 10 o'clock, right when he would be getting out of class. She pulled a bag of snacks from her cabinet. All things Zhang Bai loved. Don't ask how she knew. Her best friend Zhang Wanqing was the source. Just as she was leaving, Meng Jiaojiao saw the snacks. Her eyes lit up. Hey Shiya, since when did you have all these treats? I'm just about to head to the cafeteria. Give me some to tide me over. Meng Jiaojiao reached out, but Li Shiya quickly hid the bag behind her back. No way. These snacks aren't for you. I'll buy more later, but don't even think about this bag. Li Shiya hugged the bag of snacks tightly, acting like a guard dog, worried that Meng Jiaojiao would snatch them. Meng Jiaojiao was surprised by Li Shiya's strange behavior. She quickly realized what was happening and pretended to guess. Let me guess, pretty Li. Is that snack bag for someone special? Maybe a certain freshman? Meng Jiaojiao teased, but Li Shiya cut her off mid-sentence. Quiet! Before Meng Jiaojiao could fire back, Li Shiya clutched the snacks and bolted, terrified of being caught. Meng Jiaojiao just watched her dash off, blinked in surprise. Seriously, that girl? It's just snacks for a freshman, no need to overreact. Can't even talk about it, Meng Jiaojiao muttered. Meanwhile, in a first-year finance classroom, Zhang Bai was focused on his lecture until the bell finally rang. Before the echoes faded, Li Shiya appeared at the classroom door. The arrival of the school's cold beauty goddess sent the room into a frenzy. Ever since that photo of Li Shiya handing Zhang Bai milk tea on the track went viral on the school forum, every freshman knew her. They all recognized the legendary, untouchable campus beauty. Oh my god, isn't that the junior year queen? Why is she here? Breathtaking. Truly every guy's dream girl. The cold beauty goddess herself. I'd give 10 years of my life just to speak with her. Man, someone replied. You're dreaming. Don't let me crush you, but with a face like that, you should just go to sleep. The class didn't clear out. Everyone wanted to know who she came for. The guys nearby stared at Li Shiya, their eyes practically popping out of their heads. They were drooling. If it weren't for the rumors surrounding her, they would have rushed over to beg for her contact info. Seeing the school beauty on this massive campus was rare enough, but seeing her here was a shock. The commotion at the door drew the attention of Jiang Bai and his group. Lin Ziswan spotted her immediately and started poking Jiang Bai. Look, Brother Bai, isn't that campus beauty Li? Looks like she's here for you. Jiang Bai looked up. When he saw Li Shiya standing there, he knew exactly why she showed up. He wanted the ground to swallow him whole. Excuse me, can you all move aside, please? I'm here to find freshman Zhang Bi. As soon as she said that, the crowd gasped in collective shock. What was happening? The cold queen is looking for Zhang Bai again? What's their deal? I thought she wasn't into guys. In an instant, 1,000 glares of envy and jealousy locked onto Zhang Bai. If looks could kill, he would have been buried by them right then and there. Li Shiya spotted Zhang Bai in the back and hurried over. Hey there, little Bai. I brought you some goodies, she beamed, thrusting the massive bag of snacks toward him and giving him a cheeky wink. That one move rendered the entire room speechless again. Wait, what just happened? Li, the campus beauty, calling Zhang Bai, Sao Bai Bai? That's way too intimate. Between the nickname and the snacks, everyone was dying to know who this guy really was. What was their relationship exactly? The students in the classroom were buzzing, everyone throwing out their own wild theories. More than a few students secretly pulled out their phones to record. Zhang Bai just stared at that massive bag of snacks, struggling to process it all. So Shiya came all this way just to deliver snacks? Zhang Bai felt the weight of every stare in the room and accepted the bag without a second thought. He wanted out. Now. Thanks, Shiya. Let's get out of here. She knew they were drawing too much attention, so she nodded in agreement. The two of them headed out one after the other, leaving the classroom behind under a hail of gossip-filled stares. Chapter 12. Down by the teaching building, Zhang Bai suddenly stopped walking. His eyes flickered as if he were turning something heavy over in his mind. After a moment, he finally gathered his courage and stammered, Shiya, about that, actually. Could you maybe stop being so nice to me? His voice was barely a whisper. Li Shiya was stunned, a flicker of shock crossing her face. She recovered quickly, slipping into a look of feigned vulnerability and asking with a pout, What's wrong? Does my little brother not like it when I treat him well? Are you starting to hate me then? Her large, watery eyes locked onto his, making it impossible to look away. Zhang Bai shuddered, frantically shaking his head. No, that's not it at all. Don't misunderstand. Shiya sweat beaded on his forehead. He was clearly panicking. Watching him spiral, Li Shiya suppressed a smile but kept up the act, asking aggrievedly, So little brother, what about that promise you made to be responsible for me? Does that not count anymore? Bit her lip gently, her gaze filled with a mix of anticipation and shyness. Zhang Bai froze at her words. It was like he had been hit with a paralysis spell. His hands clenched tight, and he didn't have a clue how to answer. He was a complete mess of internal conflict. Seeing him so flustered, Li Shiya couldn't help but laugh. She said softly, all right. I won't tease you anymore. I'll wait for you to figure it out. I've got to go, but remember, I'm performing at the freshman gala tonight. Make sure you watch. Jiang Bai gave a dazed nod. Watching her walk away, he felt a strange tangled knot in his chest. Spent the afternoon lost in a daze. By 1 o'clock, he was dead to the world until Lin Zixuan kicked the dorm door open. Leaning right into Jiang Bai's ear, he screamed, "Bai, wake up! Massive news!" The sudden jolt scared Jiang Bai half to death. Bolted upright. "Damn it, you creep. Are you sick? You scared the hell out of me." "Heh, I'm just excited." Lin Zixuan grinned. "Excited? It's just news. Why the hell are you acting like a lunatic?" Wang Hu piped up, unable to contain himself. "The word is Li the campus beauty is performing at the freshman gala tonight." "That's it?" Jiang Bai asked. Lin Zixuan fired back. "You don't get it. This is her first time ever performing at a gala. She's never cared about these events before. Doesn't it strike you as weird that she's finally on stage this year?" Lin Zixuan glanced at Jiang Bai as he said it. Jiang Bai remembered what Shiya had told him earlier, that she'd be performing and wanted him there. Could she be doing it for him? Seeing Jiang Bai's calm expression, Lin Zixuan couldn't help but probe. "Bai, you look way too chill. Did you already know?" Before Jiang Bai could answer, Liu Yu jumped in. "Are you dim, Zixuan? With their relationship, wouldn't it be weirder if he didn't know?" Lin Zixuan slapped his own forehead. My brain, how did I forget that? Right, guys, obviously Bai is going. Are you two in? I heard a bunch of hot upperclassmen are performing too. Lin Zixuan rubbed his hands together, looking delightfully sleazy. Jiang Bai just gave him a look of pure exasperation. "Who said I was definitely going?" Liu Yu, who was busy gaming, spun around and declared righteously, "Honestly, the upperclassmen don't even matter. I'm just here for the vibe." Wang Hu chimed in, "Exactly, count me in." By dusk, the group was marching toward the gala. "Zixuan," one of them joked, "you're just going to watch a show. Why are you dressed like you're hitting the runway? Thinking you're on a date?" "You guys wouldn't understand. It's all about the look." Jiang Bai sat in the audience, looking completely indifferent. He watched the girls in flashy outfits dancing on stage, while his three friends sat next to him, eyes glued to the stage, practically drooling. Jiang Bai, meanwhile, couldn't have cared less. "This is weird," he thought. "The show's almost over. Where's Shiya?" Then he reconsidered. Maybe she's the grand finale. As the skit ended, the host stepped onto the stage with a graceful, practiced smile. "I'm sure all our freshmen have heard the rumors by now. Tonight, our campus goddess, Li Shiya, will be gracing us with a performance, and I can confirm, it is absolutely true. Let's give the girl of every guy's dreams a massive round of applause as she takes the stage." Thunderous applause erupted the moment the host finished. The host retreated into the wings. Suddenly, all the stage lights cut out, plunging the venue into total darkness. Then, the sharp, rhythmic sound of footsteps echoed across the stage. The rapid click of her heels held a strange magnetism, pulling every eye in the theater. People held their breath, mesmerized. Patient hung in the air for Li Shiya, the campus goddess. Soon, the rhythmic click of heels faded away. Once the sound vanished, a graceful figure emerged center stage, standing perfectly still in the spotlight. Freshman Gala went dead silent. A moment later, a brilliant beam of light hit the stage core. The crowd gasped. Bathed in that glow, a girl of ethereal, breathtaking beauty sat waiting. She sat before a snow-white piano. A gentle breeze caught her long hair, making it dance like fairy ribbons. Clad in a gown as white as snow, she looked refined and otherworldly. Her beautiful face was flawless. Her skin was porcelain, her brows perfectly arched, and her lips needed no rouge. A faint smile graced her lips. It was a captivating sight. Someone muttered, "Is she even human?" Li Shiya is unreal. Her beauty was otherworldly, untouched by the mundane. It was hard to believe such a woman existed. Applying to Modu University was definitely the right move, a student remarked, watching the stage. As Li Shiya in her white gown appeared, her eyes sparkled. She looked like a fresh, blooming white lotus. She radiated charm. She watched every movement and expression of Li Shiya on stage. An indescribable emotion swelled in his heart. "Shiya is stunning! Jiang Bai, that's your wife!" Lin Zixuan shouted excitedly. Jiang Bai rolled his eyes at him. "Are you crazy? What are you babbling about?" Lin Zixuan realized his mistake. He laughed awkwardly. "Heh, my bad, Bai. Got a little too excited. Good evening, everyone." Li Xia smiled, nodded at the audience, and scanned the rows. Her eyes landed on Jiang Bai in the back. She offered a slight smile, then turned back. Taking a breath, she rested her hands on the keys. But feeling the music's pulse, she spoke softly. "I'll be playing Mermaid's Tears for you all. I hope you enjoy it." Her voice was clear and melodious, like music from the heavens. Freshman Gala fell silent. As the first note echoed through the hall, Li Xia's fingers began to dance across the keys. Each strike felt like a crystal-clear teardrop hitting the water, creating ripples. Her technique was flawless and effortless. She played the piece to perfection. The audience sat spellbound, completely lost in the beautiful melody. They could almost see a mermaid in the deep sea, her lonely, sorrowful heart pouring out longing through those tears. Some audience members couldn't wait any longer. They pulled out their phones, carefully adjusting the angles. They were desperate to capture this stunning moment forever. Within seconds, a video of Li Shiya playing the piano was uploaded to the school forum. It skyrocketed to the top of the trending list almost instantly, became the talk of the entire campus. The comment section exploded with praise. Wow, Li Shiya is absolutely gorgeous. She looks like a fairy when she plays. The music is so good, I'm obsessed. She's our cold, icy goddess for a reason. She's so talented. I've decided Li Shiya is officially my only idol. The whole school buzzed with admiration for Li. She had become the center of attention. This talented beauty had truly captured everyone's hearts with her music. Sitting in the audience, Zhang Bai felt completely conflicted. He couldn't pin down his true feelings for Li Shiya. Just guilt over that indescribable encounter they'd shared at the hotel? Or was it the genuine affection of a couple? Zhang Bai felt utterly confused, dealing with Li Shiya and her relentless pursuit over the last half-month. Denying his feelings would be a total lie. Looking at her gorgeous face on stage, his expression grew complex. Li Shiya was stunning, but was he even good enough for her? Lin Zixuan and his roommates exchanged looks, then glanced at Zhang Bai. They huddled together, whispering. Zhang Bai sensed trouble brewing. As the song ended, Li Shiya prepared to stand and leave. Suddenly, Lin Zixuan and his two roommates stood up and shouted, "Goddess Li!" Wait. Zhang Bai's eyes went wide. He stared at the trio, completely stunned and terrified by what was unfolding. He had no idea what those idiots were planning. Damn it, Zhang Bai cursed under his breath, thinking to himself. What the hell are these bastards up to? Just then, Lin Zixuan turned to face Zhang Bai directly. Strange glint shone in his eyes. Zhang Bai's heart sank. A bad premonition hit him. Then, Lin Zixuan shouted to the stage, "Goddess Li, my roommate says he wants to sing a duet with you. He's shy, so he asked me to check if you'd be up for it." He pointed right at Zhang Bai as he spoke. Zhang Bai was paralyzed. "You jerk, Lin Zixuan, are you kidding me? When did I ever say that?" The lighting technician, clearly enjoying the drama, instantly bathed Zhang Bai in a spotlight. Li Shiya looked at Zhang Bai, caught in the light, and paused for a second. "So, the little rascal wants to sing with me?" Then, seeing his blank expression, she knew his roommates were behind it. Li Shiya quietly took the microphone. "Sure, just that one word," left the entire crowd speechless. "Wait, isn't that the guy who got tea from Goddess Li during military training? Guy has game. Didn't he sing a duet with her during training too? Who is this guy? My eyes, why would the goddess fall for someone like him?" The audience erupted into whispers. Sitting in the front row, Qianqian turned and saw Zhang Bai in the spotlight. Her eyes were fixed on him with a complex look. These past few days, she'd seen the gossip on the forum but assumed it was fake. She remembered. Zhang Bai was new to the city. How did he get involved with a senior like Li Shiya? "Bai, what are you waiting for?" She said yes. Lin Zixuan and the others literally dragged him up. Amidst the jealous glares of the entire crowd, Zhang Bai walked onto the stage. He stood next to Li Shiya and looked out at the audience, his heart racing. But Li Shiya leaned in close, curled her lips, and whispered into the mic, "Little rascal, you seem nervous." "No kidding, I'm nervous. Thousands of eyes are on me. Of course I'm nervous." Seeing them look almost like they were kissing, the audience was fuming. What was going on? What were they whispering about? Li Shiya sensed something was off. She quickly raised the mic to her lips and asked Zhang Bai, "So, Junior, what would you like to sing?" Several boys in the audience muttered, "Didn't she call him Little Bai this morning? Why are they acting now? Hey, man. You don't get it. You can't understand the playful games of a couple. What do you mean? Let me break it down for you." Chapter 14, Little Bai, Am I Beautiful? Hearing her, Zhang Bai hesitated. Anything is fine, I'll listen to you. Hee, the little rascal really is nervous." Li Shiya smiled. "How about we sing Romeo and Juliet? I'll play the piano and we'll sing." Zhang Bai paused. "Shiya, are you sure that's a good choice?" Lin Zixuan and the others on stage watched him freeze. Tension was unbearable. I almost wanted to jump up and say yes for him. Zhang Bai paused for a heartbeat, then gave a firm nod. "Good call, Bai." Lin Zixuan and his two friends roared from the audience, cheering them on. "We're rooting for you." Their shouts triggered a wave of thunderous applause. Driven by the trio's energy, the rest of the crowd joined in. Li Shiya settled back at the piano. She closed her eyes, took a deep, steadying breath, and exhaled slowly before opening them again. Her deep, beautiful eyes scanned the room, as if she were connecting with the entire world. She gently placed her hands on the keys, feeling the familiar texture under her fingertips. As her fingers danced, beautiful notes poured from the instrument like a flowing mountain stream, filling the entire venue. The song began with the male vocal. Zhang Bai closed his eyes and inhaled deeply. Li Shiya's stunning face flashed in his mind. When he opened his eyes again, his entire posture seemed far more relaxed. A love song demands immersion. Zhang Bai turned, locking his gaze on Li Shiya with pure gentle affection, began softly. I want to sing a song for you. The lyrics were sweet, but his voice carried a shy edge. I lack the courage to tell you I love you. Li Shiya watched the tenderness in his eyes and couldn't help but smile. She joined in. Why do you remain silent? Do you not understand my heart? No matter what vows you make, I will say I do. Their eyes locked while they sang. Zhang Bai couldn't hold it for long. He quickly looked away, his face flushing bright red. Thought, this silly little brother is still so cute. Every person in the audience sat in silence, drinking in their song. I love you. You are my Juliet. I am willing to be your Liang Shanbo. Every day of happiness, every romantic night. I love you. You are my Romeo. I am willing to be your Zhu Yingtai. As Li Xia's hand stopped on the keys, the performance ended and the audience erupted. An even louder round of applause and cheers swept the room. Oh man, that sounded amazing, Lu Yu shouted out. Li Xia stepped off the stage with light grace. Her elegant silhouette moved like a dancing fairy, capturing every eye in the room. Yet, she seemed completely indifferent to the praise and attention, walking straight toward Zhang Bai. She stopped right beside him, leaned in close to his ear and whispered, Little brother, wait for me at the entrance. Be good. Don't you dare wander off. Her voice held a playful, doting tone that sent shivers down his spine. As soon as she finished, Li Xia looked up with a captivating smile, turned and walked away elegantly in her heels, her footsteps crisp and rhythmic. Her movements were sharp and decisive, leaving Zhang Bai no room to refuse. Watching her retreat, he shook his head with a helpless sigh. Yet an indescribable sense of anticipation welled up in his heart. He knew he couldn't resist her, so he would follow her lead. The crowd began to disperse. Lin Zixuan and the others approached Zhang Bai, throwing an arm around his shoulder. Brother Bai, how was that? Pretty legendary, right? Zhang Bai rolled his eyes. Legendary, my foot. You guys nearly scared the life out of me. Heh, we're just looking out for you. Besides, didn't you look like you were enjoying yourself up there? Lu Yu teased with a smirk. Zhang Bai retorted, which eye saw me enjoying it? All 6 of our eyes saw it. Stop acting, Brother Bai. We all know what's going on. 3 chimed in together. Thinking of what Li Shiya had said, Zhang Bai made up a quick excuse and sent them home. Zhang Bai sat at the entrance of the freshman gala, aimlessly scrolling through videos, never noticing a figure quietly circling behind him. In a flash, Li Shiya reached out with a hand as delicate and smooth as jade, moving with the speed of lightning. Before he could react, she covered his eyes. The suddenness caught Zhang Bai off guard, leaving him momentarily panicked. Who is it? Zhang Bai blurted out, his voice trembling slightly. Guess who? A playful melodic voice reached his ears. The tone was filled with mischief. Zhang Bai didn't need to think twice. Who else could sound that teasing and enchanting? A familiar voice, Zhang Bai felt a mix of relief and amusement, sighed helplessly and said, Sister Shia, stop messing around. Let go already. Seeing she was caught, she pouted. You're no fun. By now, Li Shia had changed into a pale blue dress. The hem fluttered in the breeze, making her look like a dancing fairy. A white ribbon tied at the collar looked fresh and elegant. Her hair had been styled into a sophisticated updo. It was held in place by a jade hairpin. Zhang Bai couldn't help but stare, completely stunned. Seeing him so spellbound, a flicker of pride and joy sparked in her heart. She smiled, a glimmer of mischief in her eyes. She decided to keep teasing this dense man, swaying her waist slightly with every movement light, elegant, and utterly enchanting. Zhang Bai couldn't tear his eyes away. Little Bai, am I beautiful? Li Shiya asked, her voice dripping with affection. The tone was thick with playful seduction. Zhang Bai snapped back to reality, lowered his head, and felt embarrassed. Face turned crimson. He felt so incredibly stupid. I'll stop teasing you. Let's go, little brother. Keep me company for a walk. A moment later, Li Shiya smiled, her voice softening with a touch of unmistakable doting. Zhang Bai paused, then gave a thoughtful nod. His gaze met Li Shiya's, a complicated flicker of emotion crossing his eyes. Two walked side by side, strolling through the quiet campus at night. Moonlight washed over the ground like liquid silver. It cast their long shadows across the path. Silence blanketed the area, broken only by the soft rustle of wind through the leaves. Zhang Bai walked in silence, his mind racing. Chapter 15, Club Recruitment. The next day after finishing his class, Zhang Bai returned to his dorm. Mother called. He answered asking, Hey mom, what's up? She snapped back. You brat, you've been in Shanghai for half a month. You haven't called your mother once. Are you looking for a scolding? Hearing her voice, Zhang Bai nearly dropped his phone into the toilet. Oh my dear mom, I just got busy and forgot. Don't lie to me, kid. Suddenly, Zhang Mu seemed to recall something important. Her tone turned expectant as she asked, My precious son, have you met any girls at school that made your heart skip a beat? Or have you started dating anyone? The question struck like lightning in the night. Zhang Bai was stunned. He never expected her to be so direct. For a moment, he didn't know how to reply. Are you talking, son? Are you dating and afraid to tell me? Before Jongmu could finish, Zhangbai interrupted. Mom, what are you rambling about? I'm not dating anyone. Oh, I see. Then you better hurry up and find your mother a daughter-in-law. Hearing this, an image of Li Shiya appeared in his mind. Seconds later, Zhangbai snapped back to reality and pinched himself. What was that? How could he be thinking of Shiya? All right, Mom, I have things to do. Gotta go. Without waiting for her response, he hung up. That afternoon, just after waking from a nap, 3 roommates dragged him to join the club recruitment drive. Clubs provide course credits and a way to expand your social circle in college. Most freshmen join clubs to make friends. The recruitment area was packed. Looking out, you could see freshmen everywhere scouting clubs. Seniors were aggressively recruiting, trying to pull new students into their groups. Zhang Bai's group arrived at the scene. What club do you want to join, pretty boy? Liu Yu asked as they walked. I don't know, haven't decided. As Lin Zixuan spoke, his eyes kept drifting toward the girls passing by. Hey guys, why don't we check out the music club? I heard the club president is the school goddess, Li Shiya. Plus, the music club is filled with nothing but beautiful girls. Lin Zixuan stopped and proposed the idea. You're dreaming. Join the music club? I think you're just trying to go see the girls, not join the club. Liu Yu called him out instantly. Lin Zixuan chuckled. Hey, no need to be so direct. Don't you want to see beauties too? Of course I do. Which guy doesn't? Liu Yu replied without hesitation. Enough talk, let's go see. Hearing them, the muscle-bound Wang Hu was eager. You guys are making me impatient already. Wang Hu marched toward the music booth immediately. Liu Yu and Wang Hu followed quickly, grabbing Zhang Bai on the way. Zhang Bai didn't want to go. Going there meant seeing Li Shiya, and who knows what unexpected things she would do to him. But there was no help for it. He couldn't resist their relentless pulling. The music club stall was surrounded by a massive line. Most of them were guys, though plenty of girls were there too. It was obvious these guys were all here for Li Shiya. Behind the booth, Li Shiya, her roommate Qianqian, and other members were busy registering new recruits. Good grief, there are so many people. It'll take until the year of the monkey to reach the front. Liu Yu complained, looking at the endless line. Yang Bai was shocked to see it. He hadn't realized so many people wanted to join the music society. Great, now I won't have to see Shiya T, he thought. Meanwhile, as president, Li Shiya frowned at the massive queue. So many people, how long is this going to take? If we keep going like this, we won't finish until dark. Yangxian, why are there so many sign-ups today? Did you post the entry requirements on the school forum? Li Shiya asked, dabbing the sweat from her forehead with a tissue. I definitely posted them. Xiao Yanxin replied firmly. Then why are there still so many people? Li Shiya continued to press. Oh, my dear beauty Li. Don't you see that guys make up 2/3 of this line? In my opinion, most of them are here for you. After all, who wouldn't want a chance to get close to a talented, charming school goddess like you? Xiao Yangxin laughed teasingly, eyes darting toward the guys in line. I guess being too beautiful isn't always a good thing, Li Shiya muttered to herself. Suddenly, Li Shiya leaned toward Xiao Yanxin. Yanxin, can you think of a way out? Hearing this, Xiao Yanxin thought for a moment and nodded. I've got it. Shiya, leave it to me. Xiao Yanxin picked up a megaphone from the table, climbed onto a stool, and shouted to the students. Attention freshmen. Our music club recruitment is officially full for this year. I apologize to everyone. You've been waiting a long time, but those who haven't registered can head home now. As soon as she said it, the crowd erupted in a stir. The guys in particular looked utterly devastated. Bust. The place is packed. I was hoping to join the music club and meet some pretty upperclassmen, but that's clearly not happening. The crowd at the back started to disperse as the recruiters announced they were full. The signs were just for show anyway. As the crowd thinned out, Li Shiya looked up and immediately spotted Zhang Bai in the sea of people. Her face lit up. She didn't hesitate for a second, jogging straight toward him while Qiao Yanxing watched, completely bewildered. What's gotten into her? Where is she going? Li Shiya reached Zhang Bai in moments, beaming. Hey, Brat! You're signing up for a club and didn't even tell your sister? Zhang Bai blinked, caught off guard. Xiaji, I saw you were busy. Didn't want to bother you. Lin Zixuan and the guys quickly exchanged looks. Bai Gay, you two go ahead. We'll check out other clubs. Before Zhang Bai could react, the 3 of them vanished into the crowd. Chapter 16. Li Shiya pouts in public. Brat, you're looking for a club? Why not join our music club? She blinked those mesmerizing peach blossom eyes, waiting expectantly. The statement dropped like a bomb. The crowd that hadn't left yet froze. Wait, what? Didn't they just say they were full? What is happening? The legendary icy campus goddess Li Shiya was personally inviting a freshman to join, and to top it off, he's a guy? Am I hearing things? Is the world spinning off its axis? Everyone shifted their gaze to Zhang Bai. They wanted to see exactly who this guy was to earn an invite from the campus goddess. Me? Again? What kind of charm does this guy have to make her act like this? Who knows? Let's just watch and see. I'm losing my mind. Why is everyone else so lucky? Bai felt the weight of Li Shiya's stare and swallowed hard. He was just about to slip away unnoticed. Stupid brat. If you join our music club, you can skip the audition, she offered. We have gatherings and all sorts of perks. She grew impatient when he didn't answer. The crowd was even more floored by this revelation. What is going on? Don't we have to fill out forms and pass 2 rounds of auditions? Why is he skipping the process? The guys in the crowd were losing it, their eyes burning with pure, unadulterated jealousy. Qianqian finally recognized him. Isn't that the same freshman she made buy milk tea and did a duet with? That explains it. No wonder she's so pushy. She finally found her crush. Bai felt totally speechless. He had zero interest in music. Sorry, Shiya Ji. I think I'll look around at other clubs instead. His refusal made the crowd's jaws hit the floor. This guy is bold. He actually turned her down. Is he an idiot? That's the campus goddess. He's a legend. He's the first guy at Modu University to ever reject her. Is he even real? How could he pass that up? I'd have said yes in a heartbeat. Nobody in school history had ever turned her down before. This was unprecedented. Li Shiya frowned, clearly unaccustomed to being told no. But seeing it was Bai, she let it slide. He's her precious brat after all. Changing tactics instantly, she tugged on his sleeve, pouting. Bai, just join the club, please. She shook his arm, tears welling up in her eyes, looking like she'd break down if he didn't agree. Qianqian, mid-sip, choked on her water. She whipped out her phone to record the scene. Shiya, have you no shame? You're the ice goddess. Bai had never dealt with this kind of pressure before. He panicked. Shiya-ji, stop it! If you don't agree, I'm going to follow you around until you do, she insisted. Bai sighed, completely defeated. Fine, I'll join. She burst into a grin instantly. That's my Bai. You're officially a member of the music club. The onlookers looked ready to faint. This really the same cold goddess? She was acting like a total fangirl. Bai inwardly cursed his own weakness. Why did he give in so easily? Well, it was done now. He had to go through with it. Come on, Brat. Since you're in, fill out the application. She dragged him to the booth, beaming. Bai grabbed the pen, looking thoroughly miserable as he filled out the form. The crowd watched his annoyed expression and started grumbling. Look at him. He looks like he's being forced to do it. It's infuriating. We're breaking our backs trying to get in, and he gets an invite without an audition and still looks miserable? Some people just don't know when they're lucky. Li Shiya sat across from him, chin in her hands, staring at him, thinking only of her bratty little brother. Watching Bai's miserable expression, she couldn't help but complain, that guy looks so reluctant. Infuriating. People kill to get into this club, he gets in without an interview, and he's still sulking? Talk about not knowing when you've got it good. Li Shiya sat opposite Bai, chin in her hands, staring, thinking of him. Knowing Bai was officially in the club, Li Shiya felt a surge of secret joy. She handed him a water bottle with a warm, eager smile. Here, Bai, you must be thirsty. It's ice cold, she said. The bystanders watched this scene, nearly choking on their own spit in disbelief. No way. The icy campus goddess? Since when is she acting like a total simp? Usually, guys were the ones lining up to offer Li Shiya drinks. Now the roles were completely reversed. What is this world coming to? Bai hesitated when he saw the opened bottle, but he took it and drank. He didn't really want it, but thinking back to her flirting with him in public, he was honestly a little rattled. Shiya-ji, should be all good now, right? I'm heading out. Bai just wanted to escape. Li Shiya glanced at his form. She teased. All right, Bai, I'll send you the rest of the club details later tonight, okay? The crowd stared, wide-eyed and speechless. Good grief, hearing her talk like that. Felt like Bai, that lucky punk, already had Li Shiya on WeChat. Looking at them, it was pretty much a done deal. Catch you later, Shiya-ji. Bai stood up and bolted from the scene. Chapter 17, The Instant Transmission Technique. After leaving the music club, Bai headed straight back to the dorm. His 3 roommates returned shortly after. Brother Bai, you're a legend! You're trending on the school forum again? Lin Zixuan rushed over as soon as he stepped inside. Brother Bai, I think the goddess is totally into you. Why not just date her? She's your sister's best friend anyway. You two getting together would just keep it in the family. Lu Yu added, half joking. No way, stop playing matchmaker, guys. Hearing his roommates, Bai rolled his eyes in frustration. Wang Hu opened his laptop and looked at them. Boys, let's game. Oh yeah, count me in. Within seconds, the room was filled with chaotic shouting. Hey, Four Eyes, get top lane. Damn it, those dogs on the other team have been camping me all game. Are you blind? The bottom turret is almost down. Watch this ult. Eat this, you noob, see how your tiger bro plays. Bai listened to them cursing out the other team's ancestors and shook his head with a smile. The girls' dorm was dead silent that night. Only the sound of soft, rhythmic breathing filled the air. Li Shiya lay in bed, tossing and turning, unable to fall asleep. Her mind kept drifting to, every little moment she had spent with Bai over the past few days. A wave of uncontrollable excitement washed over her. Suddenly realized that after tomorrow's classes, the long-awaited weekend would finally be here. She pouted, her charming eyes darting around. She seemed to be mapping out a plan. What kind of fun things could happen this weekend? Maybe go shopping with Bai, watch a movie, or find a quiet place to enjoy some time alone together. Countless beautiful thoughts filled her head, making Li Shiya even more excited. However, just as she was lost in these daydreams, a wave of drowsiness hit her. Her eyelids began to grow heavy. Finally, unable to fight the fatigue, Li Shiya slowly closed her eyes and drifted off into a sweet dream, a happy smile lingering on her lips. In her dream, she and Bai spent a romantic and unforgettable weekend together. The next day, Bai was jolted awake by his alarm. Checked his phone. Past 7, I'm exhausted. Should have slept earlier. Bai sat up, squinting through the haze. He yawned, tossed off his quilt, and headed to the bathroom. Liu Yu and Wang Hu heard the noise and started to stir as well. By the time Bai finished washing up, the clock hit 8. He glanced at Lin Zixuan, who was still snoring loudly. He shook his head helplessly. Sorry, Four Eyes, but we're going to be late. Bai quickly pulled his phone from his pocket. He cranked the volume to the max and blasted the DJ remix of the 9th National Broadcast Gymnastics. The intense music echoed like thunder. Lin Zixuan woke up in a panic, kicked off his covers, and leaped from his bunk as if electrocuted. By reflex, he started doing the familiar moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Seeing this, everyone around burst into fits of laughter. Sure enough, that broadcast workout was deeply engraved in everyone's DNA. After a long while, Lin Zixuan finally snapped out of it amidst the roar of laughter. He looked around, confused, and locked eyes with Bai, who was grinning deviously at him. He scratched his head, totally bewildered. Brother Bai, wasn't I just on the track doing the exercises? How did I get here? Hey, quit spacing out. Bai slapped him on the shoulder. Get moving. We've got 20 minutes before class starts. Unless you want to fail, you'd better hurry up. Before Bai even finished, Lin Zixuan's face changed. As if remembering something urgent, he cracked a grin. Polite, awkward smile. Oh man, sorry guys, give me 2 minutes. Watch me perform the instant transmission technique and blink right into the classroom. As soon as he said that, Lin Zixuan bolted out of the room like a gust of wind, leaving everyone standing there stunned. In the blink of an eye, he had vanished from the doorway, leaving the door swinging behind him. Bai and the others shared a laugh and headed to class together. Lunchtime arrived, and Bai and his 3 friends dragged their heavy feet into the campus cafeteria. Each of their faces was masked by dark circles, revealing deep, unshakable exhaustion. The 4 of them had pulled an all-nighter, gaming until 4 or 5 in the morning. After barely 2 hours of sleep, they had to drag themselves to class. They tried their best to pay attention all morning, but their eyelids felt like lead. Finally, lunchtime hit. They collapsed into their seats, exchanging tired, bitter smiles. The group shoveled food into their mouths in silence. After all, you have to prioritize fueling up. Suddenly, the noisy cafeteria went deathly silent. Everyone turned their heads toward the entrance at once. Just then, a dreamlike figure appeared before the crowd. She looked like a fairy descending to earth, radiating captivating charm. She was tall and graceful, dressed in a snow-white dress that seemed to brush against the floor as she moved, blending perfectly with the atmosphere. When the onlookers finally snapped out of their trance, they realized it was the school goddess from the Magic University. One boy was so stunned he didn't even notice the mung bean soup he was drinking spilling onto the pants of the guy sitting next to him. The hell is wrong with you? That's disgusting. Guy finally snapped back to reality and started apologizing profusely. Bai's group, oblivious to the commotion, just kept stuffing their faces. Li Shiya's captivating eyes darted through the crowded cafeteria like a restless butterfly, searching for her target. Before long, she spotted him. Bai hunched over his plate and devouring his food. She couldn't help but show a sweet, charming smile. This brat is good at hiding, made me search everywhere, Li Shiya whispered to herself. She glided over to the food counter, grabbed a few items, and began walking toward Bai with long, slender legs. Every guy she passed couldn't help but straighten up, faces filled with anticipation. Their eyes lit up as if they were silently hoping, will she glance at me? Some even adjusted their hair or clothes, desperately trying to look more handsome. Chapter 18, Sigh. It was all fate. While Bai was lost in his food, a voice as clear as a bird's drifted into his ears. Little Bai, your big sister is here to keep you company for lunch. Her tone carried a hint of playfulness mixed with endless tenderness. Bai looked up and their eyes locked. For a moment, time seemed to freeze. Her beautiful, refined face appeared before him, delicate brows, eyes like stars, and a slight smirk that looked cute and mischievous. Damn, why is it Shiya? How does she pop up everywhere I go? Is this what they call destiny or something? Cafeteria crowd watched, their jaws dropping in shock. What the hell? Not this freshman again. What does she even see in him? Li Shiya didn't care. She sat right down in front of him and started picking pieces of meat from her tray and putting them into his bowl. Zhang Bai looked down, then up at Li Shiya, completely confused. Shiya, what are you doing? Li Shiya gave a small smile and said softly, I've been trying to lose weight lately, so I can't finish all this delicious meat. I'm leaving it for you. She winked at him playfully. Seriously? You? With that near-perfect figure, you need to diet? I'm not that gullible. Just like that, Zhang Bai had to finish his meal while Li Shiya watched him the entire time. Wiped his mouth. Shiya, I'm done. I'm heading out. No way. Wait for me to finish first, she insisted. Little brat. Think you can just run off? If you leave, I can't see you. How can you eat without enjoying the scenery? The guys with him gave Zhang Bai a good luck look. Brother, you're on your own. It's not that we don't want to help, but we're powerless. Bai, you stay here and eat with her. We're gonna head out first. Catch ya later. Lin Zixuan and the others left him behind. Left alone, Zhang Bai had no choice but to wait. A few minutes later, Li Xia wiped her mouth, smiled at him, and said, All right, little brat, I'm done. Let's go. Zhang Bai didn't say a word, and under everyone's gaze, he followed her out. She walked with light steps until, right as she was about to cross the threshold, stopped abruptly. Zhang Bai, head down and walking behind her, slammed right into her. Zhang Bai let out a gasp as his head hit her, feeling a wave of dizziness wash over him. But he rubbed his forehead instinctively and apologized. Shia, I'm so sorry I didn't see you stop. Before he could finish, she cut him off. It's fine. Little Bai, are you okay? Did you hurt yourself? Spun around, her beautiful eyes fixed on him with genuine concern. Seeing his pained expression, her heart tightened. She reached out with her slender hand to gently touch his forehead, asking, You okay, little brat? Does it hurt? I'm so sorry I was moving too fast and let you get hurt. Her voice carried a faint trace of guilt. Hearing this, Zhang Bai looked up, surprised, his gaze landing right on Li Xia as she leaned in closer. Stiffened, an unfamiliar sensation washing over him. His heart began to race, just for a split second. Cheeks flushed a deep apple red. He hurriedly looked away and stammered, No, it doesn't hurt. Fine, he mumbled, his voice barely audible. Li Xia caught his shy reaction immediately. A soft smile touched her lips, light as a breeze against his ear, making his ears burn even brighter. That evening, Li Xia lounged in her chair, eyes soft and distant, clutching her phone as it glowed faintly. Screen displayed a prized photo. The moment she and Zhang Bai sang together at the freshman gala. Stared at the picture, a blissful, goofy smile spreading across her face. Just then, Shu Wanting walked by. Seeing this, Shu Wanting tapped her shoulder playfully. Xia, caught a case of lovesickness? A quick set of footsteps broke her trance. Shu Wanting had passed by, catching a glimpse of the photo and Li Xia's love-struck expression. Curiously, Shu Wanting walked over, tapped her shoulder with a grin and teased, Xia, you've got it bad, don't you? Thinking about that little freshman, she gave her a mischievous wink. Taken aback, Li Xia felt a surge of red bloom across her cheeks. She bashfully lowered her head. She quickly darkened her phone screen and murmured, What are you talking about? I was just looking at it. Shu Wanting smirked. Giving her a playful look, she teased, Wow, I never thought our bold and free-spirited Li Xia could actually be this shy. Tell me, did you really fall for that little freshman? Li Xia felt a subtle blush, but she didn't try to hide it. Instead, she straightened her back and admitted boldly, Of course I like him. What's so weird about that? Her voice was firm, as if declaring her feelings to the world. Wow, seems our Miss Xia has truly fallen in love. Shu Wanting laughed. I'll be waiting for good news. Li Xia smiled, then curled up on her bed. She picked up her phone, tapped the chat screen, and let her fingers fly across the keypad. She hit send. Magical girl Xiaobai, tomorrow's the weekend. Have any plans? After sending it, Li Xia stared at the screen, waiting anxiously for his response. But as the seconds ticked by without a word, she grew restless, her brows knitting together. She grumbled under her breath, That brat, how long does he need to reply? Just as she was losing patience, her screen lit up and a notification pinged. She grabbed the phone. It was Zhang Bai. No plans yet. What's up, Xia? Seeing his reply, she felt a burst of joy. She started typing quickly. Magical girl. My roommate gave me 2 movie tickets, but she can't go anymore. I want to take you. Zhang Bai replied, Xia, I don't think that's a good idea. We're a guy and a girl. It's not really appropriate. Zhang Bai pouted, rejecting her outright. Just as he thought she wouldn't respond, another message popped up. Li Xia, seeing his refusal, swiped her little fist at the air in frustration. Bit her lip and typed rapidly, Want me to tell your sister you slept with me? On the other end, Zhang Bai's eyes widened as he stared at the words in disbelief, his face turning pale. He never expected Li Xia to threaten him like this. What a disaster, he thought. Before long, he replied, Fine, Shia, I'll go, she replied excitedly. Great, see you at the school gate at 2 tomorrow. She rolled around on her bed, looking forward to the date. Bai sighed helplessly, feeling completely trapped by her. Chapter 19, The Mature Li Shiya. The next afternoon, she sat at her desk, applying makeup, powder, lipstick, and perfume. Qianqian watched, suddenly perking up. Hey, our Li beauty, looking so pretty, who's the date with? Don't tell me the little freshman. Yeah, you caught me. Li Shiya stood up and pulled a skirt from her closet, along with a pair of black stockings with letters on them. Whoa, Shia, you don't usually wear skirts with stockings. Qianqian's eyes widened as she watched her put them on, exclaiming, What? Damn, Shia, you're rocking a total mature big sister vibe today. You're gonna knock that freshman dead. Truly. The way she pulled off that look was explosive. Any normal man would surely be unable to resist. Li Shiya looked in the mirror satisfied. You little brat, I'll definitely have you wrapped around my finger today. Li Shiya quickly swapped into heels, grabbed her bag, and waved at Qianqian. See ya! Meanwhile, Bai arrived early at the school gates. She wore a simple white shirt and jeans, looking bright and effortlessly cool. Li Shiya strolled toward Bai, looking like a total boss in black stockings and a skirt. Bai froze for a second, swallowed hard. She was stunning. Shia's vibe was just magnetic. As they met, Bai's heart started racing. Li Shiya saw her, flashed a bright smile, and walked over. How about it, little brother? Does your sister look good today? Li Shiya spun around in her heels right in front of Bai, batted her lashes. Bai looked down, reflexively rubbed his nose, and muttered, You look great. Li Shiya beamed, getting the exact answer she wanted. Shia, are we heading straight to the movie? Bai asked, cutting to the chase. Shop first. The movie isn't until tonight. Li Shiya curled her lips. Oh, Bai nodded. Li Shiya strode toward the street, then stopped, turning back impatiently. Her eyes locked on Bai, who was lagging behind. Seeing him taking his time, Li Shiya's lips curled into a brilliant, radiant smile. Without hesitation, she reached out. She gripped Bai's hand and yanked him forward. Come on! The light's about to turn red. It felt like there wasn't a second to waste. Bai was caught completely off guard by the sudden move. Her eyes went wide. Total disbelief. She never expected Li Shiya to be this bold and intimate. Bai was reeling inside, but on the outside, she could only let Li Shiya pull her along. Across the street, Bai sighed and said, Shiya, you can let go now. Li Shiya giggled and shot her a playful look. She released her hand. They headed to the subway station, hopping on the line 3 train toward the mall. Since it was the weekend, train wasn't empty, but it wasn't packed either. They grabbed seats, and Bai made a point to keep some space between them. But Li Shiya kept inching closer. A faint, lingering scent of perfume drifted toward Bai. It wasn't overpowering, just a fresh, pleasant aroma. Bai snuck a glance at Li Shiya next to her. She was wearing subtle makeup today, making her look even better. Between that and her perfect figure, who wouldn't be tempted? Even the old man sitting across from them couldn't stop stealing looks. Li Shiya really was stunning today. Anyone would have to look twice. People around them noticed Bai sitting there acting totally unfazed, which was infuriating. It made you want to smack him. Seriously, man, you've got a girl this beautiful sitting next to you and you don't even look? Total idiot. If Bai could hear that, she'd definitely say, Hey, what eye are you watching me with? The Huaxi Shopping Plaza sits in the heart of the bustling metropolis, right in the middle of the city center. It brings together major international brands and quality local shops, making it the top spot for shopping and entertainment. Because it's the weekend, the place is packed, mostly with young couples and college students. Ducked into a fashion boutique. Li Shiya picked out a few outfits and asked Bai to hold them. She held the clothes carefully, terrified of getting them dirty or wrinkled. Li Shiya watched her and started laughing. Little brother, you look so cute being all careful. Li Shiya patted Bai on the shoulder. Bai blushed and gave an embarrassed smile. They kept shopping. Li Shiya tried on several outfits, asking for Bai's opinion each time. She wasn't exactly a fashionista, but she did her best to offer advice. Before they knew it, it was past 6. Bai followed Li Shiya to the cinema. Shiya, you bought the tickets, right? I'll go grab the drinks. What do you want? Bai asked, looking at Li Shiya with clear eyes. Li Shiya was thrilled but kept her cool. She quickly answered, My little Bai, I already ordered on the app. Why don't you go pick up the tickets? I'll be there in a sec. Her voice was soft and sweet. Felt like it could melt your heart. She gave Bai a smile that bloomed like spring flowers. Bai couldn't argue with that. She nodded and turned toward the ticket kiosk. Watching her walk away, Li Shiya finally let out a breath. Honestly, she had planned for Bai to get the tickets all along. It gave her time to set her next move in motion. Li Shiya hadn't actually ordered anything on the app. She walked into a milk tea shop and said, 1 white peach oolong with rice mochi and gold brick. 3% sugar, 2 straws. please. Thanks. 5 minutes later, she walked into the cinema waiting area, found Jiang Bai. Hey, Jiang Bai, I'm back. Li Shiya stuck the straws into the tea and set it in front of her. Jiang Bai looked up, staring at the single cup of tea with confusion. She asked softly, wait, Shiya, why is there only one? Where's yours? She sounded genuinely puzzled. Li Shiya's heart didn't skip a beat. She kept her face totally calm and answered casually, oh, when I was ordering on the app just now, I clicked the wrong button, so I only bought one. It's fine, you go ahead and drink it. She sounded so natural, as if it were all planned. But Jiang Bai didn't hesitate to push the tea toward Li Shiya, saying calmly, Shiya, you drink it. I can just grab a cola by the popcorn stand. As he turned to leave, Li Shiya hurriedly grabbed his sleeve. She flashed a quick look, eyes sparking with anticipation. Sudden move startled Jiang Bai. Stared at her, dazed. What did she mean? He couldn't make heads or tails of it. Seeing his confusion, Li Shiya's gaze shifted. Her calm demeanor vanished, replaced by a charming, flirtatious air. Pouting her delicate lips, she used a voice sweet enough to melt ice. Bai, just take a sip, okay? Her tone was sugary, edged with a plea that was impossible to refuse. Jiang Bai shivered, goosebumps rising. Unable to say no, he braced himself, took a tiny, cautious sip. At that exact moment, a mischievous glint flashed in Li Shiya's eyes. She whipped out a second straw from behind her back, poked it into the cup, and bit down on it. Her movements were fluid and lightning fast, a display of skill that left him stunned. Jiang Bai was completely blindsided, frozen in his seat with eyes wide and face flushed with shock. What? He finally snapped back, blurting out, Shiya. Jiang Bai's eyes widened, stammered, unable to finish his sentence. Li Shiya seemed thrilled by her successful ambush, winking at him. A smug smile lit up her face. Jiang Bai, now recovered, let out a helpless laugh and shook his head. He thought to himself, the older they are, the craftier they get. But he had to admit, that moment left him feeling something strange. A little tingle, a little sweetness. As time passed, Hu walked into the cinema side by side and sat in the middle back rows. Before long, big screen lit up. The movie began and Jiang Bai realized Li Shiya had bought tickets for the hottest romance film of the year. Soon she used her peripheral vision to glance at Jiang Bai. She took a deep breath and, while he wasn't looking, reached out in a flash. Raising the armrest between them, she shifted closer to Jiang Bai, moving as light and silent as a cat. But in that split second, Jiang Bai seemed to sense her presence. He shifted, turning his head ever so slightly. Their eyes locked. Jiang Bai's dark, deep pupils met Li Shiya's gaze in the dim light. Time stood still. The world narrowed down to just the two of them. Her eyes brimmed with affection as she stared at him. Her feelings were a rising tide. Seconds later, a flustered Jiang Bai looked away, scratching his head. His heart was racing like a trapped bird. Li Shiya caught this and felt a thrill of secret joy as he turned back to the screen. Watching him fully immersed in the film, a mischievous impulse struck. She reached out and gently pinched his soft earlobe. Sudden touch sent a jolt of electricity through him. Jiang Bai shuddered, blurting out, Shiya ji, what are you doing? Your ears are so red, she teased with a smirk. Before long, Li Shiya pulled another trick. She covered her mouth, feigning a dainty yawn, and pretended to drift off to sleep while leaning into his space. She whispered into his ear, Xiao Bai Bai, I'm sleepy. Could I borrow your sturdy shoulder for a bit? Just for a moment, okay? She winked at him, her expression teasing and ambiguous. Jiang Bai was taken aback, stared, eyes wide as she drew closer. He could feel her warmth and the faint, sweet scent of her perfume, completely at a loss. Meanwhile, Li Shiya looked like a triumphant little fox, wearing a smug, satisfied smile. Before he could answer, she faked closing her eyes and rested her head on his shoulder. Jiang Bai turned beet red. He nervously scanned the room. Seeing no one was looking, he carefully adjusted his posture to make her more comfortable. As she leaned back, she thought to herself, maybe the little brat isn't as dense as he looks. Felt like a warm sanctuary. Jiang Bai could feel her breathing, and her hair brushed his cheek, leaving a faint tickle. His heart hammered against his ribs as if trying to break free, yet he fought hard to stay calm. He kept his eyes on the film. Watching the actors embrace on screen, his thoughts began to drift. He imagined himself and Li Shiya sharing a moment just as beautiful, and a sweet sense of anticipation filled him. But then he caught himself. Why was he daydreaming? She was 2 years older than him. Plus, she was his older sister's best friend. Even after what happened between them, he didn't know what he felt. Was it guilt? Or something else? He wondered if she was waiting for a chance to steal a kiss while he wasn't looking. Soon the credits rolled. The audience began to filter out, and within minutes, the massive theater was empty. Only Jiang Bai and a slumbering Li Shiya remained. He moved cautiously, trying not to wake her. He leaned in close and whispered, Shiya ji, wake up. The movie is over. Time to go home. Her eyelashes fluttered. As she opened her eyes and saw his face so close, a wild thought flashed in her mind. The boy was right there. Could he be planning to sneak a kiss while she pretended to be asleep? She giggled inwardly. Women's imaginations really are uniquely colorful, aren't they? Completely lost in her own romantic fantasy, she puckered her lips and began to lean toward him. Zhang Bai was stunned by the sight. He panicked and scrambled backward, shocked by her move. Li Shiya, however, was filled with anticipation. He kept patiently for that sweet contact. But as the seconds ticked by, she felt nothing. No warmth, no gentle touch. Confused, she cracked one eye open and saw Zhang Bai staring back at her with a look of pure helplessness. In an instant, it dawned on her. It was all a one-sided fantasy. Her face turned bright red. She cringed inside, thinking, well, this is truly embarrassing. All right, Shiya Ji, stop playing around. I knew you were awake the whole time. Get up, we're going home, Zhang Bai said, his face blank. Li Shiya gave a sheepish laugh, sat up and smoothed her hair, relieved no one else had witnessed the scene. She glanced at him, but his face was unreadable, as if nothing had ever happened. They walked out in silence. The night streets were alive with traffic and neon lights, painting the city in a dreamlike glow. Xiao Bai Bai, are you hungry? Li Xia asked, breaking the silence. He shook his head, not really. Looking at his honest, slightly dull expression, she sighed inwardly at the silly boy. Her own stomach rumbled. She licked her dry lips and leaned in, saying, well, I'm starving. Why don't we head to the night market nearby? Let's see what good food we can find. Without waiting for a reply, Li Xia eagerly grabbed Zhang Bai by the arm. She hurried toward the night market. Zhang Bai could only follow her steps, catching a glimpse of her cheerful back as a smile spread across his face. Walking into the market, the aroma of various snacks filled the air. Li Xia looked around excitedly, her eyes finally landing on a stall. It was a vendor selling jianbing gozi. Boss nisps, please. Add ham, pork floss, and crispy crackers. Li Xia turned to Zhang Bai. Xiao Bai, dear? Do you eat scallions and cilantro? Zhang Bai nodded, his gaze fixed on Li Xia, though he quickly looked away. He took the fresh jianbing. Li Xia took a big, impatient bite, exhaling in pure satisfaction. Delicious, you have to try it. She handed the other one to him. Zhang Bai took a bite, and it really was good. As they ate, they continued strolling through the market. Suddenly, Li Xia spotted a cotton candy stand. Dragged Zhang Bai over. Boss, I'd like one pink cotton candy, please. Li Xia watched the maker with bright, expectant eyes. Zhang Bai stared at Li Xia, her childlike, innocent smile stirring an indescribable emotion in his heart. Then his lips quirked upward. A smile he hadn't expected to show now appeared. Li Xia gently took the cotton candy from the vendor. She took a careful bite, the sweetness instantly melting in her mouth. She excitedly held the treat out to Zhang Bai. The look of pure anticipation, she whispered, Xiao Bai, it's so good. Do you want to try some? Ah, Xia, you should have it. I don't really like sweets. Zhang Bai was taken aback by the offer. Politely declined. Hearing this, Li Xia didn't feel discouraged or dejected at all. Instead, her smile grew even brighter and more enthusiastic. She held the stick of cotton candy right up to his face. She carefully tried to guide it to his lips while constantly chattering away. Oh, come on, little Xiao Bai, just one small bite. Really, just one. Unless you're waiting for your sister. Feed you myself. She giggled, her beautiful moving eyes sparkling with a trace of mischief. It was as if she were deliberately teasing the shy, reserved boy standing before her. Just as he hesitated, Li Xia grabbed his hand and pushed the cotton candy into his mouth. Well, good, right? Li Xia looked at him with starry, expectant eyes. Yeah, it's pretty good, Zhang Bai admitted, chewing a few times. Soft, sugary texture caught him by surprise. Even though he wasn't a fan of sweets, he had to admit it. The cotton candy was actually delicious. Li Xia walked out of the bustling, vibrant night market feeling completely satisfied. She rubbed her round belly and let out a content sigh. So full. Little Bai, today was a blast, right? Spoke. Li Xia looked at Zhang Bai, but he didn't react at all, just offering her a cool, distant glance. He gave a perfunctory nod in response. Seeing this, Li Xia felt a flicker of annoyance, though she hid it well. Quickly composing herself, she put on a show of being angry, crossing her arms tightly over her chest and pouting her lips. She looked ready to hang a teapot from her pout, muttering to herself, you little Bai, how dare you brush me off like that? I am extremely displeased right now. Zhang Bai glanced at Li Xia, thinking to himself, man, this is exhausting. What is with Xia? Why does she switch from happy to furious on a dime? Zhang Bai let out a helpless sigh and explained, Xia, that's not what I meant. I've really enjoyed being here with you today too. Hearing this, Li Xia immediately beamed and patted Zhang Bai on the head. Hehe, that's a good boy, little Bai. Chapter 22. Little Bai, you're the best. Li Xia and Zhang Bai walked shoulder to shoulder along a quiet, dimly lit path. Suddenly, a cold gust of wind swept through without warning, causing Li Xia to shiver instinctively. Her body reacted on its own as she wrapped her arms around herself, while Zhang Bai just stood there, completely unbothered. Li Xia couldn't help but grumble inwardly. Why is this brat not reacting at all? Is he a block of wood? Just as she was spiraling, Zhang Bai turned his head, his gaze landing on her shivering frame. A flicker of concern and hesitation crossed his eyes. After a moment, Zhang Bai finally made up his mind, gently taking off his jacket and carefully handing it to Li Shiya, saying calmly, "Shiya, here, put this on." Seeing this, a wave of warmth washed over Li Shiya and a smile like a blooming spring flower appeared on her face. She reached out with her slender hand, taking the jacket with genuine gratitude. "Thank you, little Bai." Before she even finished speaking, she couldn't wait to drape the jacket, still holding Zhang Bai's warmth and scent over her shoulders. Feeling that embrace of warmth, her mood instantly lifted. As the breeze blew, Li Shiya caught a light whiff of the jacket. A faint, subtle scent of green lime drifted into her nose. The refreshing aroma seemed to possess a kind of magic, soothed her exhaustion. It feels so good to be cared for by this brat. They walked a little further when Li Shiya suddenly felt a sharp pain in her small feet, encased in high heels. She frowned and stopped in her tracks. She reached down to gently rub the soles of her feet. She had specifically chosen these beautiful heels to look elegant and tall. However, despite their beauty, the long walk had taken its toll on her feet. Zhang Bai noticed her unusual behavior, stopping quickly to walk to her side, asking with concern, "Shiya, what's wrong? Are you not feeling well?" Li Shiya offered a faint smile, trying to hide the pain. "It's nothing. I think I've just walked too much and I've got a blister. It hurts a little, but it's fine. I can keep going." With that, she endured the pain and took another step forward. Zhang Bai watched her stubbornness, a surge of pity rising within him. Without a word, he crouched down and gently lifted Li Shiya's right foot. He carefully took off her high heel. "Shiya, rest your foot on my leg for a moment. It'll feel much better." Zhang Bai said softly, staring for a split second at her small, delicate, and pale pink feet. Stood there, stunned for a moment. Li Xia caught his gaze and felt embarrassed, but the pain in her foot made her unable to refuse his kindness. She gave him a grateful look and slowly placed her foot onto his thigh. Coming back to his senses, Zhang Bai gently massaged the sole of her foot, asking concernedly, "How is it? Any better?" Li Xia closed her eyes, feeling his fingers kneading her foot. The pain gradually eased and she nodded. She smiled and said, "It still hurts a little, but with your massage, it's much better. Thank you, little Bai." Zhang Bai nodded and continued massaging her other foot. After a while, Li Xia felt that her foot pain subsided slightly, but she didn't show it, choosing to keep pretending she was in great pain. "Little Bai, my feet still hurt so much. I think it's because I wore these heels for too long. I can't even stand properly now." Li Xia said tenderly, her voice filled with helplessness and feigned grievance, intentionally putting on a cutesy tone. Hearing her voice, Zhang Bai felt as if he had been electrocuted. "Man, I can't handle this." Zhang Bai remained silent for a long time, then looked at Li Xia asking, "So Xia, what should we do? Should we just grab a cab back?" "No," Li Xia quickly blurted out when she heard about the taxi. If they took a cab, how would she get him to carry her? Zhang Bai gave her a confused look. Li Xia bit her red lip and whispered, "Little Bai, why don't you carry me back on your back?" Hearing this, Zhang Bai froze. So Xia had been setting him up the whole time. But thinking it over, it didn't really seem like she was faking it. With a quick thought, Zhang Bai crouched down to carry Li Xia. Li Xia felt a surge of joy, wrapping her arms tightly around Zhang Bai's neck. "You're so sweet, Xiao Bai," she murmured, pressing against his back. Zhang Bai walked with a steady rhythm. The soft sensation against his back was impossible to ignore. His heart hammered against his ribs, and his face flushed beet red. He couldn't believe how well endowed she was. If he ever married her, would their kids? Shook his head, snapping out of it. "What are you even thinking, Zhang Bai? She's your sister's best friend." They walked in silence, nothing but the sound of their breathing and footsteps filling the air. Before they knew it, he reached the girls' dormitory. Zhang Bai set Li Xia down gently, a small smile playing on his lips. "We're here, Xia," he said. She climbed off, looking slightly reluctant, and smoothed her hair. "Thanks, Xiao Bai. Want to come up for some tea?" she asked with a playful grin. Zhang Bai panicked and shook his head immediately. "No, it's getting pretty late. You should get some rest, Xia. Go to a girl's dorm for tea at night? That was insane. If the dorm warden caught him, he'd be dead." "All right then, good night." She nodded with a smile. "Good night, Xia. Oh, and don't forget to soak your feet tonight." He turned and sprinted away, leaving her standing there. She watched him disappear into the shadows, a faint, hidden smile tugging at the corner of her mouth. Once he was gone, she strolled toward the dorm. Inside the room, Qianqian and her two roommates saw Li Shiya walk in, holding her heels and limping. Stared, eyes wide, looking at each other in shock. "Oh my God, Xia, what happened to you?" Qianqian couldn't hold back her curiosity and blurted it out. Xu Wanning chimed in with a wicked grin. "Don't tell me you and the freshman went off to the woods together?" She gave Li Xia a mischievous wink. "Xia, did you lose your virginity on your first date?" Meng Jiaozhou shrieked. Hearing her roommates, Li Shiya's face turned bright red. She swung her heels, pretending to throw them. You guys are heartless. Just love teasing me. I just got blisters from these shoes, that's all. Oh, so that's it. Chao Yanshin sighed in relief. Quick, take your shoes off and let us see the damage. Li Shiya sat on the bed and kicked them off. Several clear, shiny blisters covered her heels. Geez, that looks painful, Shiya, Shu Wanning remarked, leaning in. So, how did you get back? Li Shiya thought back to Jiang Bai carrying her, a wave of warmth washing over her. Cheeks turned a shy shade of pink. She whispered, Xiao Bai brought me back, of course. Felt so bad seeing my foot hurt, he insisted on carrying me home. Meng Jiao's eyes lit up. She looked envious. So romantic. I didn't think the freshman would be so thoughtful. Wait, you're already calling him Xiao Bai? Chao Yanshin teased. Li Xia's face burned even hotter. She looked down, fidgeting with her shirt. Stop making fun of me. It just feels more intimate that way. All right, beauty. Give us the details on your date with the freshman. Shu Wanting pressed. Enough, enough. I need to go soak my feet. Li Shiya grabbed her basin and ducked into the bathroom to escape. She stared at her flushed reflection in the mirror, thinking that Jiang Bai, that little brat, was actually pretty thoughtful. The next morning, sunlight spilled through the window onto Jiang Bai's face. He rubbed his eyes, stretched, and reached for his phone on the nightstand. When he unlocked it, 2 messages from Li Shiya were waiting. Morning, Brat. The first message was playful and cute. The second followed. Thinking of Xiao Bai again today, Jiang Bai shook his head. A helpless smile touched his lips. He wondered how to reply as he pondered. A moment later, he decided on something simple and warm. Morning, Shiya. Message sent. Jiang Bai put his phone down and dressed for the day. After freshening up, he headed to the track with energy. Started his daily morning run, a habit rooted in his junior high years, now an essential part of his life. After his run, Jiang Bai took a quick breather before heading toward the school cafeteria. Before he reached the door, he bumped into Qianqian and her roommate, who seemed to have just finished eating. Jiang Bai, what a coincidence. Qianqian forced a smile, trying to break the awkward tension. Jiang Bai just gave a cold, curt nod and walked past them without another look. Qianqian watched him drift away. A wave of indescribable loss washed over her. She knew that since she'd rejected him, they could never go back to how things were. Ding dong. Jiang Bai was mid-spoonful of millet porridge when his phone pinged. He paused and checked the screen. A new message popped up. Sailor Moon. Xiao Bai, big sister is starving, followed by a sad crying emoji. Jiang Bai read the message, thought for a moment, and replied, Shiya, are you sure you want to go? Li Shiya sat in her dorm chair, staring at his reply. She pouted, muttering to herself, dense boy doesn't get it at all. After a pause, she sent him another message. But my foot still hurts. Can't you come to the cafeteria? Jiang Bai saw the text and sighed helplessly. He knew exactly what she was doing. She just wanted him to bring her breakfast, so why not say so? Why the roundabout way? He finished his meal, bought breakfast at the stall, and headed for the girls' dorm. Standing outside the dorm building, he pulled out his phone and opened their chat window to send a quick text. Shiya, I'm downstairs. Come get your breakfast. Meanwhile, inside the dorm. Useless Jiang Bai, why haven't you replied? Li Shiya sat on her chair fuming. She hugged a pink doll tightly, grumbling. Then a sudden notification chimed. She snatched up her phone like a trap was sprung. She unlocked it and saw Jiang Bai's message. Her annoyance vanished, replaced by a glow of joy. She giggled, rushed up, and headed for the door. Minutes later, Li Shiya emerged in her pajamas, limping slightly as she moved. Every step seemed painful, yet she carried a trace of bashful embarrassment when she spotted Jiang Bai looking at his phone. A thrill went through her. She called out, Xiao Bai, I'm here. Jiang Bai lifted his head, but when he actually saw her, his expression changed. He couldn't help but frown. She was wearing a pair of pajamas that didn't fit her image at all. A cute cartoon sheep outfit. The normally elegant, mature woman now looked playful and naive. Jiang Bai stood stunned. She reached him. She leaned in, batting her alluring eyes. She waved her hand, acting like a flower swaying in the breeze. Xiao Bai, what are you thinking about? Startled, Jiang Bai snapped out of it, flashing an awkward smile. He rubbed his head instinctively and stammered, oh, nothing. Then he remembered the breakfast. He quickly handed it over with a smile. Right, here's your breakfast, Shiya. She took the bag. A look of genuine delight crossed her face. Thank you, Xiao Bai, she said softly, her voice melodic. How's your foot? Did you apply the medicine? Jiang Bai eyed her ankle, brow furrowed in concern. Li Shiya wiggled her toes, testing the lingering ache, and whispered, I did. Much better. Just a little soreness left. Should be fine in a few days. That's good. Stay out of those heels for now, he reminded her. A smile touched her lips. She murmured, I know, Xiao Bai, sounding unusually obedient. Okay, I'm heading back. Bye. Jiang Bai glanced at her one more time before walking away. Nearby, Chao Yanshin and the others. Shu wanting and Meng Jiaojiao crept up beside her. Hey, pretty lady, he's gone. Stop staring, Shu teased. Li Shiya snapped out of it, clearing her throat to hide her embarrassment. Why are you all down here? If we hadn't come down, we would have missed the show, Qiao Yanxin said with a grin. Li Shiya blushed. There was no show. Stop talking nonsense. Are you shy? Meng Jiaojiao added. Seriously, Zhang Bai really cares about you. Xia felt a rush of sweetness. A crimson flush covered her face like a ripe apple. She whispered, of course, who I like isn't exactly second-rate. After saying that, she felt a bit shy, lowering her head to fidget with her hem. All right, let's head up. She looked ahead, determination in her eyes, clutching the breakfast. She limped toward the door, acting as if she'd forgotten her friends were even there. That night, a chime echoed. Zhang Bai stepped out of the shower and saw his phone screen. It lit up with a notification. He wiped his wet hair with one hand and checked the screen, his brow furrowed. Thought, so late, why is Shia sending a voice message now? Hesitantly, he pressed play. Sultry, mature voice filled the air. Hey, Brat, I've already closed one eye. Waiting for you to say goodnight so I can close the other. Lin Ziswan shouted in shock. Wait, Bai, was that a girl? His heart raced, but he kept a calm face, rolling his eyes and lying through his teeth. Oh, just some random audio. You must be hearing things. He finished the sentence by giving Lin Zixun a mock pat on the shoulder, offering a hollow gesture of comfort. Zhang Bai set his towel aside and leaned back, considering how to respond to the message. He took a deep breath and typed a simple good night. Moments later, his phone chirped. Zhang Bai picked it up to find a new voice message waiting on the screen. It was from Li Shiya. He glanced at his 3 roommates, lowered the volume, and held the phone to his ear. A sweet voice filled the silence. Tehi, you silly little brother. Stay put in your dreams, because Big Sister is coming to find you. Hearing that, Zhang Bai froze. Face flushed instantly. He shoved the phone into his pocket before his roommates could notice, but the 3 of them were already staring at him in confusion. Sensing something was off, Lu Yu asked curiously, Hey Bai, what's wrong with you? Why is your face so red? Nothing, just a bit hot. Zhang Bai stammered out a reply, secretly feeling relieved. Luckily, they hadn't heard the message. But that's not right, Bai. You're definitely hiding something. Wang Hu and Lin Zixuan chimed in. Not at all, you guys are overthinking it. Let's just get some sleep, or we'll be exhausted in class tomorrow, Zhang Bai said. He quickly climbed into his bed and pulled the covers over his head. Lying there, he tossed and turned, Li Shiya's words echoing in his mind. Bean. He didn't know what his true feelings were, but that night he drifted into a beautiful dream. Wednesday arrived. Li Xia's foot had mostly healed. Her recovery had paid off and she was finally walking without a limp. Zhang Bai was in class. Suddenly, he received a message from Li Shiya. Pretty soldier, little Bai, Big Sister's foot is all better. Let me treat you to dinner tonight. Zhang Bai glanced at the professor and quickly typed back, Sis, it's good you're healed, but let's skip dinner. Li Shiya replied instantly, No, if you don't agree, I'll just come find you right now. Zhang Bai looked at the screen. It looked like he didn't have a choice. Forget it, it's just dinner. What could she possibly do to him? This was his chance. He needed to set things straight with Li Shiya once and for all. Zhang Bai agreed, and over at the women's dormitory, Li Shiya saw the reply. She couldn't help but smile, absolutely thrilled. Pretty soldier, see you at the school gate at 5. Big Sister will be waiting for you. Promptly at 5, Zhang Bai arrived at the entrance, scanning the crowd, searched for her silhouette. Hey, little Bai. A familiar voice called out from behind, and Zhang Bai turned around. Li Shiya stood there in a white dress, walking toward him with a brilliant smile. His heart hammered, but he forced himself to stay calm. Zhang Bai began, but Li Shiya cut him off. Let's go eat. She naturally hooked her arm through his. She led him toward a nearby restaurant. Zhang Bai felt nervous the whole way, unsure of how to bring it up, while Li Shiya chatted away happily. She didn't notice his discomfort at all. Once they reached the restaurant, Li Shiya ordered some dishes and looked at him. Her eyes were filled with anticipation. Little Bai, is there something you want to tell your big sister? She asked with a smile. Zhang Bai took a deep breath, determined to gather the courage to speak plainly. Sis, about that night in the hotel when I was drunk. Watching her expectant smile, Zhang Bai gritted his teeth and took the plunge. About that night, let's just pretend nothing ever happened. The words hung in the air. Li Shiya froze for a second, and the smile on her face vanished entirely. Her grin stiffened and she bit her lip, though she quickly composed herself. Zhang Bai watched her in silence. He wondered if he had made her angry. He scanned the area warily, and after confirming no one was close by, he lowered his voice to a whisper. Sis, think about that night, both of us. But it was the first time for both of us, right? How about we just call it even? After all, neither of us loses out, right? He looked at her nervously, his heart racing, unsure of how she would react. When she heard this, Li Shiya's expression didn't change, but those beautiful peach blossom eyes of hers flashed with pure disbelief and a deep, crushing sense of disappointment for a split second. Then it vanished. She gave him a calm look, then her lips curled upward into a sudden bright smile. Little bye-bye, if that's how you feel, then big sister should just take responsibility for you. What? That can happen? Zhang Bai felt like he had been struck by lightning. Face turned deathly pale, his naturally handsome features twisting into a mask of pure shock. He shook his head violently. He waved his hands and stuttered, No, there's no need. We should believe in gender equality, so I really don't need you to take responsibility. Li Shiya, however, wasn't having it. She shook her head gently, a firm and tender look on her face. She whispered, That won't do. After all, I am older than you, and you are my little brother. By all accounts, it is only natural for a big sister to take responsibility. Her tone carried a resolve that left no room for argument. Zhang Bai stared at her, stunned. Mind was in knots. He felt both surprised and confused by her words. After a moment, Zhang Bai tentatively asked, Sis, just how do you plan to take responsibility? Taehi, silly little brother, let's start dating. Dating? Zhang Bai mumbled. Then reality hit him like a freight train. His eyes widened as he stared at Li Shiya in disbelief. Li Shiya flushed bright red, her face glowing. What did you say? Is dating? She looked at him with unwavering resolve. Hey kid, I like you. Be my boyfriend. Zhang Bai's pulse spiked. He never expected such a blunt confession. Good grief, what is this world coming to? Things are getting insane. My sister's best friend is demanding to date me. I need to get a grip. Shiya, look, it is the 21st century. There is no reason for us to get tangled in such an absurd situation. Li Shiya just smiled, cutting him off before he could continue. She whispered, Little Bai, I've never been more calm. Seeing her earnest expression, Zhang Bai was stunned. After a few seconds of hesitation, he finally spoke up. Shiya, let me think about it. He stood up, ready to bolt. He escaped the scene, desperate for some space to process this bombshell. Chapter 25. Tell me, I want to hear it. The weekend rolled around again, with only 2 days of classes left. 7-day National Day holiday was fast approaching. Many new couples planned to use this break, travel away together, book a hotel, and get up to no good. That afternoon, Zhang Bai and his 3 roommates were laughing as they left the dorm to grab a meal. But the moment they stepped outside, a gorgeous figure caught his eye. Zhang Bai's face changed instantly and he moved to flee. It was too late. Li Shiya had already spotted him, rode over on long legs, full of smiles. Little Bai, her red lips curled as she spoke his name softly. A headache started to form. Zhang Bai grumbled, Shiya, why are you here? Why do you think? I came for you. You didn't reply to my messages, so I had to come find you. Hey Bai, you chat with Li first. We'll go check out some food. Liu Yu patted Zhang Bai on the shoulder, giving him a look. Then the 3 of them vanished quickly. Zhang Bai stared at Li Shiya and scratched his head, feeling awkward. Little Bai, it has been 2 days. Have you thought it over? Zhang Bai stayed silent. He glanced at the crowd watching them, then said, Shiya, let's find somewhere to sit and talk properly. Li Shiya realized wasn't the place for a conversation. She nodded. Okay. Zhang Bai took her to the cafe across from campus. They sat down with 2 coffees. While they waited, Zhang Bai studied her face for a moment. He stayed silent for several seconds before speaking. Shiya, I don't know why you like me, but you are a great person. You deserve someone better. Besides, I am not looking to date, and you aren't really my type. We cannot be together. Li Shiya didn't look angry at all. She rested her chin in her hand and laughed. So, Little Bai, what is your type? Someone like Qianqian? Zhang Bai's eyes snapped open. He stammered, trying to regain his composure. Shiya, how does my sister tell you everything? He had only told his sister and maybe Li Wenqing about Qianqian. He couldn't imagine anyone else knowing. Under his intense gaze, Li Shiya just shook her head and smiled. Sister didn't tell me. Zhang Bai asked, puzzled. Then how do you know? Li Shiya just smiled, sipping her coffee in silence. Zhang Bai felt even more confused. He was certain only his sister knew that secret. Do you really think I only started liking you after that night? Li Shiya set her cup down and stared straight at him. Zhang Bai felt self-conscious and looked away, avoiding her eyes. Truth is, I've liked you for a long time. Way before that, Li Shiya's voice was gentle. Zhang Bai looked up, startled, felt a mix of emotions he couldn't put into words. For so many years, chased after Qianqian for 6 years straight, he had poured all his heart and focus into her, never realizing that while he pined for someone else, someone was pining for him. Honestly, Zhang Bai was touched. If she weren't his sister's best friend, he might have seriously considered it. Little Bai? Zhang Bai snapped back to reality. Besides, Little Bai, you don't even like Qianqian anymore, right? Li Shiya paused, then added, Actually, I saw it when you got rejected the other day. Zhang Bai thought, what? How did I not notice her there? So can't you reconsider me? I gave you my most precious first time, you know? Don't you know that for a woman, her first time is unforgettable? It stays with her forever. Zhang Bai felt like he had been struck by lightning. He stood frozen. Li Shiya watched him with a smile, her eyes shining with pure, earnest sincerity. Zhangbai wanted to refuse, but looking into her eyes, he couldn't bring himself to say it. Is it because your sister is my best friend? Seeing his hesitation, Li Shiya asked, looking thoughtful. Zhangbai was quiet for a few seconds, then nodded. Yes, that is part of it. Hearing that, Li Shiya covered her mouth and laughed. Xiaobai, I'm your sister figure, not your actual sister. It's not like it's incest. What are you worried about? Li Shiya blinked her beautiful, soul-captivating peach blossom eyes, the corners of her mouth curling up. With a playful, ambiguous look, she whispered, You silly boy, do you really not like your sister at all? Zhangbai felt his heart skip a beat at those words. He stared at that stunning face, momentarily stunned. Honestly, after spending this time with Li Shiya, he had developed feelings. He wasn't a fool, faced with such a beautiful woman, who was also the cold, unreachable goddess of the university. How could he not be moved? Seeing him silent, Li Shiya sat down right next to him. As she closed the distance, the faint, sweet scent radiating from her made Zhangbai's heart beat even faster. Zhangbai instinctively stepped back, but Li Shiya grabbed his wrist. Xiaobai, don't hide. Her voice had a playful edge. Look, your face is turning red. Zhangbai's face flushed even deeper. He pulled his hand away and turned his back to her. Stammering a little, he said, Shiya, please quit joking around, okay? Li Shiya wouldn't let it go. She stepped forward. Placing her hands on his shoulders, she asked softly, Xiaobai, I'm not joking. Tell me, do you have even the tiniest bit of affection for me? Her eyes were full of such tenderness and expectation, it felt like she could melt his defenses. Zhangbai couldn't look away. His heart raced, his throat felt tight. Under her steady gaze, Zhangbai hesitated for a few seconds before closing his eyes and giving a slight nod. Yes, but just a little bit. His voice was barely a whisper, yet it was enough to make Li Shiya's face light up with a radiant smile. A surge of joy washed over her. She lightly pinched his cheek and teased, You silly boy, is it really only a little? How much is a little then? Her tone was playful, making Zhangbai's face flare up again. Zhangbai hung his head, not daring to meet her eyes, secretly scolding himself for being careless enough to admit the truth. Li Shiya didn't seem ready to let him off the hook, continuing to press him. Tell me, I want to hear you say it. Forced into a corner, Zhangbai had no choice but to bite the bullet. It's just a little bit more than a little bit, he murmured, his voice fading until it was nearly silent. Yet, Li Shiya heard every word clearly. She nodded with satisfaction, then suddenly leaned in and whispered into his ear. Then I'll be sure to hold on to that extra bit tightly. She gave him a wink. Zhang Bai's face turned bright red. Ears burned, and he nervously pushed Li Shiya away. He stammered, Shiya, please, don't do that. If someone sees us, they'll get the wrong idea. Li Shiya didn't pull back as he hoped. Instead, she let out a tinkling laugh. She blinked playfully and asked, Oh, well tell me then, what kind of misunderstanding are we talking about? Her teasing tone only made Zhang Bai more flustered. Well, obviously they'd think we're, a couple. Zhang Bai muttered the words, tripping over himself. Li Xia giggled as she watched him blush. Her eyes softened with warmth. She whispered, All right, little Bai, I won't tease you anymore. She reached out and patted his cheek, her expression full of affection. Zhang Bai felt his heart race. His face grew even hotter. He hung his head in embarrassment, unable to meet her gaze. Just then, Li Xia's phone rang. Zhang Bai watched as she answered. 2 minutes later, she hung up and turned back to him. She said softly, My roommate needs me, so I have to go. I'll come find you tomorrow, okay? Before he could react, Li Xia leaned in and caught him off guard with a quick kiss on the cheek, stood up and hurried out of the cafe. Zhang Bai snapped back to reality and muttered, Man, I let my guard down. Touched the spot where she'd kissed him and smiled slightly. So, this was what it felt like. Strange, indescribable sensation. Chapter 26. Little Bai, why won't you consider me? Back at his dorm, Zhang Bai sat at his desk, his mind stuck on the scene at the cafe. Honestly, Li Xia was flawless, both in looks and figure. She was the total package. Beautiful, tall, and she could be sweet or spicy whenever the moment called for it. She had such a gentle, playful way of speaking. What guy wouldn't fall for her? Whenever they were together, Zhang Bai felt like he was the only person in her world, a feeling he'd never once experienced with Qianqian. He didn't mind her affection at all. If he were being honest, he was enjoying it. If only he'd met her sooner. Then he wouldn't have wasted 6 years on Qianqian. 6 years of a man's youth. How many of those can you afford to lose? Hey Bai, how come you're back so early? Did your date with the campus beauty go poorly? Lin Zixuan asked as he walked in. Shut it. It wasn't a date. Quit talking nonsense. Zhang Bai laughed and retorted. If you're acting like that, I might as well go feed this to the dorm lady's cat. Lin Zixuan made a show of turning toward the door. Hearing this, Zhang Bai jumped up and snatched the food right out of his hand. Don't do that, Brother Xuan. You bought it, so hand it over. I'm starving. Meanwhile, in the girls' dorm, Li Xia had just settled into bed. Her phone buzzed, a call from her mom. Hey mom, why the late call? Everything okay? It's nothing, dear. Just checking in. School break is coming up in a few days. Just wanted to see when you're planning to come home. Her mother's voice drifted through the line. Li Shiya thought for a second. Nothing's really going on, so I'll head back the day after break starts. Oh, and Shiya, you're not young anymore. It's time to find a boyfriend. I know, Mom, she replied, chatting for a few more minutes before hanging up. The next afternoon, Li Shiya finished her class and headed toward the finance building to find Zhang Bai. The bell rang. Zhang Bai stood up and walked out with his roommates. Liu Yu nudged him with an elbow, nodding toward the door. Zhang, look at the entrance. Isn't that Su Qianqian? She wouldn't be here to see you, would she? Zhang Bai glanced over, lost interest, and shook his head. Who knows, forget it. Just as he reached the door, Qianqian blocked his path. Zhang Bai heard her voice and froze, looking at her with a confused expression. Something up? He asked, his tone flat. Su Qianqian bit her lip, hesitating, but eventually gathered her courage. Break starts the day after tomorrow. I was wondering, do you want to head back to Beijing together? Her voice held a hint of hope. Desperately wanted a yes, but Zhang Bai remained unmoved. His face stayed cold. He didn't even give her the time of day. Why on earth would I go back with you? Do you really think that much of yourself? Before he could finish the rejection, his arm was suddenly hooked. A second later, Li Shiya's sweet voice rang in his ears. Sorry, classmate, but Xiao Bai already promised to go back with me. Li Shiya looked up at Zhang Bai, curled her lips, and asked, Right, Xiao Bai? Zhang Bai blinked, looked at Li Shiya, and gave a faint nod. Yeah. With that, Li Shiya linked her arm with his and walked away, leaving Su Qianqian standing there alone. Her eyes were filled with loss and pain. As Zhang Bai's back receded into the distance, Su Qianqian watched him go, a sour ache blooming in her chest. Shiya, you can let go now, Zhang Bai said, glancing down at her arm before looking away. Li Shiya gave a small smile. She finally let go. Xiao Bai, you don't have any classes this afternoon, right? Any plans? She stood with her hands behind her back, biting her lip expectantly. Zhang Bai stopped walking and looked at her with an unreadable expression. Just heading back to the dorms. Want to join? Li Shiya paused, then laughed softly. I'd love to, but the dorm lady wouldn't exactly approve. Maybe we could find somewhere private to hang out for a bit? Suddenly, Li Shiya remembered the break was only 2 days away. Xiao Bai, since break starts the day after tomorrow, when are you planning to head home? Zhang Bai considered this for a moment. Not sure yet. Li Shiya nodded. Shiya, does my sister know you like me? Zhang Bai asked suddenly. Li Shiya thought it over carefully. Then, looking him dead in the eye with a serious expression, she said, I don't know. I've never told anyone about my feelings for you. After all, I wasn't entirely sure I could catch you yet. Zhang Bai looked puzzled. She continued, once I actually win you over, I'll tell her. It won't be too late. Li Shiya smiled, but Zhang Bai's eyes became complex and unreadable. So Shiya had been secretly harboring these feelings for him all along? Prized, even moved. Seeing this, Li Shiya stepped forward, staring intensely. How about it, Xiao Bai? Why don't we give it a try? Try at what? Zhang Bai looked at her, swallowing hard, playing dumb. Dating, of course. Let's agree on 1 week. If we haven't broken up by then, we officially announce we're together. Be do split, we'll just act like nothing happened and stay friends. Li Shiya's smile deepened. Xiao Bai, don't you want to test the waters with me? If it works, you get gentle, caring girlfriend. If not, you've lost nothing. What do you say? Hearing this, Zhang Bai nervously bit his lip, unable to find the words. He could feel his own heart beginning to waver. Come on, Xiao Bai, just consider it for me, please? Li Shiya cooed, her voice practically dripping with sweetness. Her wide, watery eyes stared into his, overflowing with expectation and deep emotion. At that moment, Li Shiya looked like an enchanting siren, radiating a unique charm. She leaned in slightly, brushing close to Zhang Bai, and a faint, sweet scent drifted toward him. She took his sleeve between her fingers and gave it a soft tug, pleading silently. Man, how is a guy supposed to handle a girl like Li Shiya? Zhang Bai took a deep breath, snapping back to reality. He gave a slow, light nod. Shiya, give me a little time to think about it, okay? Of course, Li Shiya agreed with a smile. Chapter 27. My little brother seems lovesick. 2 days later, Zhang Bai looked around the empty dorm. Everyone else had headed home. Boring. Without his roommates joking around, Zhang Bai felt out of place. Even his games lost their appeal. He wondered if Shiya had made it home. He opened his messaging app, hovered over her profile, typed a message, and then deleted it. Just then, Jiang Wanqing called. Zhang Bai picked up, and her voice filled the line. Little brother, Mom wants to know if you're coming home for the break. She's been chirping about it all day. Zhang Bai paused. He quickly replied, Tell Mom I'll be back tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, brother, I forgot to ask, did you and that desk mate of yours ever get together? Even through the phone, Jiang Wanqing's curiosity was palpable. Nope, she's not interested in me, Jiang Bai shot back. Oh, that's sad. I'll give you 3 seconds of pity. Come on, tell me what happened. Drop dead Zhang Wanqing. Zhang Bai laughed, exasperated, and hung up. Sometimes he wondered if she was even related to him. How could she love bullying him so much? In a villa, Zhang Wanqing pouted as the line went dead. Suddenly, an idea crossed her mind. She gave a wicked smile, opened her bedroom door, and padded down to the living room in her slippers. Big news! Breaking news! Hearing this, Mother Zhang sighed. You girl, you're always shouting around the house. Have some manners. Mom, I have great news. I think my little brother is lovesick, Zhang Wanqing announced to the woman on the sofa. Who told you that? Obviously, your precious son told me. Mother Jiang looked at her, skeptical. Is your brother being lovesick supposed to be good news? Is that how a sister talks? Zhang Wanqing just giggled and headed back upstairs. She didn't hear a word of her mother's lecture. Meanwhile, Zhang Bai lay in his dorm, scrolling through videos. Checked the time. Nearly 5. Dinner time. He sat up and headed out, ready to find something to eat. A quick stroll alone sounded nice. Just as he stepped out, his phone buzzed. It was a message from Li Shiya. Little Bai, you home yet? Zhang Bai typed back. Not yet. Heading back tomorrow. A second later, a video call popped up from her. Zhang Bai hesitated before answering. Where are you, little Bai? I'm coming to find you. Downstairs at the dorm. Shiya, why haven't you left yet? Zhang Bai asked, noting the background behind her. She explained she had planned to go today. Sold out. I had to book a flight for tomorrow. Anyway, gotta go, xiao bye. Wait for me by the school gate. I am almost there. Li Shiya hung up before Zhang Bai could even react. He tucked his phone into his pocket. He looked up at the sky. After 2 days of deep thought, Zhang Bai had been weighing his options. He finally understood. He had feelings for Li Shiya. Besides, dating a beauty like her might not be such a bad idea. After all, age gap relationships are trending, right? So he decided to follow his heart and give it a shot with her. Meanwhile, at the girls' dorm, after hanging up, Li Shiya started getting ready. Makeup, lipstick, choosing an outfit, and spraying perfume. And nearly an hour getting everything just right. Standing before the mirror, Li Shiya checked out her new look. She curved her lips in satisfaction. This should be enough to completely dazzle him. Li Shiya was extremely confident in her looks. That was the only reason she was known as the aloof campus goddess at Mo University. Once finished, she checked her phone. Past 6. I have to hurry, or that little brother of mine will get impatient. She grabbed her bag and headed out. 10 minutes later, Li Xia reached the school gate. From a distance, she spotted Zhang Bai squatting by the security station. Seeing him, Li Xia trotted over, waving her hand. Xiao Bai, here I am. Oh, Xia, this is for you. Li Xia stared at the milk tea he held out, briefly stunned. It was the white peach oolong milk tea, 30% sugar, with mochi and golden pearls. I remembered you liked this last time, so I thought you'd want one, Zhang Bai explained nervously. What is going on with this little guy? Why the sudden kindness? Could he have finally realized his feelings? Thank you, I love it. Li Xia smiled, took the drink, and sipped it through a straw. Let's go. I already called a ride. It will be here soon. Let's grab some dinner and then go for a walk. See what else is good to eat or play, okay? Hearing this, Zhang Bai nodded. Xia, whatever you want. Sorry for the trouble. Not at all. Just being with you makes the air feel sweet. Li Xia leaned in and close with a playful smile. Xiao Bai, if you feel bad about it, why don't you just give me a kiss? Zhang Bai instinctively stepped back, head down, and stayed silent. Man, Xia is bold. Within minutes, the ride arrived. They hopped in and headed straight to the restaurant. The car sped along and stopped in front of a high-end spot. Wow, this place has such a great atmosphere. Let's go in and try it. Li Xia walked beside Zhang Bai, whispering happily. Zhang Bai followed her inside, immediately struck by the romantic candlelight. Between that and the elegant background music, he felt a bit nervous. In contrast, Li Xia looked completely composed. She ordered with ease and chatted with the staff. Everything felt natural. Zhang Bai, however, kept his eyes on her. Watching her beautiful face and graceful confidence, he couldn't help but think how stunning she was. Li Xia seemed to notice his gaze. She turned and flashed him a smile that made his heart race and his cheeks flush a soft pink. Chapter 28, Intern Couple. After dinner, they happened to pass by a jewelry shop. Zhang Bai caught Li Xia's eyes, lingering on a bracelet in the window. He thought for a second, then reached out and grabbed her hand, leading her inside without a word. Li Xia looked down at their joined hands, momentarily stunned, but she quickly snapped out of it, a soft smile spreading across her face. This is the first time he has been this forward. Zhang Bai walked straight to the bracelet that had caught her eye. He turned to the clerk without hesitation. Excuse me, could you take this bracelet out for us to see? The clerk smiled and handed it over. Zhang Bai carefully took the piece and turned back to Li Xia with a gentle smile. Xia, give me your hand. Li Xia's mind went blank. Like a well-behaved child, she extended her hand. Only when he fastened the bracelet did she finally register what was happening. Xiao Bai, Are you buying this for me? Who else? Zhang Bai lowered his head, a smile tugging at his lips. It looks pretty good on you. Boss, check please. Li Shiya watched him handle the payment without saying a word. When they walked back out, she was still in a daze. She could not figure out what he was up to. He felt different today. Not like his usual self at all. Plus, he had held her hand just moments ago. She felt giddy just thinking about it. Zhang Bai watched her admire the bracelet as they walked. She kept holding it up to look at it, then gently stroking the patterns as if it were a rare treasure. Finally, his curiosity got the better of him. Shia, it is just a bracelet. Why do you keep looking at it? However, she didn't seem to care about his question. She was wrapped in the joy of the gift, her face glowing with happiness. She lifted her hand to show him, beaming. This is the first gift you have ever given me. I am really happy. Zhang Bai looked at her childlike grin and his heart softened. As long as you like it. Li Shiya's smile grew even wider. Yes, I really do. She seemed to remember something, and her face turned slightly pink as she looked at him. Xiao Bai Bai, thank you for the gift. Now let me get you one too. Then an idea crossed his mind. He looked at Zhang Bai, face turning slightly red. Zhang Bai, thanks for the gift. How about I give you one too? With a quick tiptoe, he kissed Zhang Bai on the cheek and sprinted away, face glowing red before Zhang Bai could even react. Zhang Bai stood stunned, touching his cheek, unable to process the moment as the night deepened around him, rolled under the dim streetlights, Li Shiya leaning into him. She whispered, Did you know, Xiao Bai Bai? I once tried to forget my feelings for you, but that attempt only showed me how impossible it is for me to let go, she continued, her voice soft and lingering. Her words felt like a spring breeze against his ear, stirring something deep within him. He hesitated for a few heartbeats, then took a long, steadying breath. His hands trembled slightly as he reached out and carefully took Li Shiya's hand. Shia, I've thought it over. Let's try dating. Voice was low, yet steady and sincere. Li Shiya couldn't believe her ears when the words hit her. She wondered if it was a hallucination and had to ask, Really? You're not teasing your sister, are you? Under her intense, expectant gaze, Zhang Bai gave a firm nod. Seeing his genuine expression, Li Shiya cheered and threw herself into his arms, wrapping them tightly around him. Zhang Bai was caught off guard but quickly returned the embrace. This is perfect, Xiao Bai Bai. Am I dreaming? She asked happily. Not a dream, Xia, he replied gently. They held each other for a long moment before slowly pulling apart. Li Xia looked at him, her face flushed with pure happiness. So, from now on, we're officially dating, she teased with a smile. Zhang Bai grinned back. He held her hand gently. The next day, Zhang Bai stepped out of the men's dormitory, suitcase in hand. Sunlight caught his frame, making him stand tall. Suddenly, his eyes were drawn to a familiar figure nearby. Li Shia stood there, bathed in a gentle, warm smile, watching him silently. A charming smile tugged at the corner of Zhang Bai's lips. He walked over with confidence, heading straight for her. Let's go, Shia, he said softly. He took her suitcase naturally, and they headed toward the school gate together. As they reached the entrance, they ran into Su Qianqian, who happened to be waiting for a ride. Qianqian froze when she saw Zhang Bai with Li Xia, a flicker of surprise crossing her expression. Her gaze lingered on the pair for a few seconds, as if contemplating something, but she quickly looked away, boarded a taxi, and left. Xiao Bai Bai, were you checking out that little brat just now? Li Xia spun around abruptly, staring straight into his eyes. There was a faint trace of jealousy in her look. Little brat? Xia, are you talking about Su Qianqian? Is she actually jealous? Zhang Bai wondered, feeling caught off guard. He put on a look of utter innocence and grievance. Acting as if he'd been wrongly accused, he shook his head frantically. Xia, you've got it all wrong. I didn't even look at her. Li Xia didn't pull her gaze away, continuing to stare him down. Seconds dragged on, and the air felt heavy with tension. Finally, the corner of her mouth quirked up, and she huffed. Fine, I'll trust you this time, stinky boy. A massive weight lifted off Zhang Bai's shoulders. He waved down a taxi, and they loaded their luggage to head to the airport. Chapter 29, How Mushy. After a few hours in the air, plane landed in the capital. Zhang Bai and Li Xia stepped out of the terminal. Zhang Bai stopped suddenly and asked, Xia, how are you getting home? Before she could answer, a voice cut through the air behind them. Little brother, Xia, why are you two arriving together? Both turned to see who it was. Zhang Bai was startled. Why is my older sister here? I told them I didn't need a ride. Li Xia didn't miss a beat, laughing as she hugged Jiang Wanqing. Wanqing, I've missed you so much. So mushy, it's nauseating, Jiang Wanqing joked, putting on an exaggerated look of disgust. Zhang Bai watched the scene, feeling his anxiety spike. Oh no, Xia wouldn't tell her about them, would she? If she did, his sister would definitely run back to mom, and then he'd be subjected to an endless interrogation. What do I do? Hey, stinky boy, why so quiet? Did you lose your tongue at university? Jiang Wanqing pouted, her tone a mix of blame and teasing. Zhang Bai snapped out of his trance. I'm not mute, I'm just tired from the flight. Zhang Wanqing burst out laughing. She tapped his head lightly. Look at you, getting cheeky now. Didn't learn much at school, but your mouth sure got sharper. Zhang Bai rubbed his head, acting pouty. No way, I've always been a well-behaved kid. Shot a sly glance at his sister while he spoke. Li Shiya watched the interaction, hiding a smile behind her hand. All right, Wanqing, stop picking on your brother. Hey, Shiya. You don't know him. If you don't keep this brat in check, he'll run wild. Zhang Wanqing turned to glare at Zhang Bai, saying, Hurry up, stinky boy. You're a grown man, moving slower than us two girls. At these words, Zhang Bai silently vents his frustrations about Zhang Wanqing, who just playfully winks and jokes with Shiya. She teases, if you don't keep this brat in line, he'll run wild. With a provocative lift of her chin, Zhang Wanqing walks off with Li Shiya, only to suddenly spin around. Locking eyes with Zhang Bai, she adds with a smirk, Hey brat, can you pick up the pace? You're a grown man, yet you're moving slower than us girls. Zhang Bai feels a wave of annoyance and helplessness. Still, he pretends nothing is wrong and hurries to catch up, all while internally tearing her apart. After dropping Li Shiya home, Zhang Wanqing heads back to the villa with Zhang Bai. As soon as Zhang Bai opens the door, his mother Lin Shi rushes over to pull him into a massive hug. My precious son, I've missed you so much. Her voice trembles with excitement, warming Zhang Bai's heart. Spark of emotion hits him, and he gently pats her back. Mom, I missed you too. Been a month, and you look so thin. Did you eat poorly at school? Zhang Bai laughs it off. Not at all, Mom. I've actually gained weight. Plus, I've noticed you're looking even more beautiful. Lin Shi smiles and kisses his forehead. Still such a sweet talker. Mom, I'm a grown man now. This is embarrassing. No matter how old you get, you're still my baby boy. Oh, where's your father? Zhang Bai asks. He's at a meeting. Go upstairs and rest, dear. I'll check on dinner. She shuffles off to the kitchen, leaving Zhang Wanqing standing there, looking completely ignored. She wonders if she's even part of the family at this point. Zhang Bai retreats to his room on the second floor. He drops his heavy luggage by the bed and collapses onto the soft mattress, barely catching his breath. Phone vibrates in his pocket with a crisp notification tone. He checks it. It's a message from Li Shiya. Hey Bai, you home yet? Seeing her cute, playful profile picture, Zhang Bai can't help but smile. Pipes back rapidly. Yeah, just got in. She replies almost instantly. Bai, I miss you so much. Zhang Bai chuckles at the screen. He shakes his head playfully and types. Shiya, we literally just parted ways an hour ago. Zhang Bai leaned against the headboard, wondering why Shiya was so clingy. Just as he thought that, another message popped up. She wrote, I don't care, I just miss you. Do you miss me? Don't you dare ignore me. Zhang Bai stared at the screen, hesitated for a few seconds and typed, I do. Li Shiya was currently lounging on her bed. She saw his reply and beamed. My little Xiao Bai is so sweet, she typed back, adding a cute emoji. Then she asked, Are you free tomorrow? Zhang Bai saw the follow-up messages and replied, Not sure yet. Why, Sister Shiya? She said, Nothing much, just wanted to know. If you're free, I want to take you somewhere fun. Zhang Bai was curious. What kind of place? Li Shiya played coy. It's a secret, you'll see when you get here tomorrow. Zhang Bai smiled helplessly, thinking how mysterious she was. He replied, Okay, I'll come find you tomorrow, adding a kissy emoji. He closed the chat. Zhang Bai stretched and walked over to the window, watching the view outside, feeling unusually relaxed. Evening fell, and the family was gathered around the table for a cozy dinner. Suddenly, things changed. Zhang put down her chopsticks, looked at Zhang Bai with a flicker of hesitation, and cleared her throat softly. Then she ventured, Son, Mom has a question, not sure if I should ask. Zhang Bai, busy eating, looked up at his mother's voice. He met her eyes and noticed a hint of concern and worry. He quickly nodded his head. Smiling, he said, It's fine, Mom, just say whatever is on your mind. Mother Jiang took a deep breath, steeling herself. Then she whispered, Son, are you dealing with a breakup? The question struck like a lightning bolt, shattering the silence. Zhang Bai nearly choked on his food. He stared at his mother in complete shock while the rest of the family froze. Everyone turned their gaze toward him, clearly stunned by the question. Zhang Bai regained his composure and explained, Mom, that's not it at all. Don't listen to my sister's nonsense. Zhang Wanqing, sitting nearby, gave him a resentful look. Wait, why are you so sure it was me? Do I even need to think about it? Is there anyone else in this house with a mouth as big as yours? Zhang Bai rolled his eyes at Zhang Qing, who instantly flared up. You smelly brat, you're looking for a beating. Zhang Bai predicted the move and dodged before her hand could land. Mom, help. Brambled behind Mother Zhang. Enough, Wanqing. Stop bullying your brother and finish your dinner, Mother Zhang commanded. Hearing that, Zhang Wanqing huffed and slumped back into her chair to keep eating. Even while eating, she kept shooting daggers at him. The next morning, sunlight filtered through the curtains. Zhang Bai rolled over in his soft bed and blinked his sleepy eyes. He fumbled for his phone and unlocked it. It was past 10 in the morning. Just as he was about to put the phone down to snooze, an unread voice message caught his eye. He tapped it, and Li Shiya's sweet voice filled his ears. "Morning, my boyfriend. This is our second day together." Her tone was playful and full of joy. Hearing those words, Zhang Bai's lips curled upward, a warmth flooding his chest. It really was another day of his heart skipping a beat. So, this is what having a girlfriend feels like. 10 minutes later, Zhang Bai finished washing up and went downstairs, finding only Zhang Wanqing in the living room. She was sitting at the table with messy hair, eating breakfast. Zhang Bai pulled up a chair and asked while peeling an egg, "Where are Mom and Dad?" Zhang Wanqing replied flatly, "Dad is at a company meeting, and Mom went shopping with her friends." Zhang Bai murmured a response and finished his breakfast in silence. Afterward, he headed to the third-floor gym, started his daily training. After an intense workout, Zhang Bai picked up a towel to wipe the sweat from his forehead and neck. Just then, Li Shiya initiated a video call. Zhang Bai saw the screen light up and tapped to answer. A moment later, her stunning face appeared on the screen. "What are you doing, little Xiao Bai?" she asked coquettishly. "Just finished my workout, was about to take a shower," Zhang Bai replied. "Good, I'm all set. Should I pick up my boyfriend, or will you come find your lovely girlfriend?" Zhang Bai paused at that. He thought for a second and said, "I'll come find you. If I let you pick me up, my sister might find out." After showering and changing, he went downstairs. Seeing no one around, he put on his shoes and walked to the gate, ready to hail a cab, when suddenly a pink Porsche Panamera flashed like lightning and came to a smooth stop right in front of him. The driver's side door opened. A woman with elegant poise and sunglasses stepped out. It was Li Shiya. Zhang Bai watched the scene, a wave of warmth washing over him. Before he could even speak, Li Shiya fluttered toward him like a butterfly, throwing herself into his arms. She pouted her delicate lips and leaned in, planting a loud, affectionate kiss right on his cheek. Zhang Bai clearly felt the damp, lingering warmth of her kiss on his skin. Face flushed beet red like a perfectly ripe apple. He muttered to himself, "Damn, why is Li Shiya acting so bold the moment we meet?" Li Shiya didn't seem to notice his bashfulness at all. She just giggled and said, "Hey, come on, little Zhang. I gave you a kiss, didn't I? Don't you think you should give your big sister one back?" She gazed at him with wide, expectant eyes, filled with a playful, seductive glint. Flustered, Zhang Bai glanced at the pedestrians passing by and whispered to her, "Shia, seriously? There are so many people around. We need to get in the car now." Li Shia immediately put on an indignant look. She snapped, "Hey, I'm not afraid. As a man, why are you? Or is it that you're actually looking down on me?" Zhang Bai offered a helpless smile, leaned toward her ear and murmured, "How could I? I just don't like PDA on the sidewalk." He quickly pecked her on the cheek. A brilliant, satisfied smile bloomed across Li Shia's face. She nodded, clearly pleased, and pulled him into the car. As she drove, Zhang Bai stole a glance at her from the corner of his eye. Man, look at her. This outfit is pure high-end sultry vibes. How is any guy supposed to handle this? Any man would have his resolve broken. Maybe dating Shia isn't so bad after all. Li Shia caught him sneaking looks. She gave a light smile and whispered, "Little Zhang, if you want to look at me, just do it. It's not like I'm forbidding you. Why be so sneaky about it?" Hearing this, Zhang Bai turned bright red, his heart hammering against his ribs. He hadn't expected his little glances to be caught. He turned his head away, too shy to meet her eyes. Fidgeting nervously, he mumbled, "I just think you look great today, so I couldn't help but look." He bowed his head, embarrassed. After a long moment, he regained his composure and asked, "So, Shia, where are we heading?" "We're going to an escape room." She curled her lips into a smile. Zhang Bai nodded, ready for the challenge. She parked the car smoothly, stepped out with effortless grace, and walked toward him with a light, rhythmic stride. She gently hooked her arm into his, and they walked side by side until they reached the escape room entrance. Standing at the door, Zhang Bai looked up and suddenly hesitated, feeling a flicker of dread. Li Shiya noticed his hesitation immediately. She squeezed his hand and promised, "Little Zhang, don't be scared. Your big sister is here to protect you." Yet, the moment she stepped inside, she latched onto him like an octopus, clinging with the grip of industrial-strength glue. No matter how he tried to shake her, she wouldn't let go. She gripped his arm tight and squealed, "Little Zhang, I'm so scared, tell me. Are there actually ghosts in here?" Her voice trembled, betraying her genuine terror. Watching this, Zhang Bai couldn't help but feel a bit exhausted. Just a moment ago, she was the one confidently insisting she would protect him. Now, the second they walked inside, she was the one terrified out of her mind. Zhang Bai had been nervous, but seeing the room, his fear evaporated. Looking at the situation, he wondered who was really supposed to be protecting whom. Ignoring her, he started searching for clues on his own. Just as he was fully focused, an NPC lunged from a wardrobe. Li Shiya let out a shrill, piercing scream. She leaped straight into Zhang Bai's arms. Zhang Bai stood there, stunned into silence. He ignored her and continued hunting for leads, brow furrowed as he scanned every inch of the room with a sharp, calculating gaze. Didn't miss a single detail. Suddenly, an actor playing a ghost burst out from a wardrobe like a blur. Li Shiya was petrified. Her eyes widened, her mouth formed a perfect circle, and a scream tore through the room. It was loud enough to shatter eardrums. Then, as if she had lost all composure, she jumped. Like a human projectile, she launched herself into his arms. Moments later, Zhang Bai used his sharp instincts, quick thinking to track down the clues. He began working the keypad, his fingers dancing across the buttons. Focused and steady, he cracked the code in under 5 minutes. The door swung open. They headed to the next level. Throughout it all, Li Shiya stayed glued to him, keeping only one eye open, darting nervously around the room. Every time an actor jumped out, she let out another piercing scream and shivered uncontrollably. She seemed to have completely shut down. She just relied entirely on Zhang Bai. Finally, thanks to his persistence, they reached the final room. Zhang Bai struggled to solve the last code. Then, he told Li Shiya to get off so she could help search the room for clues. Who could have guessed she would just give a dismissive hum? She had no intention of letting go. Zhang Bai was speechless. He tried the code again, failed, and finally had to scold her. Shiya, can you please get down? Otherwise, we're never going to get out of here. Only then did she reluctantly release him. Pouted and grumbled, "Little Zhang, how dare you snap at me?" Seeing he stayed silent, she stomped her foot in frustration. "Move, let me try. I refuse to believe I can't do this." Zhang Bai stood by for nearly half an hour, but she couldn't crack the code. He had assumed she was confident because she knew the answer, but he clearly overestimated her. "Shiya, seriously, can you actually do this?" Zhang Bai chuckled, teasing. "Seriously, how did you even get into Mo University?" Li Shiya shot him a glare. "Look who's talking. You haven't cracked it either. Stop acting like you're so much better." 5 more minutes ticked by with no progress. Li Shiya finally snapped, kicking the keypad door. Ugh, so frustrating. Zhang Bai was doubled over laughing. Li Shiya glanced back at him, eyes narrowed. There was a dangerous glint in her look. She whispered, "Xiao Bai, if you keep laughing at me, don't blame me for what I might do to you." Zhang Bai stopped laughing instantly. The two of them went back to searching the room for clues. Suddenly, an NPC popped his head out of the window to spook them. Zhang Bai expected Li Shiya to shriek like before, but what she did next left him stunned. Instead of screaming, Li Shiya slapped a cream pie right into the NPC's face and turned away, completely unbothered, to keep searching. Zhang Bai was floored. Was this the same Shiya who was just hiding in his arms? Even the NPC looked like he was having an existential crisis. The NPC probably had no idea what he did to deserve that. Eventually, they found the last clue, and working together, they cracked the final code in under 3 minutes. By the time they escaped, it was already dark. Li Shiya beamed. "Let's grab hot pot." Zhang Bai nodded with a smile. "Sounds great." They stepped into a lively hot pot restaurant, the air thick with the savory aroma. It was mouthwatering. They found a quiet corner, ordered a spicy pot, and piled on the sides. Li Shiya excitedly mixed her sauce. Zhang Bai watched her, a soft smile playing on his lips. As the broth bubbled, Li Shiya grabbed a slice of beef and dipped it in. She took a bite, savoring the flavor. "Wow, so spicy and good," she exclaimed. Zhang Bai noticed a smudge of sauce on her lip. He leaned in with a tissue and gently wiped it away. Li Shiya froze for a second, then signaled him to lean closer with a playful flick of her finger. She arched a brow and purred. "Xiao Bai, come here." Zhang Bai didn't overthink it and leaned in. In the next heartbeat, Li Shiya pursed her lips and planted a loud, bold kiss right on him. Zhang Bai's face turned bright red. He sat there frozen, completely caught off guard. Li Shiya couldn't stop laughing at his cute expression. Nearby diners started glancing their way, and Zhang Bai looked down, trying to hide his bashfulness. "Xiao Bai, are you blushing?" Li Shiya teased, a hint of mischief in her eyes. Zhang Bai stammered, "I'm not." Li Shiya's expression softened, and she looked at him earnestly. She whispered, "Xiao Bai, I'm so glad I met you." Zhang Bai looked up, their eyes meeting, and a wave of warmth washed over him. Chapter 32. Tension in the car. Having finished their hot pot feast, the two walked hand in hand, looking every bit like a couple deeply in love as they wandered through the mall. Along the way, they passed a machine filled with cute plushies. Li Shiya was instantly hooked. She stopped and pointed at the claw machine, patient, looking at Zhang Bai with anticipation. "Xiao Bai, let's play. Can we?" Zhang Bai smiled softly and murmured, "Sure." Zhang Bai bought $100 worth of tokens and headed over with her. Li Shiya dropped in a coin and gripped the controls, aiming for a strawberry bear inside. The claw descended, but it missed the toy completely, barely giving it a nudge. Li Shiya sighed in disappointment, but she wasn't giving up. Zhang Bai saw her expression and got an idea. He stepped up to the machine, studying the claw's movement. After a quick look, he realized there was a specific pattern to the force and the angle. Confident, he returned to Li Shiya's side, took her hands gently, and whispered, Stay right there. Then he took the controls, began manipulating the claw with precision, carefully timing every movement and adjusting the pressure. Just then, Li Shiya felt Zhang Bai's warm breath near her shoulder, and her heart began to race like a frantic little deer. She couldn't help but feel giddy, a soft flush creeping up her face. Shiya, which one do you want? Zhang Bai asked softly. Hearing his voice, Li Shiya shyly pointed at the strawberry bear in the machine, her face reddening as she whispered, "That strawberry bear!" Zhang Bai followed her cue and hit the button at the perfect moment. The claw descended and snagged the bear in one go. Seeing he'd actually done it, Li Shiya started dancing with excitement and showered him with kisses. "Xiao Bai, you are amazing. I knew the man I picked wouldn't disappoint me." This move left Zhang Bai staring, stunned for several seconds. Once he regained his composure, he handed the bear to Li Shiya with a doting smile. "Wow, Xiao Bai, you're the best." Li Shiya hugged the bear tightly. People around them watched, clearly envious. Zhang Bai felt a bit embarrassed, so he grabbed her hand. "Let's go walk somewhere else." A pink Panamera pulled up to the Zhang family villa. Zhang Bai went to open his door. He found it locked. "What's going on? Shiya, why did you lock the doors?" Just as he started to ask, Li Shiya unbuckled her seatbelt and leaned halfway across the console. In the next moment, with Zhang Bai completely bewildered, straddled him. His heart hammered against his ribs and his throat went dry. He had no idea what she was planning, but seeing her face so close and feeling the heat in her gaze, he could feel a different kind of energy filling the car. Time seemed to stand still. Everything around them blurred until all that was clear was Li Shiya's beautiful, mesmerizing face right in front of him. Zhang Bai's breathing hitched. He stared nervously at Li Shiya as she leaned in, lips brushing against his ear. "Tell me, Xiao Bai Bai, are you happy with how Big Sister performed today?" Her voice was dreamlike, laced with a hint of seduction. Zhang Bai shivered involuntarily. The warmth of Li Shiya's breath against his cheek sent a tingling jolt through his entire body. Suddenly, Li Shiya reached out, gently pinching his chin to turn his face toward hers. Their eyes locked. Zhang Bai opened his mouth to speak, but Li Shiya's lips cut him off. Caught off guard by her boldness, he froze completely. But soon he melted into the kiss, arms wrapping tightly around her waist. Their tongues tangled and their breathing grew ragged and hot. A moment later, Zhang Bai pulled back. Looking at her flushed face and hazy eyes, a wave of satisfaction washed over him. "Shiya, stop, I can't." "Keeps up, I won't be able to control myself," Zhang Bai murmured. Logic told him to halt, but his heart wouldn't let him go. Sensing his hesitation, Li Shiya chuckled and eased away from him. "Xiao Bai Bai, you really are innocent, aren't you? Have you forgotten what you did to Big Sister at the hotel last time?" she teased. Zhang Bai offered a sheepish, awkward grin. "Shiya, wasn't that just an accident?" She laughed, leaning in to brush her lips against his once more. "All right, it's getting late. I should head back." Li Shiya smoothed her clothes and unlocked the doors. Zhang Bai climbed out of the car. He waved at her. "Bye, Shiya. See you tomorrow." With a playful blow kiss, she drove off into the night. Watching the car disappear, Zhang Fei felt a mix of reluctance and a strange, budding excitement. He stepped into the living room. His mother's sharp, amused gaze locked onto him instantly. He felt a flicker of unease but managed to keep a smile on his face. Scratched his head instinctively and asked, "Mom, why are you staring at me like that? Is everything okay?" Mother Jiang walked over with a grin and pinched his cheek. "Tell me, son, who was that girl who just dropped you off at the door?" Zhang Bai's face turned bright red. He lowered his head, acting shy. "Mom, don't jump to conclusions. Just an ordinary friend." Mother Jiang chuckled and patted his shoulder. "You little brat, look at your face and lips, covered in lipstick. The evidence is right there. Don't even try to lie to me." Zhang Bai stammered, "Mom, please, I'm just tired. I'm going upstairs to sleep. Good night, Mom." He touched his lips, gave an awkward laugh, and scrambled up to his second-floor bedroom. Left behind, Mother Jiang muttered to herself, "That brat. He's dating someone, isn't he? Why keep it a secret?" Back in his room, Zhang Bai rushed to the shower for a cold rinse. In the car, he'd felt so hot and bothered he'd nearly lost his mind. It was all Shia's fault. Still, the feeling was strangely addictive. Chapter 33. The Brat is so overbearing. The next morning, before the sun rose, Li Shiya was already up, carefully applying her makeup. As she focused on her reflection in the mirror, her phone chimed with an incoming video call from her roommate, Qianqian. Seeing Li Shiya fully dolled up, Qianqian couldn't help but tease, "Wow, look at our beauty, up so early to get ready. Tell me, Bist, are you off to with some handsome guy?" Hearing the question, Li Shiya's lips curled into a smile she couldn't quite hide. She capped her lipstick and replied playfully, "Hehe, you're too smart, you guessed it right away. I'm actually heading to the ancient town with Xiao Baibai today." Xiao Yanshin's eyes lit up and she shrieked, "No way. I actually guessed it. Come on, spill the tea to your bestie. How far have you two really gone?" Xiao Yangshin waited, full of anticipation. She blinked her big eyes, trying to catch a hint from Li Shiya's expression, but Li Shiya decided to play hard to get. She continued her makeup and laughed. That's a secret, I'm not telling you. She stuck her tongue out at the camera. Qianqian sighed in defeat, though her eyes remained full of envy and well wishes. Suddenly a thought struck Qianqian. She asked, wait, if you're going to the ancient town, you're definitely not coming back tonight, right? And if you end up at a hotel, remember to bring protection. Li Shiya laughed. What are you thinking? You little pervert. But at the mention of protection, Li Shiya froze. She realized they hadn't used any when they were together before. Could she be pregnant? She tried to think back. Her period seemed to be running late this month. On top of that, she'd been feeling nauseous at everything lately. Was she really pregnant? She muttered to herself. What on earth am I thinking? It only happened that one time. It couldn't possibly be a hit on the first try, right? She shook it off. She had a date to get to. That, Li Shiya let out a giggle. Downstairs, Zhang Bai had finished breakfast and was heading down. He entered the living room and asked his mother, Mom, where are the car keys? I'm driving a friend to the ancient town today. Mother Zhang, busy with a face mask, pointed at the table. They're right there. Go ahead. Awesome, thanks, Mom. Zhang Bai grabbed the keys and headed out the door. He walked to the underground garage, opened the car, and climbed inside. Pulled out his phone and texted Li Shiya. Shiya, I'm heading out now. Are you all ready? Ding, another instant reply. Zhang Bai plays the voice message, her familiar, gentle voice filling his ears. I'm already getting ready. I'll be out soon. Travel safely, okay? Watch yourself. Zhang Bai starts the car and heads toward Li Shiya's place. Half an hour later, he arrives. He looks up to check for her, and he freezes. The sight before him is breathtaking. Li Shiya steps out in a stunning dress, glowing like the evening sunset, perfectly cut to highlight her silhouette. Zhang Bai is completely captivated, unable to tear his eyes away from her. He is so distracted that he doesn't even notice her walk right up to the car door until she taps on the window. Jolted out of his trance, he hurriedly rolls down the window and scratches his head, feeling awkward. Hey, you're here. Yeah, she replies softly. A few seconds pass and she stays standing there, staring straight at him. Finally gathers his courage to ask, Shiya, why aren't you getting in? She pouts her cherry-red lips, letting out a huff that sounds like a mix of petulance and flirting. Beautiful eyes lock onto his, filled with emotion, as if scolding him for being so clueless. Does he really need to be told to open the car door for her? Zhang Bai finally realizes his mistake, jumps out of the driver's seat, and rushes to open the passenger door for her. He carefully shields the door frame with his hand to make sure she doesn't bump her head. Li Shiya feels a spark of joy, though she keeps a mock frown on her face, huffing softly as she slides into the seat. They head off to Gushui Baytown, a romantic spot Li Shiya stayed up all night picking out. They laugh and chat the entire trip. Spirits are high, looking forward to making beautiful memories in this historic ancient town. Upon arrival, the scenery leaves them speechless. The ancient architecture, the crystal clear water, tree-lined streets show off the town's unique charm. It's a rare combination of landscape and village in Jincheng. Built around the water, it blends the feel of a southern water town with northern village architecture, surrounded by mountains. It rivals any southern water town, especially the night view, which is absolutely legendary. Zhang Bai parked his car slowly in the ancient town lot. As he and Li Shiya stepped out, every eye in the vicinity locked onto her. Whoa, she is drop-dead gorgeous. Man, I'm swooning. Wipe that drool off your chin, buddy. Can't you see who's standing next to her? How do you know that's her boyfriend? Could be her brother. Forget it. I'm going to go ask the goddess for her contact info. The guy whipped out his phone and marched toward Li Shiya, smoothing his yellow hair and wearing a grin that looked pretty creepy to everyone else. He thought he looked charming, though, and told Li Shiya, Hey, little fairy, mind giving me a chance to get to know you? Before she could even decline, Zhang Bai took charge. Holding Li Shiya's hand firmly, he snapped at the guy. Hey, buddy, are your eyes failing you? Can't you see we're holding hands? The guy with the yellow hair was so caught off guard by the sudden challenge, he froze, speechless. Zhang Bai didn't let him recover. He added, Or do you think we don't look like a couple? You're making a huge mistake if you think that. We're very much in love. Beside him, Li Shiya watched, stunned. She thought to herself, wow, my little brother is so bold. I love this. I'm totally smitten. His words hit the guy like a blade. He opened his mouth, trying to find some comeback, but nothing came out. He turned around and slinked away from the place where he'd just been utterly embarrassed. Chapter 34, A Match Made in Heaven. Once the guy was gone, Li Shiya stood on her tiptoes and pecked Zhang Bai's lips, then giggled. Sister, thinks she might like you even more now. Zhang Bai blushed, lowered his head in embarrassment, and stuttered, I like you too, Shiya. Moment, Zhang Bai lost all that bravado he'd shown the other guy, showing only gentleness and shyness. Li Shiya was delighted. She reached out to stroke his cheek, whispering, "Hey, hey, such a good boy." Li Shiya had bought the tickets the night before, so they didn't have to wait. They just showed their IDs and walked right in. Li Shiya pulled out her sports camera, approached a girl passing by and asked, "Excuse me, could you take a photo of my boyfriend and me?" The girl smiled. "Of course. But which one is your boyfriend, miss?" Li Shiya looked at Zhang Bai, beaming with happiness, and nodded. "You two look so good together. Perfect match. Thanks so much." Li Shiya walked back to Zhang Bai and dragged him to the town entrance. She slipped her arm through his. They really did look like a perfect pair. The impromptu photographer said playfully, "Hey, you two, try making a heart shape with your hands. That'll look great." Hearing that, Li Xia and Zhang Bai exchanged a look, and in perfect sync, they held up their hands to form a big heart. The camera clicked, and the moment was frozen forever. Li Xia checked the photo and was thrilled with how it turned out. Sweet smile played on her lips. She took Zhang Bai's hand and they wandered into the ancient town, strolling through the quiet, historic alleys. Li Xia looked at Zhang Bai. The man she'd liked for years was finally hers, and couldn't stop herself from smiling. After all, having an unrequited crush pay off, and being with the one you love is the luckiest feeling in the world. Even though she and Zhang Bai were still in the experimental phase of dating, through these few days together, she could clearly feel affection for her. She was certain that soon they would move from the experimental stage to being a real couple. When that happened, she would tell the world that she and Zhang Bai were officially together. "Hey Bai, I heard this dye house lets you make your own dyed crafts. Want to check it out?" Zhang Bai paused, then nodded. "Sure, sounds good. I've only seen it in videos, never in person. Let's go." Li Xia saw him agree and excitedly pulled him toward the Yangshan dye house. Shop sat in the heart of the town, an ancient building. It looked a bit weathered but carried a rich sense of history. As they stepped inside, they were hit by the strong scent of dye. The interior was simple but organized, with colorful dyed works hanging all over the walls. Li Xia looked around, her eyes wide with wonder. She walked to a display table, studying the pieces closely. Zhang Bai stood by, watching her, feeling a wave of warmth and joy. "Bai, look how beautiful this piece is." Li Xia pointed excitedly at a piece of fabric, full of admiration. Zhang Bai walked over to look. It was a landscape dye painting. The colors were vibrant and the lines flowed perfectly, creating a sense of calm. Zhang Bai was captivated. He couldn't help but say, "It really is beautiful. Every piece carries the artist's hard work and wisdom." Li Xia nodded, smiling. She had always been passionate about art, and this dyeing work truly fascinated her. Suddenly, an idea struck. She excitedly told Zhang Bai, "Bai, why don't we try making our own piece? We could get hands-on experience and see how it's actually done." Zhang Bai's brow furrowed slightly at the suggestion. He wasn't artistic at all and knew nothing about dyeing. But seeing her excitement, he couldn't bear to say no, so he smiled and agreed. They found a staff member to ask about the basic steps. The employee answered their questions enthusiastically, then led them to the workshop area, where dyes, brushes, and tools were waiting. The staff member began to patiently teach them. Zhang Bai and Li Xia carefully select their dyes, mix the colors, and gingerly apply them to the fabric. They follow the staff's instructions with focus. Though they are clearly beginners, their patience and enthusiasm shine through. After much hard work, they finally finish their first dyeing project. It may not be professional art, but they don't mind. They feel a genuine sense of pride. "Look, we made this ourselves." Li Xia beams, her eyes bright with accomplishment. Zhang Bai smiles, clearly satisfied. Their piece might be imperfect, but it represents the heart and effort they poured into it. Besides, doing something so simple with someone you love is pure happiness. Leaving the workshop, Zhang Bai grabs 2 bubble teas. Zhang Bai thoughtfully puts a straw into Li Xia's drink. He only starts his own once he sees her take that first sip. Suddenly, she pouts. Sweet, playful voice, she whispers, "Xiao Bai Bai, let me taste yours." Zhang Bai gives in to her charm. She leans in and nips the straw. She takes a sip and giggles. "So good. Now it's your turn to try mine. It's amazing," without missing a beat. Li Xia holds her drink to Zhang Bai's lips. He looks at this adorable girl with her twinkling peach blossom eyes and hesitates for a second before drinking. "Wow, that's actually really good. Not sure if it's the tea or just having such a cute girlfriend here with me." "See, I wasn't lying to you," she giggles. It's delicious." Li Xia pulls out her camera and snuggles into Zhang Bai's arms. "Xiao Bai, look over here." As he turns, she tilts her head up. Their eyes lock, filled with emotion. A camera shutter clicks. Seeing those tempting parted lips, Zhang Bai can't help himself and leans in for a gentle kiss. Chapter 35. "Silly boy, my wish is simple, to stay with you forever." Li Xia startles, a flash of suppressed emotion crossing her eyes before a smile takes over. She melts into the sudden tenderness of the kiss. Passersby glance over, some surprised, others envious. A young mother pushing a stroller stops and whispers to her child, "Look at that." They're so sweet. When you grow up, you should be brave enough to treat the person you love just like that. The child blinks. Tiny, milky voice, the child says, I'll protect and dad too. Nearby, an elderly couple shares a smile. The grandmother holds her husband's arm, sighing softly. Being young is wonderful. Love is always so passionate and direct. He nods. Eyes soften. It reminds me of us back then. Just then, inside a nearby bubble tea shop, a group of young people sits at a table. One girl pulls out her phone, having just captured Zhangbai and Li Shiya's kiss. She gasps, Quick, look at this. Like a scene straight out of a K-drama, her friends crowd around, chattering excitedly. Wow, that guy is handsome. And she's so pretty, they're a perfect match. That kind of love is a dream for so many people. I want to know where they go next. As the crowd reacts, Li Shiya and Zhangbai slowly pull away. Faint blush colors their cheeks. Zhangbai looks down and smiles softly. Sister Shiya, where should we go now? Li Shiya thinks for a moment, the corner of her lips curling up. She flashes a radiant smile at him and whispers, I heard the tofu corners here are incredible. Let's go try them. Anything you say. Let's get in line. Zhangbai agrees readily. They walk to the food stalls and scan the area. Li Shiya studies the options for a moment. She settles on a modest, nondescript stall. Don't be fooled by the flashy, high-profile shops. Often they lack authenticity. As a rule, the true, authentic gems are usually hidden in these unassuming little stalls. They walk up. They patiently join the long queue. After waiting for half an hour, it's finally their turn. Li Shiya buys one portion, not because she's stingy, but because the owner is so generous that one serving is more than enough for both of them to share. Come on, Xiao Bai Bai, open up. Let me feed you, she says with a playful, doting smile. She picks up a piece with her chopsticks, blows on it gently, and carefully holds it out to Zhang Bai's lips. Zhang Bai feels the stares of the crowd and feels a bit awkward, scratching his head, but he doesn't refuse her kindness. He opens his mouth and takes a small bite. Tofu hits his tongue. He's instantly floored by the unique flavor. A flash of surprise crosses his eyes. That's amazing. Sister Shiya, you have to try it too, he tells her while still chewing. Hearing this, Li Shiya doesn't hesitate. She opens her mouth and takes the rest of the tofu corner, the one Zhangbai just bit into. She eats it, savoring the taste with a satisfied smile. Wow, is really good. The chef did an incredible job with these. At that moment, the atmosphere between them grows incredibly cozy and harmonious, as if the rest of the world has completely faded away. From there, they sample all the local ancient town's snacks. Pickled veggie pancakes, soft sticky rice cakes, roasted pears, and so much more. They barely stop eating the whole time. Every first bite Zhang Bai takes is fed to him by Li Shiya. It's true, when you're with the one you love, everything, even just breathing the same air, feels incredibly sweet. The entire world feels wrapped in a blanket of pure bliss. Every moment, even the mundane, glows with beauty and joy. It is the company of the other that changes everything, turning simple experiences into unforgettable, precious memories. Later on, Li Shiya and Zhang Bai visit a shadow puppet theater. Li Shiya keeps a camera in hand, capturing every interaction with Zhang Bai. Li Shiya seems determined to preserve these beautiful moments forever as a record of their time together. Without warning, a wave of intense drowsiness hits Zhang Bai. Zhang Bai's head begins to nod uncontrollably, and his eyelids grow heavy. In the next second, he loses his balance and tips right onto Li Shiya. Li Shiya isn't startled by the sudden move. Instead, Li Shiya offers a gentle smile and softly steadies Zhang Bai's head, allowing him to rest comfortably against a shoulder. Then, Li Shiya lifts the camera, angles it just right, and prepares to document the scene. Look at how cute Xiao Bai Bai looks when he sleeps, Li Shiya whispers, eyes brimming with affection. The shutter clicks, capturing the image of Zhang Bai in a peaceful slumber. Then, Li Shiya murmurs to the camera, of course, another day of falling for this silly little brother. At this moment, Li Shiya is completely lost in the happiness of being with Zhang Bai. The rest of the world fades away, leaving only this boy who makes Li Shiya's heart race. Meanwhile, Zhang Bai drifts into a sweet dream on Li Shiya's warm shoulder. By the time they leave the theater, the sky has turned dim. Gushibei town now unfolds like a beautiful painting before their eyes. Lanterns along the streets start to flicker on, casting a warm glow that fills the ancient town with comfort and romance. They arrive at a restaurant. After a hearty meal, they decide to watch the drone and sky lantern show. Li Shiya excitedly grabs Zhang Bai's hand and leads the way to a small stall selling lanterns. The stall is packed with all sorts of colorful lanterns. They sway gently in the breeze, glowing with a cozy light. Li Shiya looks them over carefully, eyes settling on two particularly stunning pieces. They have unique designs. One is shaped like a pink lotus, and the other like a blue butterfly. The lanterns are embedded with shimmering jewels and delicate patterns, appearing both refined and magnificent. Li Shiya holds them up, smiling at Zhang Bai, and says, let's pick these two. They're so pretty. Zhang Bai nods, agreeing with the choice. Holding hands, they walk to the riverbank and set the lanterns afloat, watching them drift slowly into the distance. Make a wish, Li Shiya suggests with a laugh. Zhangbai nods and closes his eyes, silently making a wish. When Zhangbai opens his eyes, he finds Li Shiya gazing back with a deep, affectionate stare. That intense look makes Zhangbai's heart skip a beat. What did you wish for? Li Shiya asks curiously. Zhangbai pulls a mysterious smile and replies it's a wish. If I say it out loud, it won't come true. What about you, Sister Shiya? What did you wish for? Li Shiya lets out a silvery laugh, playfully. I'm not telling you. My wish, little brother, is obviously to stay with you forever. Just then, the drone and sky lantern show begins. Countless lanterns rise into the sky, sparkling like stars that illuminate the entire town. Zhangbai and Li Shiya look up, soaking in the romantic atmosphere. It's so beautiful, Li Shiya sighs involuntarily. Zhangbai turns and, with a look of tenderness, says, but you are more beautiful than the view. Chapter 36, Sleeping Together Again. Once the show ends, seeing it is late, Li Shiya brings Zhangbai to a hotel called Yushe Hot Spring. Naturally, the reason Li Shiya chose this specific hotel is that it has a hot spring, allowing Li Shiya to soak with the little brother. As they approach the front desk, Li Shiya steals a glance at the receptionist while Zhangbai isn't looking. The staff member catches on instantly, and the receptionist pretends to look troubled. I'm so sorry, you two. We only have one king room left. What do you think? Zhangbai is caught off guard for a second, then turns to Li Shiya and says, Sister Shiya, should we check another hotel to see if they have other rooms? Upon hearing this, Li Shiya quickly cuts in. Forget it. It's too late now. Let's just stay here for tonight. Finishing this, Li Shiya gives Zhangbai a wink. Zhangbai feels a bit helpless, sighing internally. I guess I'll just sleep on the couch. All right then. Seeing Zhangbai agree, Li Shiya can't help but feel a spark of joy. They take the room key and head up. Li Shiya says to him in a coquettish tone, Xiaobai's sister is going to shower first. Don't you dare peek. With that, Li Shiya walks into the bathroom with a light step. Zhangbai watches Li Shiya go, a slight smile forming on his lips. Zhangbai thinks about how he would never peek, considering himself a man of character. A moment later, the sound of running water echoes from the bathroom. The noise leaves Zhangbai feeling restless. He can't help but imagine Li Shiya in there, and a wave of heat surges through him. Just then, Zhangbai's phone pings. Checking the screen, it's a message from his mom. You brat, are you coming home tonight? Zhangbai replies, not tonight. Staying out with a friend. Not long after, Li Shiya pushes the door open and slowly steps out. Li Shiya is wearing a loose bathrobe that hangs off the shoulders, revealing a unique kind of charm. Wet hair cascades down like a waterfall, releasing a captivating scent, truly intoxicating. Zhangbai stares at the scene, eyes completely locked, unable to look away. Zhangbai could feel his heart hammering, threatening to burst right out of his chest as Li Shiya locked eyes with him. A sultry smile played on her lips. She moved with effortless grace, sitting beside him and reaching out with a slender hand. She traced circles on his chest, leaning in close until her lips brushed his ear, whispering, Does your big sister look good, little Bai? Zhangbai gulped, unable to look away from her. You look beautiful, he finally managed to stammer. Li Shiya laughed, a sound like clear silver bells. Her hand slid down to his waist. Zhangbai grew so tense he practically stopped breathing, keenly aware of how close she was. He could feel the warmth radiating off her. Suddenly, Li Shiya stood up, grabbed his hand, and led him toward the bed before giving him a gentle push. Zhangbai tumbled onto the mattress. She climbed up, straddling his waist and looking down at him. His pulse pounded against his ribs. Stunned and unsure of what to do, he stared up at her. Li Shiya just smiled, leaning back to his ear to murmur, So, little Bai, want to take things a step further? Zhangbai felt his. Before he could finish, Li Shiya traced a finger across his cheek, shattering his focus as her eyes burned with seduction. She whispered, Don't be nervous, little one. Big sister will take good care of you. Her lips brushed his forehead, then drifted slowly downward. Zhangbai started shaking uncontrollably. The next second, he gently pushed Li Shiya away, stood up and bolted into the bathroom, stripped off his clothes in seconds, and turned on the cold shower to try and cool down, while Li Shiya watched him scramble away. Qing Xiao was born, wondering how the little guy could be so shy. It wasn't his first time, after all. If Zhangbai heard that, things would get interesting. Anyone would be cursing under their breath. Was he doing this willingly? It was just Li Shiya taking advantage of the situation. He kicked the blankets aside. He rolled onto the bed and waited impatiently for Zhangbai to leave the bathroom. Shortly after, Zhangbai stepped out. His hair was still damp. Under Li Shiya's gaze, he looked away, acting a bit shy. He glanced at her on the bed and quickly averted his eyes. He sat on the sofa across the room. Li Shiya raised an eyebrow, patted the bed, and said, Hey Xiaobai, I saved a spot for you. Better hurry up and get to sleep. Was that actually just for sleep? Besides, with a man and a woman alone, who knows if they'd end up like before? Besides, they were still just trial dating. Wasn't things moving a bit too fast? Jiang Bai looked up, locking eyes with Li Shiya. He hesitated, offering, "I'll just take the couch." Li Shiya narrowed her eyes at him. "The couch is hard. Why would you want that? Besides, this bed is huge. Why don't you come up and sleep with your sister?" Jiang Bai stayed silent. "Stop being quiet. Xiao Bai Bai, I'm scared sleeping in such a big bed by myself. Please come up and keep me company. I promise I won't do anything else." Jiang Bai gave her a look that asked if she really expected him to believe that. Li Xia looked sincere. "I'm not lying to you." Jiang Bai remained quiet, but he felt his resolve wavering. After all, that night he was drunk. Everything that could happen between them already has. What's the worst that could happen? Might as well go for another round, especially since he blacked out last time and never got to enjoy it. "Seriously, Xia? You better not be lying to me." "Don't worry, I promise I'm not." Li Xia pulled back the covers and walked right up to Jiang Bai. Without a word, he grabbed her hand and led her toward the bed. Jiang Bai opened her mouth to protest, but in the end, she stayed silent. Reaching the bed, Jiang Bai quickly yanked the covers over herself and burrowed inside, hiding her entire head. Seeing this, he could only watch. Li Xia wanted to laugh. She asked, "You're planning on sleeping like that, without taking off your clothes?" Hearing her, Jiang Bai hesitated for a few seconds. With the rustling of blankets, he tossed his robe onto the sofa, and seeing that, Li Xia smirked as she slipped hers off. She was left in nothing but a bra and lace panties. She pulled back the blanket and slid next to Jiang Bai, whispering, "Good night, little Jiang Bai." The room plunged into total darkness with a soft click. Jiang Bai peeked out from under the covers. His nerves finally eased once the lights were out, but after several minutes, Jiang Bai noticed Li Xia hadn't made a single move. He had been bracing himself for anything, yet she was acting so reserved. It was strange. Had he been overthinking the whole situation? The very next second, he heard a slight rustle beside him. Before he could even react, he felt something happen. Powerful force gripped him from behind, pulling him into a tight embrace. He could clearly feel the soft, full weight of her chest, pressed firmly against his back, a sensation that sent his heart racing. So big, he thought to himself, stunned. A sudden stray thought crossed his mind. He wondered what it would actually feel like to touch her. That thought vanished as quickly as it came, replaced by the realization that her body temperature was burning hot, like a raging flame. The heat seeped through their thin clothing, radiating into his skin. Jiang Bai froze, his entire body stiff as a board, didn't dare move a muscle. After several long seconds, he finally managed to whisper, "Xia, what are you doing?" "We talked about this," he began, but Li Xia cut him off with a seductive hum. "Heh, little brother. Don't you know exactly what I want?" Her voice was like a spell, sending shivers straight through him. Jiang Bai bit his lip hard, struggled to keep his composure. "Please stop, I really need to sleep. Plus, we just got together. Isn't this moving a bit too fast?" Yet, his voice carried a tremor he couldn't hide. "Yeah? But Big Sister doesn't think it's fast at all. Don't worry, my little Bai. Focus on getting some sleep." Li Xia acted tough, but her hands never stopped, moving like quick, nimble snakes. Jiang Bai felt her hands working. A strange sensation washed over him. His body flared with heat, and his heart began to race. He tried to turn around to face her, but she seemed to anticipate it, pressing her body against him so he couldn't move. "Xia, you promised me you wouldn't do anything crazy." Jiang Bai's tone was laced with helplessness. Hearing this, Li Xia let out a soft, teasing laugh. A playful smirk hung on her beautiful face. "My little Bai, why are you so naive? Didn't your mother ever tell you not to trust beautiful women?" As she spoke, she pressed almost her entire body firmly against his. Her breathing grew shallow. Her eyes held an irresistible seductive glimmer as she lightly stroked his cheek. She whispered softly, "Little Bai, look at me. Don't you think I'm charming?" Faced with such blunt provocation, Jiang Bai felt speechless and overwhelmed. He decided to ignore her, squeezing his eyes shut to force himself to stay calm. But Li Xia had no intention of letting him off the hook. She stayed pressed against him, whispering intimate, racy words right into his ear. "You brat. If you don't say anything, I'm taking it as a yes." Jiang Bai remained silent, eyes still firmly closed. The next second, Li Xia's soft, damp lips, warm and gentle, landed directly on his. The faint sensation made him shudder. "Xia, you?" Jiang Bai snapped his eyes open. Li Xia looked up and chuckled. "Why aren't you pretending anymore?" Jiang Bai rolled his eyes at her. She was clearly doing this on purpose. She giggled and kissed him again. "Little Bai, does Big Sister want this?" Jiang Bai shuddered at her words, unsure how to answer. "You brat, it's not like we didn't do this the other night. You enjoyed it back then, didn't you?" At that, Jiang Bai's face flushed a deep red. He stammered, "Stop, stop, stop, don't say any more." The more Li Xia spoke, the more the memories of that night flooded Jiang Bai's mind. Although he had been drunk, still recall fragmented, blurry images. Just that was enough to leave him burning with embarrassment. "Little Bai, ready?" Li Shiya rubbed her cheek against his, her tone filled with coquettish coaxing. Zhang Bai exhaled and bit his lip, blurted out, "Wait, I'm worried you might get pregnant, so maybe we shouldn't, okay?" Li Shiya jumped up, reached into her bag and pulled out a box. You know the one. Zhang Bai sat there in stunned silence for a long time before finally saying, "No way. Shia, you're a girl. Why are you carrying that stuff around?" Heh, bought it this morning. Zhang Bai thought, "You've got to be kidding me." So she had been prepared all along. It was a calculated move. Since everything was ready, then so be it. She was going to be this bold. Would he still be a man if he just sat there and did nothing? Following Li Shiya's rapid fiery kisses raining down on him, Zhang Bai's body jolted as if struck by lightning. But he quickly recovered and began to respond. Li Shiya's lips were soft, warm, and carried a faint, alluring scent that made him lose himself. Zhang Bai's hands tightened around her shoulders, pulling her into his arms. "Shia, you're the one who started this. Don't blame me for what happens next." Zhang Bai swallowed hard, whispering into her ear with a deep, magnetic, masculine voice. "Big sister is ready. Come on." Li Xia's smile was filled with sly, seductive charm. Temperature in the room soared, as if the very air was becoming restless. The next second, the room was filled with sounds that couldn't be described. "Shia, I'm sorry." Because this was truly his first time, Zhang Bai was completely inexperienced. The last time didn't count. He'd been too drunk and completely out of it. "It's okay," she whispered. Intense, exhilarating battle lasted a long time. Afterward, Li Xia lay limp in Zhang Bai's arms, both body and mind feeling utterly satisfied. Zhang Bai looked down at her, the thought, "That was amazing, I want to do it again," flashing through his mind. Li Xia felt a surge of excitement mixed with a hint of shyness. Chapter 38, The Koala. Early the next morning, Zhang Bai drifted awake. He felt something heavy pressing on him. He looked down and saw Li Xia, clinging to him just like a koala. Sweet smile hung on her lips. Zhang Bai shook his head helplessly, though his own lips curled upward. He carefully reached for his phone on the nightstand. Checked the time. It was already past 10. Zhang Bai watched Li Xia, who was sleeping like a little pig, and couldn't bear to wake her. He tilted his head back, staring at the ceiling, lost in thought. Before long, Li Xia blinked and lifted her head, spotting Zhang Bai already awake. "Morning, little Bai." She stared at his face and flashed a sweet smile. "You're up? Get up and get ready. Let's go get breakfast," Zhang Bai said softly. "No way. Give big sister a kiss, then I'll get up." After saying that, Li Xia puckered her lips, leaning toward Zhang Bai. He looked at her tempting red lips, hesitated for a few seconds, then couldn't resist leaning down to kiss her. "All right, happy? Now get up." Li Xia nodded, looking completely blissful. Time to get up." She didn't forget to reach out and touch his abs. "Heh, little Bai. Your dad is kidding. He worked hard for those results." After freshening up, Li Xia walked to the balcony. She glanced at the hot springs, leaned toward Zhang Bai and purred, "Xiao Bai, it's still early. Let's go soak." Brushing his teeth, Zhang Bai looked at her and nodded. "Sure, you go ahead. I'll call the front desk to have them bring breakfast up." Seeing Zhang Bai agree, Li Xia couldn't resist planting a firm kiss on his cheek. "I knew my boyfriend was the best." Li Xia turned and bolted toward the outdoor spring. Boyfriend? Zhang Bai almost forgot they were still in a trial relationship. Wondering when they would make it official, he realized he wasn't the same guy he used to be. He actually wanted that day to come sooner. Not many days left now. Chuckled. Having a girlfriend was great. One word, amazing. Zhang Bai realized he was falling for Li Xia more every day. It used to be her making the moves, but now it was his turn. A plan for a surprise was already taking root in his mind. After soaking, the pair ate the breakfast delivered to the room and checked out. Leaving the hotel, the two of them strolled through the ancient town's matchmaking temple before hitting the road. Shortly after they started driving, Li Xia in the passenger seat hit by a wave of drowsiness. She let out a soft yawn and whispered, "Xia Bai's sister is a bit tired. Wake me up when we get there." He eased off the gas to keep the ride smooth. To ensure Li Xia could rest in peace, the car filled with a quiet atmosphere, save for the soft rumble of the engine and her gentle breathing. An hour later, Zhang Bai pulled up to their apartment complex and turned to watch Li Xia. His eyes were full of affection. He didn't want to wake her, preferring to let her sleep. He gazed at her beautiful face, then couldn't help but reach out to touch it. Suddenly, Li Xia's eyes fluttered open. She looked at Zhang Bai and curved her red lips. "Xia Bai, Xia, you're awake?" Li Xia nodded lazily, then unbuckled her seatbelt. Spoke softly. "Xiao Bai's sister is heading up now." Zhang Bai nodded. "All right, bye." Unexpectedly, seeing she made no move to get out, he asked, "Xia, did you need something else?" "Xiao Bai, won't you kiss your sister goodbye?" Zhang Bai was stunned by her request, then smiled. He leaned in and left a light kiss on her cheek. "Bye-bye, my boyfriend." Li Xia smiled in satisfaction and stepped out of the car. Watching her walk away, a wave of sweetness filled Zhang Bai. Meanwhile, Bai returned home only to find it empty. He called out into the living room, "Mom, Dad, I'm home." Bai waited, but got no response. Just as he headed for the stairs, Zhang Wangqing stepped out of her bedroom. "Hey, Brat, where were you all night?" Bai walked past her as if she weren't there. Annoyed, Zhang Wanqing whipped a slipper at him. "Talking to you. Are you mute? Why should I report to you? You're not my mom." Bai tossed that line over his shoulder and retreated into his room, leaving Zhang Wanqing stomping her feet in frustration. "You little, just you wait." Back in his room, Bai sat down to a notification from Li Shiya. "Magical girl. Hey, Bai, you home yet?" Bai, "Yeah, just got in, magical girl. Head pats." Seeing her handle was still her screen's name, Bai opened her contact info and started editing. A few seconds later, he stared at the name girlfriend on the chat screen with a grin. Suddenly, his phone blew up like it caught a virus. Notifications kept pinging, dozens of photos from the ancient town. Bai scrolled through them one by one. Reliving the time they spent together, his smile widened. He was completely lost in the moment. A knock at the door broke his trance. "Little brother, Mom says she and Dad aren't coming home tonight. We're on our own for dinner." Bai frowned. "Is Auntie Wang here? She took the day off to go home." "Got it?" he called out. Zhang Wanqing pouted, unhappy. She flopped onto her bed, bored out of her mind. Fidgeting with her phone, she had a sudden thought. Why not video call her bestie, Li Shiya? She tapped the screen. Li Shiya's face popped up, her voice melodic as ever. "Wanqing, what's up with the surprise call?" Zhang Wanqing groaned. "Surprise? You've been back for days and haven't sent me a single video." Li Xia laughed playfully. "Chi, I've just been so busy." Zhang Wanqing rolled her eyes. "Don't give me that. Think I don't know you? Tell me, are you secretly dating someone?" A flicker of panic crossed Li Xia's eyes, but she steadied herself instantly. Trying to act natural, she replied, "No way, you're just imagining things." Her voice, however, sounded shaky. "Really? You sound nervous to me." Zhang Wanqing narrowed her eyes, studying Li Xia's face on the screen. "Come on. You know me, Wanqing. If I were seeing someone, I'd tell you first." Zhang Wanqing paused. That sounded right. "Fine, I'll let it slide." On the other end, Li Xia let out a breath of relief. That was close. If she found out I was dating Bai, she'd probably hunt us down. Chapter 39. Please behave. Before they knew it, the 7th day of the holiday had arrived. Today, Bai was returning to Modu with Li Xia. Bai dragged his luggage out of his room, but as he glanced at the living room, he nearly dropped the handle. Li Xia was sitting on the couch, chatting happily with his sister. Oh my god. Didn't she say she'd wait at the gate? How did she get inside? Bai panicked, silently praying his sister wouldn't notice anything suspicious. Forced himself down the stairs. Maybe it was his guilt, but his steps felt heavy, like he was stomping with every move. When he reached the bottom, Li Xia just turned and smiled gently at him, staying silent. Zhang Wanqing noticed. "Hey, little bro, Xia already told me. You two are heading back to school together, right?" Bai's heart skipped a beat, but he nodded calmly. "Yeah." He hoped Xia hadn't spilled the beans about their relationship. As he spiraled, Li Xia took advantage of Zhang Wanqing, grabbing her car keys, skipping over to Bai like a deer, stood on her tiptoes, light as a butterfly, and caught Bai completely off guard, planting a quick kiss on his cheek. Bai froze, his eyes wide with shock. "Xia, we're at my place. What if my sister sees us?" Chi she didn't, did she? Li Xia winked playfully. Bai was speechless, didn't know how to handle this mischievous woman. Just then, Zhang Wanqing returned with the keys. She broke the tension. "Let's go. I'll drop you two at the airport." They followed her to the garage. Bai stayed on edge the whole drive. Zhang Wanqing opened the doors for them. As the car pulled away, Bai and Li Shiya sat in the back, whispering. Zhang Wanqing watched them in the rearview mirror. Something felt off. Soon they reached the airport. Bai and Li Shiya stepped out to say goodbye. "Travels. Call me when you get to Modu," Zhang Wanqing insisted. "Will do." "Bye, Wanqing," they said in unison. As soon as she drove off, Li Xia couldn't wait any longer. Li Xia linked her arm with Bai, and the two walked shoulder to shoulder toward the airport entrance. Inside the cabin, she quickly pulled something from her bag. She took out a sleek camera, aimed it excitedly at herself and Bai, and chirped, "Little Bai, look at the lens." Hearing her, Bai turned his head naturally. Their eyes met, and a soft smile crossed his face. He looked up, facing the camera with effortless confidence. Then a crisp click echoed as the camera captured the perfect moment. Li Xia studied the photo on the screen, her lips curling into a smile. She turned toward Bai. She whispered to him, "You're so cute." Bai couldn't help but shake his head. Smirk tugged at his lips. He instinctively reached out, pinched her soft cheek, and replied gently, "Not as cute as you are, Xia." Speaking, he looked up, their gazes locking once more. Both laughed. A sweet, warm air hung between them. She teased, "You sure have a sweet mouth, you little troublemaker." Outside the girls' dormitory at Modu University, Zhangbai handed her the luggage and said, Shiya, you should head up now. I need to get back to my dorm too. Burn. Hearing this, Li Shiya bit her lip. She put on a pouty face and whined. But do you really have to leave me already? Watching her adorable expression, Zhang Bai felt his heart melt. He stepped forward and gently ruffled her hair, said softly, Shiya, be good. Listen to me and go up. It won't be good if someone sees us. Let them see. I'm not afraid, Li Shiya grumbled, her eyes turning slightly red. She looked like she might cry. Zhang Bai thought, I'm not afraid, but I am. He had no desire to end up on the school forums again. Zhang Bai looked at her helplessly, his heart full of affection. Please just listen. How about this? Fine. Give me a kiss and I'll go up. Li Shiya pretended to agree reluctantly, but the corners of her mouth flickered upward. Her eyes sparkled with mischief and expectation. She waited for his move. Zhang Bai finally caught on. This guy, she had been leading him on the whole time. He scanned the area cautiously. Once sure they were alone, he let his guard down. He leaned in slowly, his eyes filled with a mix of nerves and desire. As their lips were about to touch, Zhang Bai paused. He took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. Finally, he committed, leaning down to press his lips against her red ones. Seeing him take the bait, Li Shiya felt a thrill. Her hands rose silently to wrap around his neck, pulling him even closer. Felt his breath against her skin, her heart racing. The kiss was light, yet heavy with infinite tenderness and love. Afterward, Zhang Bai helped her with her luggage to the dorm door. Li Shiya looked back at him, her eyes shining with love. I'm heading in now, Shiya, Zhang Bai said with a smile. Okay, bye, she replied softly, then slowly closed the door. Watching the door click shut, Zhang Bai felt a pang of loneliness, but he quickly composed himself and walked away. The afternoon campus was quiet. As he walked back, every moment he'd just spent with Li Shiya replayed in his mind. He knew his feelings for her were growing deeper by the second. The 40th photo, her long, slender legs. Back at the boys' dorm, Zhang Bai opened the door, found that besides Lin Zixuan, the other two roommates hadn't arrived yet. Hey, Four Eyes, isn't your home here in Modu? Why are you back so early? Zhang Bai asked while putting down his luggage. Lin Zixuan tossed him a soda, waved a hand, and looked utterly defeated. Don't ask. My dad married off his new girlfriend behind my back, and she brought her own daughter along. Too much drama for me. So I just moved back into the dorm. Zhang Bai rubbed his nose awkwardly, saying, Sorry to hear that, man. Lin Zixuan shrugged. I'm used to it. Lin Zixuan suddenly smirked and asked, What about you? Any progress with the school goddess Li? Zhang Bai hesitated for a moment. Since their relationship would go public eventually, he scratched his head and admitted, We're dating, but it's still in the experimental phase. Lin Zixuan's eyes went wide. He blurted out, No way, nice one, Bai. Expected of you, locking down the campus queen so fast. Zhang Bai laughed. What do you mean? It's more like she locked me down. Kept that thought to himself, though. Lin Zixuan leaned in with a sleazy grin, gossiping. Hey, Bai, tell me how it happened. Was it you or her who made the first move? Come on, tell me. Zhang Bai looked at Lin Zixuan buzzing around him like a fly. He rolled his eyes, unimpressed. Drop it, man. I don't even remember. Around 10 that night, just as Zhang Bai climbed into bed, a voice message popped up from Li Shiya. My dear little Bai. You never messaged me first. Do you not love me anymore? Hearing her voice, Zhang Bai couldn't help but smile. He replied, You've got me wrong. I was just busy and forgot, but I was about to text you when your message came through. Over in the girls' dorm, Li Shiya read his text and pouted playfully. You better be telling the truth. Suddenly, a mischievous thought crossed her mind. She pulled back her quilt and took a video of her own long, white, shapely legs. She sent the alluring video to Zhang Bai immediately. He saw the notification and opened it without a second to waste. Suddenly, his eyes widened. It was like he'd seen something impossible, and his face flared hot. His heart hammered against his ribs. He scrambled to kill the video, but he couldn't calm down. Damn it, Zhang Bai muttered to himself, heart racing. Shiya is clearly messing with me. He never expected a video like that from Li Shiya. It was intense. Zhang Bai took deep breaths. Trying to steady his pulse, he knew she was teasing him on purpose, but his mind spiraled anyway. Then, another message from Li Shiya. So, how are my legs? Zhang Bai's hand shook, his phone nearly hit the floor. Wait, why am I nervous? Shiya is my girlfriend now. He smiled and typed back. Beautiful. Too bad I can't touch them. Li Shiya replied with a shy emoji. Zhang Bai smirked. You know what they say, women love a bad boy. Ugh, you're annoying. Li Shiya shot back. Zhang Bai laughed. Their daily routine was always full of surprises. 8 a.m. sharp the next morning. Zhang Bai woke up, changed, and headed to the bathroom to wash up. After finishing, he glanced at Lin Zixuan, who was still asleep, shook his head, and headed out the door. He was headed to the women's dorm to pick up Li Shiya for breakfast. Meanwhile, Li Shiya was finishing her makeup. She grabbed her bag and reached the door, only to bump into Chao Yanshin hauling a suitcase inside. Shiya, where are you going this early? Chao Yanshin asked. Breakfast, Li Shiya replied, slipping past her. Qianqian muttered to herself, dressing up that nice just for breakfast? Something's up. I have to see what this is about. Qianqian dropped her luggage and jogged out after her. By now, Zhang Bai was already waiting outside. Every girl walking by couldn't help but sneak a peek. Pleasantly, a girl with a suitcase walked up, tapped his shoulder and said, "Hey, Zhang Bai. What are you up to?" Zhang Bai turned around. She looked familiar, but he couldn't quite place her. She looked at his confused face and added, "I'm Lin Shu from your finance class." Recognition clicked. Zhang Bai nodded. "Oh, hey, Lin, need something?" Lin Shu smiled. "No, just happened to see you. Are you waiting for someone?" Zhang Bai said yes. Li Shiya stormed out of the dorm building, spotted the girl next to him, and immediately frowned. Well, trying to flirt behind my back, little brother? Let's see how I handle you." Li Shiya walked over, hooked her arm through his, and glared at Lin Shui. "Little Bai, who's this?" Sensing the hostility, Lin Shui understood the situation perfectly. Before Zhang Bai could speak, "Lin Shuli, nice to meet you. We're in the same class. I was just saying hi. Don't get the wrong idea." "Is that so, little Bai?" Li Xia stared at him, her expression clearly saying, "You better explain this. Otherwise, you're in trouble." Zhang Bai nodded obediently. "Shall we get breakfast?" "I'm starving," Li Xia pouted. "Sure," Zhang Bai laughed. The two walked away, leaving Lin Shua standing there watching them go. Chao Yanxin had seen the whole thing and was stunned. "Whoa, Xia is moving fast. She actually landed the freshman? No wonder she was acting so mysterious. She didn't even tell me." Chapter 41, Public Display of Affection. When Zhang Bai and Li Xia walked into the cafeteria holding hands, everyone froze. The guys' hearts collectively shattered. No way, what am I seeing? Like the Ice Queen goddess is actually holding hands with a guy? I'm going back to the countryside. Isn't that the freshman who was rumored to be with her? So the gossip was true after all. News that Li Xia was holding hands with a freshman spread across the school forum in minutes. Zhang Bai felt the murderous glares of every guy in the room and simply ignored them. "What are you looking at? You think I chose this? She's the one who won't stop flirting with me. I can't help it. She's just too good at it." They grabbed soy milk, dough sticks, buns, and eggs, then sat down. Li Xia took a bite of her bun, then, under the watchful eyes of the entire cafeteria, she held it out to Zhang Bai. "Little Bai, have a bite of my bun," she said softly. Zhang Bai blushed. This was public, but seeing her expectant look, he took a bite. "Good?" she asked with a smile. Zhang Bai nodded. "Yeah, it's great. My heart can't take it. The bun doesn't even taste good anymore. When did the goddess get this proactive? I'm reporting this cafeteria for excessive public displays of affection." Li Xia just smiled, eating and drinking. She kept casting affectionate glances at Zhang Bai. "Xia, here's an egg." He peeled it and held it out. She opened her mouth to take a bite. Li Xia cooed, begging for another bite while calling him her little baby. Zhang Bai felt like shouting to the world, "Could you handle a girlfriend like this?" After a pause, Zhang Bai fed her right in front of everyone. She chirped, "This is so good." She looked satisfied, asking for more. Nearby, the guys watching her act cute in broad daylight felt like their hearts were breaking. Some guys couldn't help but gripe. How could anyone take this? They just wanted a simple lunch. What did they do to deserve this? This guy saved the galaxy in his past life? After eating, they strolled across campus hand in hand. It was the first day back, so the campus was packed. Every student who walked by caught sight of the ice-cold goddess Li Xia. Watching them hold hands, some guys were so stunned they literally walked straight into trees without even noticing. "Any plans today, little baby?" Li Xia asked. Zhang Bai thought for a second and replied, "Not really. But our advisor is doing roll call this afternoon." "All right, I'll come find you after class," she said with a sweet smile. Zhang Bai dropped Li Xia off at her dorm and headed back to his own. He found Lin Zixuan finally awake, tossed the breakfast he'd packed at the cafeteria onto the desk. Lin Zixuan shot him a grin and started wolfing it down. Zhang Bai couldn't help but think, "Can you eat slower? No one's going to steal it. You look like you're starving." Then the door kicked open. Liu Yu and Wang Hu stomped in with their luggage, shouting, "Hey, you love birds. Been a few days. We missed you guys." Lin Zixuan retorted with a laugh. Suddenly, the mood shifted. Liu Yu looked like he'd been struck by lightning. He yelled, "Wait, Bai, you really walked to the cafeteria holding Li Xia's hand? Does this mean you two are actually together?" Wang Hu rushed over, staring at a photo on the school forum. Blurted out, "No way, it's real. My eyes can't handle this level of exposure." Zhang Bai felt a bit sheepish and gave a nod. Liu Yu didn't waste a second. He grabbed Zhang Bai in a headlock, laughing. "Good for you, Bai. You hid this from us this whole time? That's not cool. Don't you even think of us as brothers?" Zhang Bai held up his hands. "Wait, hold on. That's not it. I was going to tell you today anyway. Who knew you guys would find out so fast? Fine, we'll let it slide. But tell us, when did you guys even get together?" Liu Yu let go, rubbing his chin. First day of break, Zhang Bai answered honestly. So tell us, who made the first move? Wang Hu chimed in, gossiping. Xia did, Zhang Bai said, looking a little embarrassed. Lu Yu laughed. I knew it. Who would have thought the campus queen would be the one to ask you out? Zhang Bai thought to himself, that's just the Li Shiya you see. To him, she was a total siren. To celebrate being the first in room 606 to get a girlfriend, they planned a group dinner. Zhang Bai relayed the plan to Li Shiya and she agreed immediately. Meanwhile, back at the girls' dorm, she was surrounded. The moment she stepped inside, her 3 roommates swarmed her. Spill it. When did you and the freshmen get together? Qiao Yanxing demanded, hands on her hips. Others nodded, staring her down. Li Shiya lifted her chin, acting coy. Back during the break, she turned red as she recounted what happened. Her roommates erupted into cheers. Shiya, I didn't know you had it in you, making the first move. That freshman isn't going anywhere now. Then, in the boys' dorm, the guys finished cleaning up. Checking the time, they headed to class for roll call. The advisor started calling names minutes later. Zhang Bai sat there, chin in his hands, listening idly. When his name was called, he answered. Everyone turned to look. Is that the guy who held hands with Li Shiya? Guy is a legend. He's the hero of every freshman on this campus. A freshman dating a junior goddess? That's the dream right there. A girl murmured, looking completely love-struck. Once the roll call ended, the room cleared out. Some went to eat, others to meet their girlfriends. Zhang Bai and his roommates waited until the crowd thinned before standing up to leave. But the moment Zhang Bai stepped out the door, a figure darted out from the side, blocked their path. It was Li Shiya, wearing a mischievous grin. Hey, little baby, your girlfriend is here to pick you up. Zhang Bai froze. It took him a few seconds to process what just happened, and he finally snapped back to reality. Looking at the eccentric girl in front of him, he felt a mix of resignation and amusement. Guys, you go ahead without me. Zhang Bai hadn't finished his sentence before his 3 roommates cut him off. We get it, we get it. Go on, go enjoy your date with Li Xiaohua. Chuckled and quickly cleared out, leaving Zhang Bai and Li Xia alone. Xia, when did you get here? You really startled me just now. Zhang Bai scratched his head with a sheepish grin. Wait, was it just now? Xia stepped forward and linked her arm through his. You didn't come out for ages, so I thought I'd surprise you. Zhang Bai laughed. Surprise? More like a scare. The two walked hand in hand across campus until they found a park bench and sat down. So, Xiaobai, Li Xia asked, looking bashfully at him as she leaned her head onto his broad shoulder. Her hair fell like a waterfall, releasing a faint scent that left Zhang Bai feeling slightly intoxicated. We're a couple, obviously. Zhang Bai answered softly, turning to gaze at her beautiful moving face. His eyes were full of affection. So are we just dating for now, or is this the real deal? Li Xia blinked her expressive eyes. She tilted her head playfully and asked. Zhang Bai flashed a smirk and teased, What do you think? She couldn't believe he was playing coy. I want to hear you say it, she said, twisting her body and pouting. She gave his sleeve a gentle tug, acting like she was pouting. Watching his girlfriend so cute in that moment, a wave of tenderness washed over him. He pulled her into his arms. Xia, we're definitely an official couple. I like you. I want to keep walking this path with you. Hearing this, a happy smile bloomed on Li Shiya's face. After all that effort, the brat was finally hers. She hugged him tight, savoring his warmth and the strength of his love. In that moment, she felt like the luckiest woman in the world. Late that night, Li Shiya took a box from her bag, ducked into the bathroom and locked the door, muttering to herself, I wonder if I'm really pregnant. She pulled a pregnancy test from the box. She'd bought it because her period was late and she was starting to worry. Was she actually pregnant? A few minutes later, she stared at the stick, seeing one faint line. Her racing heart finally slowed. Phew, not pregnant. I knew it. How could it happen on the first try? Must have been overthinking. 2 days later, her period arrived right on time. Over the weekend, the 606 dorm gang held a hot pot dinner to celebrate Zhang Bai's new relationship. Soon, under the watchful eyes of Lin Zixuan and the others, Zhang Bai arrived holding Li Xia's hand. Hey guys, I brought you all milk tea. Hope you like these flavors. She set the drinks on the table. They all nodded, thrilled. This was the legendary cold goddess of the school. Getting tea from her was a rare privilege. They didn't care about the flavor. Plus, Zhang Bai was picking up the tab for the hot pot, so who were they to complain? Once they were seated, the waiter brought the menu. Lin Zixuan handed it to Zhang Bai. Brother Bai, let your girlfriend order first. Li Shiya felt incredibly happy being called sister-in-law by his roommates. His friends are pretty smooth, she thought. Zhang Bai took the menu from Lin Zixuan's teasing hands and passed it to her with a gentle smile. Xia, order whatever you want. She scanned the menu, picked a few things they both loved, and handed it back. Done. Let your roommates pick their favorites now. They ordered, and the food arrived in minutes. Hot pot places are fast. Once the table was full, everyone picked up their chopsticks. started cooking in silence. The atmosphere felt a bit awkward, especially for Lin Zixuan and the guys. By contrast, Zhang Bai was completely soaked in Li Shiya's constant care and attention. Barely noticed the complex mix of envy and jealousy swirling around the single guys at the table. Xiaobai, open wide, I'll feed you this delicious beef, Xiaobai. Try this fresh tripe. Beef roll is great, I'll cook some for you. Lin Zixuan and the others watched her dote on him. They were baffled. Wasn't Li Shiya supposed to be the legendary ice-cold school goddess? She looked nothing like that now. Watching her act so submissive and sweet was a total shock. Were all the rumors about her fake? Zhang Bai kept hearing his good brothers teasing him, especially every time she called him Xiaobai. Every time those three would let out muffled laughs. He knew they were watching, even if they looked down. But over time, hearing Xiaobai started to make his face flush. This couldn't go on. It was time to get Shiya to call him something else. Suddenly breaking the silence, Lu Yu spoke up. Li, I heard from Brother Bai that you're best friends with his older sister. Doesn't that make things complicated? We're all curious. How did you fall for him? Zhang Bai subconsciously looked over at Li Shiya. He was honestly curious, too. Why did she like him? Before college, they'd barely met more than a few times. Zhang Bai couldn't quite wrap his head around it. What had he actually done to win Li Shiya over? Li Shiya touched her lips, lost in thought. She stayed silent for a few seconds before saying, Honestly, I don't even know why I fell for him. Her gaze drifted, as if she were looking back at the past. Maybe it was his smile. It was just so warm. Anyway, I just really like him. As she said this, a small smile appeared on Li Shiya's face. Zhang Bai stared at her, stunned. He had no idea he was seen in such a light. Lu Yuze jumped in, teasing, Wow, so Brother Bai is a softie? I never noticed. All right. Eat your food and be quiet. Zhang Bai couldn't help but blush, firing back, Senior Li, since you like him so much. Why didn't you tell him sooner? You two could have been together ages ago, Lin Zixuan asked, clearly curious. Li Shiya thought for a moment and laughed. There were reasons. For one, he's my best friend's little brother. Just a kid back then, and I didn't want to overwhelm him. Plus, there's a more important reason. Li Shiya glanced at Zhang Bai, gave a helpless smile and continued. He was hung up on someone else for years. His sister told me that a long time ago. Been into her even longer than I'd been into him. So I figured I'd just keep my feelings buried and watch over him quietly. But then he came to college, and I saw him get rejected. That was my opening, so I decided to go all in. Her tone was earnest, yet relaxed. As her voice trailed off in the private room, the entire space felt suffocated by an invisible force, falling into a chilling silence. Zhang Bai, sitting nearby, trembled slightly as he heard her words. Pressed his lips together, a surge of indescribable pain rising in his chest. He never imagined Shiya felt so deeply for him. How had he missed it all this time? If it weren't for this gathering, he might never have known. And what's more, if he had succeeded with Su Qianqian, she would have kept her feelings to herself forever. If Su Qianqian couldn't cherish him, then he would be the one to love, cherish, and value her. Right then and there, Zhang Bai could no longer contain surging emotions. He reached out under the table and gently took Shia's soft hand. A second later, their eyes locked. Zhang Bai gave her a subtle smile. Everything was understood without a single word. After leaving the hot pot restaurant, group arrived back at the school gates. Lin Zixuan and the others took off toward the boys' dorms, while Zhang Bai held Li Shiya's hand, walking slowly toward the girls' dormitory. Neither said a word on the way. They just quietly enjoyed the peace and each other's company. Finally, they reached the dorm entrance. Zhang Bai stopped, turned, and looked deep into Li Shiya's eyes, trying to etch her image into his soul. Shiya, Zhang Bai said softly, his voice slightly trembling, from today on. I, Zhang Bai, swear that I will only ever love you. No matter what challenges come, I will firmly guard your side. Forever. His gaze was so sincere and tender that Li Shiya was deeply moved. She smiled, reaching out to gently touch his face. Little Bai, I believe you. I'll be by your side too. Support you, encourage you, and we'll work hard together to create our future. Hearing that, a happy smile broke across Zhang Bai's face. He nodded firmly and tightened his grip on her hand as if proving his resolve. In that moment, their eyes met and their hearts connected. Zhang Bai looked at her alluring red lips. Unable to help himself, leaned in to kiss her. He gently tasted her sweetness. Li Shiya didn't pull away. She wrapped her arms around his neck and deepened the kiss. As soon as Zhang Bai returned to his room, his three roommates started teasing him. Little Bai, you're so cute. Your big sister loves you so much. Come here, let me feed you. Zhang Bai was exasperated, ready to teach them a lesson, but they dodged him with surprising agility. Brother Bai, honestly, we're genuinely happy for you two. Yeah, Brother Bai, you and Senior Li are a perfect match. Zhang Bai smiled at their well wishes, sat down in his chair, and moments later a video call from Li Shiya popped up. Little Bai, did you get back to your room? Now, what are you up to, Shiya? Taking off my makeup. Hey, Brother Bai, you two only just parted ways, already being lovey-dovey again? Lu Yu glanced at Zhang Bai, poking fun at him. Zhang Bai turned beet red and laughed. Get lost! After chatting with Li Shiya for a while longer, he hung up and headed to the shower. Before bed, Li Shiya sent a message. Girlfriend here, little Bai, your big sister is going to sleep. Good night, Zhang Bai. A thought suddenly popped into Zhang Bai's head, so he quickly sent a reply. Shiya, can we discuss something? Girlfriend here, what is it, little Bai? Could you maybe stop calling me Little Bai from now on? Can we find a different nickname, girlfriend? Why? Do you not like it when I call you that? Zhang Bai explained. It's not that. It just feels a bit strange. Thinking back to 3 single guys calling him Little Bai made him cringe. Girlfriend. Oh, I see. Then how about this? Li Shiya told Zhang Bai to pick a nickname, either baby or hubby. When Zhang Bai saw the text, his heart skipped a beat, though he thought, honestly, anything is better than that. Deep down, a small wave of emotion hit him, but he immediately thought, geez, those names are way worse than just calling me Little Bai. Zhang Bai messaged back, asking if he could choose neither, but Li Shiya insisted, leaving him no other option. She declared she was calling him hubby from now on. Zhang Bai's eyes widened as he panicked. Why was she playing by her own rules? He sighed in frustration, thinking this was a disaster. He pleaded, let's just stick with Little Bai. She agreed to keep hubby for private moments only. When she sent a text calling him hubby, Zhang Bai felt a rush of heat. Face flushed red, feeling both flustered and helpless. Li Shiya then asked him to pick a new nickname for her too. She felt Sister Shiya sounded too distant. Zhang Bai fell into deep thought, finding all the usual names like Yo-Yo or Shiya far too plain. Felt those names were a bit too cheesy. He asked her, then what should I call you? Back in her dorm, Li Shiya smiled, a playful glint in her eyes. She sent back a mischievous reply. Obviously, you should call me wifey. Zhang Bai was stunned, but wanting to keep her happy, he bit the bullet and agreed. She chirped, good boy, call me that so I can hear it. Zhang Bai hesitated for a moment before slowly typing the word out. He sent wifey. The next second, Li Shiya sent a voice message. Wifey said, hubby, you're such a good boy. Listening to her voice, Zhang Bai's face turned bright red. He shoved his phone under his pillow, his heart racing. Chapter 44, The Silver Jewelry Shop. The sun was shining brightly, and Zhang Bai happily packed his things, ready to spend a wonderful day with Li Shiya. Just as he looked up, he saw Lu Yu storm in, panting for air. Without a word, Lu Yu grabbed the cola Lin Zixuan had just opened, started gulping it down greedily. Lin Zixuan stared at him in disbelief, his face showing a mix of annoyance and resignation. Damn it, Liu Yu, Lin Zixuan shouted, his voice laced with frustration. That was my fresh cola. I hadn't even taken a sip. Yet, Liu Yu seemed completely oblivious to his own rudeness. He smacked his lips in satisfaction and laughed, telling Lin Zixuan, haha, sorry bro, I was just too thirsty. I couldn't help myself. Lin Zixuan rolled his eyes and shook his head helplessly. He was irritated, but he knew this was just how Liu Yu was, and they were close friends anyway. He wouldn't stay mad for long. Fine, whatever, just give it back, Lin Zixuan said, reaching out to reclaim his drink. Liu Yu chuckled and handed over the remainder of the cola. Don't be such a cheapskate. I'll buy you something good to make up for it later. At the mention of food, Lin Zixuan's mood brightened instantly. That's more like it. He gathered the guys around and said, by the way, I just walked past the counselor's office and heard there's a basketball tournament coming up. Should our dorm sign up? We have to, Lin Zixuan said confidently. A tournament like that, we can grab first place easily. Sounds good. Count me in, Zhang Bai added after a moment of thought. Zhang Bai had always loved basketball and was even on his high school team. Jia Yi and Wang Hu chimed in to agree as well. Meanwhile, Li Shiya stood by the entrance to the boys' dorm, motionless like a statue. A light breeze brushed against her face, stirring a few stray locks of her hair. Her hair danced in the wind like little elves, softly grazing her fair skin. Seeing this, Zhang Bai's heart skipped a beat yet again. He took a deep breath to steady himself before walking toward her. When he reached her side, he gave a gentle smile and asked, what are you thinking about, standing there so lost? Li Shiya let out a soft gasp. She had clearly been startled by his sudden appearance and, thinking it was just another guy trying to hit on her, prepared to move away. Seeing it was Zhang Bai, she sighed in relief. Still, she felt a bit annoyed and playfully pounded her little fists against his chest. Little Bai, why do you walk so silently? You scared me, she teased, her tone full of mock resentment. Zhang Bai took her hand in his and gave it a light squeeze, smiling as he comforted her. All right, that's my fault. Sorry about that. Li Shiya pouted and pointed to her cheek with a mischievous sparkle in her eyes. Zhang Bai smiled indulgently, leaning in to leave a light kiss on her cheek. The other guys walking in and out of the dorm saw the scene and couldn't help but curse under their breath. It was too much. They couldn't stand being treated like single-dog casualties like this. Afterward, Li Shiya held Zhang Bai's hand and they caught a cab to a handmade silver jewelry shop. They planned to craft a unique piece of jewelry for each other today. The shop was already bustling with other couples. Staff member greeted them warmly. You two look so good together, she noted. Thank you, Zhangbai and Li Shiya replied with smiles. We have a reservation. The name is Li. The clerk nodded. Got it, let me check that for you. A few seconds later, she looked back up at them. Two met at the school gate and grabbed a cab to a handmade silver shop. Today, they were going to craft a unique piece of jewelry for each other. The shop was filled with other couples. The clerk greeted them with immediate enthusiasm. You two make such a lovely couple. Thank you, Li Shiya and Zhang Bai smiled. We have a reservation. The name is Li. Got it. Let me check, beautiful. A few seconds later, the clerk looked up. She smiled and gestured for them to follow. Right this way, you two. The clerk led them to a workbench by the window. Here are all the silver styles, materials, and tools you'll need. Just ask if you need help. Thank you, it's my job. Zhang Bai and Li Shiya picked their designs and sat down to work. Shiabai, have you ever made silver jewelry with another girl before? Of course not. This is my first time. It's sister's first time too. This is our first piece together. Sister has to document this. Li Xia pulled out her camera, set it on the table, and hit record. She captured the sweet moment they began crafting their first piece. Zhang Bai carefully polished the silver sheet, engraving Li Xia's name in a heart. He was making a one-of-a-kind necklace for her. Meanwhile, Li Xia was weaving silver wire, threading on a tiny crystal. She wanted to make a bracelet for Zhang Bai. Before they knew it, hours had passed. Their works took shape. Zhang Bai took the necklace he made, walked over to Li Xia, and gently put it on her. Held her hand and asked, "Do you like it?" I love it." Li Xia nodded happily. She kissed Zhang Bai voluntarily. "As long as you like it." Watching her smile, Zhang Bai felt pure happiness. Then, Li Xia placed the bracelet she crafted onto Zhang Bai's wrist. "This is our promise token. You have to wear it always." Li Xia looked at him lovingly. Zhang Bai nodded and squeezed her hand tight. Leaving the shop, it was already dark. Zhang Bai and Li Xia walked hand in hand, bathed in the evening twilight. Strolling down the street, Li Xia suddenly stopped, her eyes fixed on a bridal shop window. Stood still, gazing at the rows of beautiful white wedding dresses, a faint smile on her lips. Her eyes shimmered with longing and hope. "Xiaobai, tell me, when will I be able to wear a wedding dress like that?" "Ah," he murmured, as if asking himself or perhaps Zhang Bai nearby. Zhang Bai immediately sensed that Li Xia was acting strange. Following his gaze, he immediately understood what was on his mind. He sensed his hunger for the future, but also saw the deep tenderness and romance within. Gently squeezed his hand, looking at him softly, and said slowly, "Xia, if you are willing, you can have it any time. You are the most important person in my life. I want to give you a bright future and see you in the most beautiful wedding dress. Be the happiest bride." Hearing these words, a warm current surged in Li Xia's heart, and her eyes grew moist. "Thank you, Xiao Bai Bai," she said, moved. "I believe we will have that day." Zhang Bai smiled and nodded, pulled her into his arms, feeling their mutual warmth. Chapter 45. Zhang Bai is injured. Li Xia took Zhang Bai to her favorite intestine noodle shop. It looked humble from the outside, but the interior decor was actually quite beautiful. Atmosphere was quiet, and there were plenty of people. As soon as they entered, a chubby woman saw Li Xia and rushed over enthusiastically. "Xia, you haven't been to Auntie's shop in ages. Been too busy dating to remember me, huh?" Their interaction made it clear that Li Xia was a regular here. This shop was called Fatty Auntie's Intestine Noodles, and the owner was that very woman. Her last name was Li. Hearing Li Xia's response, she shifted her gaze to the man beside her, her eyes lighting up. "So this handsome young man is Xia's boyfriend then?" Yes, Auntie." Zhang Bai nodded, feeling a bit shy. Auntie Li laughed. "Xia always came with her girlfriends before. This is the first time she's brought a boyfriend." Hearing this, Zhang Bai blushed, offering an awkward smile. That simple, innocent look alone made Auntie Li take an immediate liking to him. Two were guided to an empty table. Auntie Li looked at Li Xia and asked, "Xia, the usual?" "Yes, Auntie, but from now on, make it 2 servings." As she spoke, Li Xia glanced at Zhang Bai, smiling. Before long, 2 fragrant bowls of noodles, served by Auntie Li. "Enjoy your meal, you two. I have to get back to work." "Thank you, Auntie." Li Xia smiled. "Honey, try it. Let me tell you, Auntie Li's intestine noodles are absolutely incredible." Li Xia watched him with anticipation, her eyes sparking with excitement. Hearing this, Zhang Bai gently stirred the noodles to coat them in sauce. He lifted a bite, took a small taste, and nodded with satisfaction. Delicious, Xia. You should eat too." Hearing him say that, Li Xia pouted in mock anger. She huffed, "Hey, didn't we agree you'd call me wifey when we're alone? Why are you back to calling me Xia?" She turned away, pretending to ignore him. Zhang Bai saw this and quickly set down his chopsticks. He walked over to her side and whispered, "Wifey, I'm sorry. Don't be mad, okay?" A smile tugged at the corner of Li Shiya's mouth, but she kept up the act. Well, will you call me Shiya again? No, never again. Zhang Bai promised quickly. Li Shiya finally turned around, looked at him playfully, and said, I'll let it slide. Sit down and eat. But they returned to their seats to finish their meal. Li Shiya watched Zhang Bai as she ate, her heart overflowing with happiness. Before they knew it, it was late November. As soon as class ended, Zhang Bai followed his roommates to the court for practice. The four of them had passed the trials to become the starters for the finance department's basketball team, so they trained every afternoon. It wasn't long, just 2 hours. Aside from Zhang Bai's group, there were a few others from various finance classes there too. The tournament only a few days away. Scheduled for next Monday and Tuesday, the team had been training intensely. Zhang Bai and the finance team were currently playing a scrimmage against the computer science department. On the sidelines, Li Shiya was holding a water bottle, cheering loudly for Zhang Bai. The scene sparked jealousy in quite a few of the other boys. Finance team, led by the chemistry between Zhang Bai and Liu Yu, was dominating the court. Plus, with Li Shiya, campus goddess and famously cold beauty, cheering for him, Zhang Bai felt unstoppable. Every three-pointer he took hit the mark. Not long after, a boy on the opposing team glared at Zhang Bai with a vicious look. Clearly, he was harboring malicious thoughts. He was incredibly jealous of Zhang Bai. How could everyone's goddess willingly be his girlfriend? Seeing her cheer for Zhang Bai made his blood boil, which is why he decided to play dirty. Lin Zixuan passed the ball to Zhang Bai. The moment Zhang Bai caught the ball and prepared to drive, that boy charged at him, using the defense as an excuse. Slammed into Zhang Bai with full force, knocking him to the floor. A second later, the boy waved his hands as if he were innocent. Then he shouted at Zhang Bai, Hey, do you even know how to play ball? Zhang Bai had been moving fast to drive past him, and since the other boy had rushed in to defend, it looked to any outsider like Zhang Bai had intentionally collided with him. Seeing Zhang Bai go down, Li Shiya rushed toward him with a panicked expression. She reached his side and cried out, Shio Bai. Are you okay? Where did you get hit? Let me see. I'm fine. Don't worry, Shiya. Zhang Bai's face showed pain, but he tried to act like it was nothing to keep her calm. No way. You're bleeding and you still tried to hide it? No way. We're going to the infirmary right now. Li Shiya helped Zhang Bai up and headed toward the school medical room. When Lin Zixuan saw Zhang Bai get hit, he and his friends started shouting, Hey, you idiot, do you even know how to play? That was a blocking foul, you know? Whatever. He committed an offensive foul. Not my problem, the guy sneered and laughed. Say that again, I dare you. You little punk. See if I don't punch your lights out. Lin Zixuan clenched his fists, ready to charge at the guy. Fortunately, Liu Yu stopped him just in time. Calm down. This is a basketball court with everyone watching. We need to check on Zhang Bai first. Lin Zixuan cooled off after hearing that, but as they left, he made sure to walk past that guy. While he wasn't looking, Lin Zixuan stomped hard on his foot, making him howl in pain. Meanwhile, Li Shiya had brought Zhang Bai to the infirmary. The doctor took a look and bandaged the wound, but told Li Shiya it might be a fracture, and they needed to get an X-ray at a hospital. They would need to get a cast put on later. Hearing this, Li Shiya looked at Zhang Bai with concern, quickly helping him up to head for the nearest hospital.